Chapter 601. The Pan's Labyrinth was not simple. Perhaps he would only be qualified to explore the Pan's Labyrinth after becoming an intermediate wizard. Levi did not stay on Blackfire Island for long. He left, taking Gustav and the others with him. He had applied for 1 month of leave. The journey would take over half a month. Only the swordsman Mantis, Levi's array, and the medicinal field remained on Blackfire Island. Kulam and Joanne had already left. Levi did not kill them. He was quite interested in the extreme fire ancestral wizard. He let the two of them continue to play their roles in the Tower of Dreams. Perhaps one day, they would be useful. Levi was not a person who liked to fight and kill. After that, Levi went to the Giant Tree secret realm. He visited his companions in the Grey Tower. Before leaving, he spent 10,000 ether stones to obtain the basic bloodline transplant technology and props from the lush forest witch. Bloodline transplantation was not a profound technique in the life school of thought. 10,000 yuan was completely enough. After finishing his business, Levi left Area 9 in satisfaction and boarded the wizard airship to Riptide City. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1046, month of grass. Levi returned to Riptide City. Mansion 81, located next to his own, was empty again. Sigh, I am a little bored without Wizard Will, Levi thought to himself. Although Wizard Will wanted to harm him, he was used to having a warm and hospitable neighbor accompany him after being his neighbor for so many years. Maybe I am too lonely, Levi mused. Master, you are back. Algerta ran out excitedly. The 3 lion tiger leopard brothers also went out to welcome Levi. Is there anything going on in the wizard tower while I am away? Levi asked. No, it is just that a wizard named Rex came to you once. He left after finding out you were not around, Tiga said. Rex, Levi was alarmed. Why was this person, who was suspected to be the prime suspect in his assassination, looking for him? Could it be that the assassination had failed, and they wanted to negotiate peace? All right, come, show me the results of your sword practice this month, Levi said. Sure, I will go first. Algerta waved her sword excitedly, flashing a grin. She had practiced the Golden Cross Slash and the Grey Destruction Cross Slash well. According to the proficiency panel, she had reached level 2. It had only been a month. This speed was enough. You have passed, Levi said, stroking Algerta's furry head. It felt like touching a Shiba Inu's head. Not bad at all. Algerta's face turned red. She did not dare move as she allowed her master to touch her head. Needless to say, Master's rough hands were quite comfortable. The 3 brothers also stuck their heads out, but Levi automatically ignored them. Although he was a straight man who appreciated strength, it did not mean that there was a problem with his sexual orientation. He swore to God that he was interested in women. He could not do such a thing. Phew, I can cultivate in Riptide City in peace in the future. If I catch new transcendent creatures, I can put them into Greenfield Immortal House. In short, most transcendent creatures, especially the Dragon Clan, were stronger and larger. With the space in Greenfield Immortal House, Levi would not need to worry about lacking room before reaching the 4th circle stage. He did not need to move for the time being. Gustav lazily occupied the largest area in the Greenfield Immortal House. The Crimson Fire Dragon Lizard, Bone Snake, and Red Sand Ape all circled this big guy from afar. Leviathan was the only one spraying water in the lake. It became the fountain scenery of Greenfield Immortal House. Hey, why do I feel like I am playing pet elves? Forget it. Let me collect more transcendent pets. My goal is to become the strongest pet master in the wizard world. In the following days, Levi returned to his pharmacy and cultivated. After obtaining the secret medicine, his breathing technique began to improve again. Levi did not care about Rex. The other party did not dare to make a move near the Tower of Pharmacists. In that case, he would try his best not to leave the city in the future. Time passed quickly. Half a year later, Levi, who was cultivating in Riptide City, suddenly felt a strong fluctuation. Not only he, but even the 2 high-level wizards who were in seclusion in the Tower of Riptide also opened their eyes. The current controller, Kristen, and the air current conductor, Air. They were originally cultivating together. What a powerful fluctuation. The legendary wizard has made his move, Air muttered. Yes, the legendary forbidden spell that was used to destroy the Abyss Well has probably been released. A forbidden spell that a legendary wizard needs to cast continuously for several years. Even the gods of the astral world would not dare to take it head-on. This Abyss Well should have been destroyed, the 2 high-level wizards said as they left the Tower of Riptide. At this moment, night had fallen. In the sky above Riptide City, wizards stood in the air with shocked expressions. They looked at the distant sea in a daze, specifically the sea area at the center of the 100-eyed demon territory. A crimson mushroom cloud soared thousands of feet into the sky, illuminating the sea. I reckon that it will not be long before the biggest tsunami in the endless sea, in 1,000 years gradually sweeps through the entire territory. The power of the legendary forbidden technique is too powerful. Even if a legendary wizard deliberately controls it in a small area, the power released will affect the entire endless sea like a butterfly effect, Wizard Air sighed. Chapter 602. The wizards are fine, but some mortals who cannot hide in time might suffer. The husband spoke, his gaze fixed on the distance. His wife nodded slowly. It cannot be helped. Destroying the Abyss Well is our top priority. We can only sacrifice some people for this. The couple from Riptide City watched the horizon with complicated expressions. In Middle Riptide, Levi and Algerta watched the terrifying pillar of light and the mushroom cloud. All the wizards in Riptide City stood in awe of the wonder created by the legendary forbidden spell. A chill ran down Levi's spine. He finally understood why legendary wizards were called legends. Is this really a power that humans can master? He wondered if a knight could reach this level one day. A terrifying tsunami drowned the island below Riptide City shortly afterward. A huge wave threatened to hit the city itself. An array in Riptide City stood ready to repel the water. Levi sighed and turned back to continue his cultivation. The spark of becoming a legendary wizard had already lit up in his heart. This was how a man should be. 1 month later, the Star Tower announced that the abyss well located in the ancient wizard ruins in the center of the Hundred-Eyed Demon territory had been completely destroyed. The passage where the abyssal civilization tried to invade the wizard civilization was gone. The ancient wizard ruins were gone too. The wizards of the Endless Sea cheered for the legendary and the wizard civilization. The chairman of the Great Council, the blazing sun god wizard Edmund, stood before the assembly. The abyssal civilization has repeatedly invaded our wizard civilization. After quelling the civil strife and the great expedition, I will follow Sauron's example and lead the legendary wizards to attack the bottomless abyss to intimidate those restless demon lords. I will let the light of the eternal blazing sun melt the darkness of the abyss. Levi remained calm. It was just the words of a big shot. The bottomless abyss would not be easy to defeat. These matters had nothing to do with small fries like Levi. Given his strength, he could forget about attacking the Abyss Lord. Any demon above level 3 on the first floor would be able to beat him. He had a long road ahead of him. 1 year later, Holy Brilliance calendar year 1047, month of vitality. Levi was 57 years old. He held the Klein crystal ball in his hand. His spiritual force had reached 63 points. He was getting closer and closer to the 70 points of a second circle senior wizard. Such a level was considered above average in the Endless Sea. The spider and scorpion song had also cultivated to its limit. Levi controlled more than 10,000 saint scorpions and red-faced sea ghost spiders. Levi's idea of becoming an insect emperor in the wizard world went one step further. The saint scorpions had already iterated to version 4.0. Be it in terms of size or defense, it was much stronger than before. Levi estimated that by version 6.0, the saint scorpions would reach the same level as the red-faced sea ghost spider. That would be the best among the low-grade zergs. At that time, thousands of saint scorpions would swarm over and let this world experience what old demon insect Levi was like. In addition, regarding the path of knights, the 3 breathing techniques Levi obtained in the human world had all reached level 11 of legendary. The Mountain 8 breathing technique was at level 11, the maximum. Its special effect was Mountain Passage Arm in a solid state. The Maya breathing technique reached level 11, the maximum. Its special effects were Endless Wind in a solid state and Wind Abandonment. The Musk Bull breathing technique reached level 11, the maximum. Its special effects were Shocking Hoof in a solid state and War Horn. The first special effect was similar to Levi's previous breathing technique. There was nothing more to say about it. However, the Maya breathing technique and the Musk Bull breathing technique also produced a second special effect. Wind Abandonment was a special effect of the wind element affinity. Its effect was slightly stronger than Son of the Wind. With these 2 elemental affinity talents combined, Levi's wind element affinity should not be inferior to a double affinity. Coupled with the proficiency panel, his speed should not be inferior to the wind element child. The only difference might be the availability of resources. As for the War Horn, it was similar to a passive halo that increased the strength of allies. In addition, the 3 breathing techniques also had legendary organs. The Mountain Ape's supernatural organ was Levi's hands, which were similar to the Saint Apes. They were superimposed and had ordinary effects. At the moment, there were no special effects. The Musk Bull's supernatural organs were the curved horns on both sides of Levi's head. Just as he had expected, he had become a real minotaur, or rather, the divine chaos bull demon king of the wizard world. It was all the pharmacists' fault for giving themselves nicknames. Now, he was really the minotaur Levi. The supernatural organ of the Maya breathing technique was a pair of bird wings that looked like golden eagles. Including blood wings, Levi already had 2 pairs of wings. Eagle wings could create violent winds and soar into the sky. They could also attack enemies. They had many functions. To the current Levi, these level 11 legendary breathing techniques were already very difficult to use to increase his strength. He studied mainly to break through the limit and mutate in the future. Moreover, he felt that, just like the fusion of his meditation art, perhaps when the level of his breathing technique increased a little, the proficiency panel would be more flexible. He could master all the breathing techniques step by step and gather them together to form a final breathing technique that was evolving towards the ultimate, biological path. However, from the looks of it, it could only be fused with the same type. After adjusting his condition, Levi directly mutated the Musk Bull breathing technique and the Ostrich Mountain breathing technique. The Ostrich Mountain had been stuck at the maximum of level 11 for a long time, waiting for this day. In the end, a new mutated breathing technique beyond legendary was born. Levi, the Dragon Demon breathing technique, level 11, 1 out of 300,000. Its special effects were Dragon Demon Feet in a solid state, War Horn, and Groundbreaking. Chapter 603, Groundbreaking. Descend from the sky and perform a charging attack, causing destructive damage to everything within a certain range. This special effect cannot be upgraded, but as strength and speed increase, its power will gradually increase. Levi inspected the freshly produced special effects and his thick, white cow hooves. To call them cow hooves was not entirely accurate. These were dragon demon feet. Hard scales covered them, emitting a metallic luster. The overall shape combined dragon claws and ox hooves, creating a strange, messy beauty. In his previous life, a mythical creature existed called the dragon demon. The classic of mountains and seas described it. In the shape of an ox, it has no horns. With one foot, it will definitely encounter wind and rain when it enters and exits the water. Its light is like the sun and moon, and its voice is like thunder. Its name is Dragon Demon. In his mind, a monster shadow stood on 2 feet with short wings on its back. It resembled a demon from artistic works. The monster's head looked like a cow, complete with 2 horns. Both the ostrich mountain bird and the musk bull breathing technique inclined toward earth element affinity. Therefore, the dragon demon breathing technique also possessed earth element affinity. It shared no connection with thunder beasts. However, as Levi mutated more, he noticed the proficiency panel's naming method for mutated breathing techniques often fit cultural imprints from his previous life. Golden Snake, King Kong, Dragon Demon. The proficiency panel automatically generated names matching his understanding. It operated similarly to the bloodline wizard God's Heart, also tied to his cultural imprint from his previous life. Furthermore, the proficiency panel did not remain static. It constantly updated as his strength increased and the situation changed. How did the interface panel come about? Levi discovered this panel when he woke up in the original owner's body. Whether this originated from this world or his previous life remained a mystery. Levi wanted to test the power of the dragon demon feet. Attempting this inside his wizard tower was impossible. Today, within his breathing system, the level 13 golden snake stood far ahead. Next were the level 12 blood beasts and red lotus. King Kong, the dragon demon, the black whale, the silver mountain dragon, and Death Ember were advancing to level 12. The Tianxiao breathing technique remained at the maximum of level 9. Others served only as raw materials for breaking limits or mutation. After finishing his cultivation, Levi took out the bloodline transplant technology he had obtained from the lush forest witch. He began to study it. Once his research reached a sufficient stage, he planned to experiment with ordinary creatures first. After that, he would try to transplant it to the fur clansmen. Of course, he could not forget his old profession in pharmacy. Days passed. To test if the fur clans could cultivate the breathing technique, Levi passed the frost wolf breathing technique to Algerta. Algerta spent less than a year cultivating the frost wolf breathing technique to the level 4 maximum. This meant that as long as they possessed the bloodline of the primordial ancestor in their bodies, the fur clan could successfully cultivate the breathing technique. In his opinion, the bloodline of the primordial ancestor served as a catalyst, and the breathing technique acted as the path to strengthen the bloodline. The frost wolf breathing technique was only a third-rate shallow breathing technique. At most, it could reach the maximum of level 4. Logically, Algerta should not have been able to continue cultivating after reaching that maximum. However, Levi discovered that after a period, Algerta's knighthood improved again, reaching the level of a mid-level knight. This meant Algerta had broken the upper limit of the frost wolf breathing technique. This surprised Levi. Perhaps the frost wolf bloodline in Algerta's body was simply too rich, directly breaking the breathing technique's limit. The frost wolf breathing technique was essentially a method to temper the silver frost wolf's bloodline. Algerta had already walked a long path here. It felt equivalent to a person of a high realm turning back to study and understand an elementary dharmic formulation. Levi thought of the blood knight. After the blood knight obtained the blood beast breathing technique, he quickly cultivated it to the limit and reached the level of a top-notch grand knight. This resulted from the thicker blood clan bloodline in his body. Another possibility existed related to the god portrait that Algerta had mentioned. The breathing technique itself had a manifestation similar to the bloodline inheritance of transcendent creatures, not just the breathing technique inheritance diagram. Only people with a certain level of bloodline could have such an inheritance. Giving the frost wolf breathing technique to Algerta felt equivalent to giving her a key to open the door to the bloodline inheritance. Regardless of the actual possibility, Levi realized the breathing technique and bloodline reinforced each other. The first trace of the bloodline acted as a primer. Relying on this primer, she cultivated the breathing technique, refining and strengthening her bloodline power. When her breathing technique reached the maximum, she could forcefully break through this limit using her high-level bloodline, allowing the technique to evolve. In that case, even if Algerta cultivated the frost wolf breathing technique, she still had a chance to break through the limit step by step until she reached the final primordial ancestor. Perhaps to Algerta, who was born with the rich silver frost wolf bloodline, the frost wolf breathing technique was the most suitable choice. As for how to use her bloodline to break the breathing technique limit, Levi still needed more research and experiments. Chapter 604. If he could succeed, even a shallow breathing technique could be cultivated step by step to the final primordial ancestor realm. Every breathing technique, regardless of its quality, represented an evolutionary path. 1,000 breathing techniques could give birth to 1,000 primordial ancestors. In this way, Levi would have a true army of primordial creatures. He, who had fused the advantages of thousands of breathing techniques to become an ultimate creature, was undoubtedly the supreme leader of these monsters. The leader of the Twilight Knights, Levi, was also the unquestionable king of monsters. On this day, outside Levi's mansion, an uninvited guest arrived. Levi recognized the signature through his perception. He gestured for Algerta to open the door. Algerta pulled the door open, revealing a handsome white-robed wizard smiling on the threshold. "Lord, why are you here again?" Rex smiled, his gaze resting on Levi. Levi stepped out to welcome him respectfully. "You must be Lord Rex, correct? I have heard a great deal about you." "That is correct," Rex said. "Lord, why are you looking for me?" "There is a matter to discuss." Levi's heart skipped a beat. Why was this villain looking for him? In the guest hall, Algerta served tea to Levi and Rex before leaving the room silently. "Mr. Levi, you must be a disciple of a hidden wizard family, correct?" Rex asked. Why is Lord Rex asking this? Levi did not answer directly. "I am merely feeling emotional. Sir Levi is young, yet you have achieved so much in the path of wizards and the path of pharmacy. Even as a disciple of the Thunder Dragon family, I could not do it at your age. I am inferior." "You flatter me, Lord Rex. I am not familiar with you. May I know the true purpose of your visit? Why do we not get straight to the point? After all, both of us have endless work to do every day," Rex said with a smile. Levi remained unafraid of Rex. He had killed a third circle wizard before. Rex's realm might be stronger than the thousand-faced knights, but surely not by much. Rex was a pharmacist, after all, and likely not as skilled in wizard spells as pure wizards. "Sir Levi is a straightforward person, so I will make it short. I admire your pharmacy skills. I have checked. The organization you were in, the Grey Tower, has been unregistered. It is equivalent to extinction. You do not have a family. It must be difficult for you to survive in Riptide City. Our Thunder Dragon family is considered a reputable wizard family in the inner circle. I wonder if you are interested in joining our family and becoming a family pharmacist?" Rex was accustomed to being arrogant and despotic. Originally, he had planned to destroy Levi. However, Levi appeared stronger than anticipated. The efforts of old Emo and the thousand-faced knight had failed to eliminate him. If he could not defeat him, he would recruit him. Others could not win him over, so they fought, but Rex chose the opposite approach. This reflected his personality from youth. Coming from a good family, he felt superior and disregarded others. Anyone who caused a problem was to be dealt with, rather than negotiated with. Now that his usual path was obstructed, he pursued a different strategy. As Rex finished speaking, another wizard arrived at Levi's tower. "Rex, you bastard, why have you come to my pharmacist's house?" Huffman's short stature exuded a powerful aura that soared into the sky. Huffman had discovered Rex meddling with his excellent employee, and had sent people to keep an eye on Levi. Upon learning of Rex's intrusion, Huffman rushed over immediately. Rex frowned as Huffman appeared in the living room. Huffman looked at Rex and sneered. "Rex, do not think I do not know your intentions. I advise you to focus on the right path. You are a disciple of a big family, yet you keep competing with me in such shameful ways." Rex smiled, showing no excitement. "Huffman, my friend, why are you so nervous? It is not as if I am secretly dating your wife. Oh, I forgot that you do not have a wife. After all, who would want a halfling?" Rex's voice dripped with sarcasm. Huffman sneered back. Halflings were a humanoid race, no different from humans except for being slightly shorter, much like the hobbits of the wizard world. A piece of trash like you can only gain an insignificant sense of existence by humiliating the background and appearance of others. Even with so many resources, you cannot compare to a mere halfling like me. I am proud to be a halfling. I will not use spells and potions to forcefully change my appearance. I am not like you, who was born ugly and old, only to use beauty potions to change your face. Oh, Huffman, do not be agitated. I mean no harm. I just feel that you always seem to have some prejudice against me," Rex said helplessly. Huffman sneered and stopped wasting breath on Rex. "I am here to see what kind of person this excellent employee that you value so much is," Rex said, shrugging and looking harmless. Chapter 605. "Sir Levi, since your supervisor does not welcome me, let us talk another day. Think about what I said seriously. Work hard so that Huffman can buy more properties in Upper Riptide." Before Rex left, he tossed out one last jab to sow discord. "Goodbye, Lord Rex." Levi sent him away with a polite smile. Underneath, his spider sensing pulsed with hostility. Rex had spoken the truth about his intentions, but Levi would never work with such a man. Spider sensing never lied. If he agreed to the request, he would almost certainly walk into a trap. He would never join a wizard family while maintaining his status as an outsider. Who could stand the constant scheming? Levi held a very simple goal. He wanted to survive in Riptide City. He intended to find an opportunity to join a high-level wizard organization, like the Tower of Riptide. Huffman sat on a high stool, downing a beer Levi had poured for him. Halflings avoided tea and preferred beer. "What did he say to you just now?" Huffman asked, his voice tight with nerves. Levi grimaced. "He invited me to join his family. I am sure as hell not going." Huffman nodded. "The Thunder Dragon family is too complicated. Rex must be up to no good. If he really wanted you to join his family, he would not have sent people to follow you." Levi considered the truth. Rex had not just sent people to follow him. He had sent men to assassinate him twice. "How strong is the Thunder Dragon family?" Levi asked. Huffman sighed. "From what I know, the Thunder Dragon family has 4 fifth circle experts. The ancestors of this family once gave birth to a primordial soul wizard. They possess a deep foundation. For people like us, they are a giant. Lord, do not worry. I will not betray you." Levi spoke with a solemn expression, clearly stating his loyalty. He could still cozy up to Huffman for a long time. Working with Huffman felt far more reassuring than working with Rex. Huffman jumped to his feet, clapped a hand on Levi's shoulder in acknowledgement, and left, clearly satisfied. Algerta and the others entered the reception hall. When these experts stood in the room earlier, the fur clansman felt extremely uneasy. It reminded them of the painful memories of life as a domestic slave. Knowing Huffman watched his house, Rex did not return to the mansion in person. Instead, he sent a letter demanding Levi answer within 3 days. A contract for the Thunder Dragon family's family pharmacist accompanied the letter. Levi laughed at the contents. The document contained all manner of hidden, unequal clauses, comparable to the black-hearted capitalists from his previous life. This was not a pharmacist contract. It was a naked indenture. Only a fool would agree. Levi refused decisively. It did not matter. If he had agreed to Rex, his future would belong to the Thunder Dragon family, and he would end up in a worse position than he held now. This was not the life he wanted. Besides, Levi had to choose between Huffman and Rex. It was impossible to play both sides. That left Huffman. A fifth circle wizard family possessed immense power. But at Levi's current rate of growth, as long as he could live in peace in Riptide City and become a big shot, destroying a fifth circle clan was not impossible. He had crushed the Duke of Montenegro, a powerful colossus, step by step in the human world, while serving as a small baron from a lousy valley. He could do it again in the wizard world. As long as the owner of Riptide City remained someone other than the Thunder Dragon family, his safety remained guaranteed. I wonder when the Tower of Riptide will recruit people. Levi calculated the timing in his heart. He would definitely join the Tower of Riptide. Once he joined their ranks, he believed the Thunder Dragon family would not dare to touch him casually. That was a genuine high-level wizard organization. Moreover, Levi had inquired about the couple in charge of Riptide City during this period and found that their character remained high. There were no bad rumors. Upper Riptide. Rex read Levi's reply. He is indeed shameless. Damn it, I have already gone to invite him personally, but he remains so disrespectful. Is he looking down on me, Rex? I have already humbled myself. When have I ever been so polite to a second circle wizard? The assistant gulped. Yes, Lord. This kid does not know what is good for him. What is the benefit of doing this? There is no future in following Huffman. You are so full of yourself just because you have made some achievements. Such a person will not go far in the wizard world, Rex said with a sinister smile. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1047, month of the furnace. 80 Middle Riptide, Levi's mansion. In the laboratory on the 3rd floor of the wizard tower, an ordinary little mouse lay on the table. Beside it sat a complete set of bloodline transplant vessels. Levi had purchased this equipment recently. During this period of research, he had grasped the preliminary method of transplanting bloodlines. Now, he planned to give it a try. In a corner of the laboratory stood a cabinet. On top of the cabinet rested bottles of bloodline contained in transparent containers. These bottles bore labels with serial numbers and the names of bloodlines. Chapter 606. Snowfield Wolf Bloodline. Contains 2% Silver Frost Wolf Bloodline. Black Flame Demonic Bird Bloodline. Contains 0.7% Undying Bird Bloodline. Red Dragon Lizard Bloodline. Contains 1.1% Red Lotus Bloodline. These were all samples Levi planned to use for the bloodline transplant. In fact, if these transcendent creatures could cultivate the breathing technique, Levi would not have to spend so much effort to use the Fur Clan as an experiment. If Leviathan was allowed to cultivate the black whale breathing technique directly, this young man would definitely cultivate quickly. From the looks of it, only humans or humans similar to humans could cultivate the breathing technique. Transcendent creatures mostly grew naturally. There was no such thing as cultivation. Transcendent creatures slept and ate. They could also grow and increase their strength until they reached the upper limit of their race, although this process often took a long time. Leviathan was like that. If Levi had not obtained the blood fungus that contained its powerful ancestral bloodline, it might have died in the first circle realm for the rest of its life. Now that he had the blood fungus, Levi only needed to get the other ingredients and formulas, and he would be able to let Leviathan obtain the bloodline inheritance of his ancestors, giving Leviathan the potential to evolve. At the same time, this gave Levi some inspiration. He seemed to be able to use some high-level bloodline as the raw material by refining similar potions. Then, he would let those knights who could not advance because of the maximum of their breathing technique take it. This might be able to break through the level limitation of the breathing technique. The proficiency panel could be forcefully broken through by consuming other breathing techniques as raw materials, but other knights did not have such a way. Therefore, if he wanted to advance steadily, he definitely needed a complete system and method. Levi tried to create a path for the other knights. Knights did not just exist as supporting characters in legendary stories. They could also be the main characters. If Levi could develop this potion, he planned to name it Blood Limit Potion. For example, if the Black Knights and the Blood Knights could use the Blood Limit Potion refined by Skin's bloodline, they should be able to break through the legendary barrier faster. Of course, according to the experience Levi had taught them, they might be able to break through the shackles of legendary, but it would take a long time. After all, Levi's experience was mainly obtained because of the proficiency panel. Many of them knew but did not know the reason. Levi must have thought of the fastest way to break through the shackles of legendary. In the laboratory, the experiment was carried out in an orderly manner. As long as the bloodline could be successfully transplanted, this was the first step. Not long after, the little mouse that Levi had transplanted the black flame demonic bird's bloodline into fell asleep. Among those powerful breathing techniques, there were not many fur-type animals. Many of them were mainly scales and feathers. As for the powerful breathing technique among the scales, the dragon clan occupied half of it. Therefore, a bloodline transplant did not necessarily require a similar transplant. Next, let us see if the bloodline transplant can succeed, Levi whispered to the empty room. If possible, I will use the three brothers to try. I will not try this with Algerda for the time being. She is a little special. She is born with the Silver Frost Wolf bloodline. From the looks of it, she still has a lot of room for growth. Levi left the laboratory and watched the fur clansmen training hard in the training room. Tiga traded blows with Simba, Veda, and Algerda. Tiga, who had once relied on his powerful strength to fight 3 people alone, felt powerless against the increasingly powerful Algerda. Algerda's talent in the sword Dao was the best among the fur clan. Not long ago, she had grasped the power of advanced vibration. She could be considered a genius. Of course, this speed was still inferior to Levi, who had the proficiency panel. Levi corrected the errors in their sword moves, then left the wizard tower. He went to the Tower of Merit and spent all the merit points he had accumulated recently in exchange for the blueprint of the second circle alchemical creature, the Gravedigger. During this period, he had used his merit points to buy all the luminant gold he could buy in Riptide City, but it was still far from enough for the Gravedigger to refine. He asked someone to purchase luminant gold everywhere in Area 6, and spent 50,000 ether stones. Apart from the Poseidon Trident and Frostmourne, Levi had sold everything he had. He invested all the luminant gold he possessed into the refinement of the Gravedigger, and finally saved up enough materials to refine the Corpse Digger. Once it was refined, it would definitely be a great killing weapon. It made it easier for Levi to deal with third circle powerhouses. However, refining a Gravedigger required a special large alchemy workshop. Levi's wizard tower did not have such a function. In the entire Riptide City, only the alchemy tower had a venue to refine large alchemical creatures. Levi rented a venue there, and began his life in the alchemy tower, the Tower of Pharmacists, and his home. Apart from that, Levi rarely left Riptide City. Busy lives always passed quickly. To save his time, Levi hired some alchemy wizards to help him in the alchemy tower. Unknowingly, a year had passed. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1049, month of Germinal. The 14th year of the Great Expedition. On the battlefield in the Myriad Machine Plain, the Deep Blue Sage led a battle group and destroyed many enemy strongholds. Currently, he had already established a foothold in the Myriad Machine Plain and controlled many territories. He had contacted the local garrison army and joined forces to resist the Father of Plagues who had invaded the Myriad Machine Plain. Chapter 607. The Myriad Machine Plain was the birthplace of the School of Alchemy. It hosted many mechanical life forms, creatures equivalent to high-level alchemy constructs. Rumors whispered that the Father of Plagues had spread a mechanical plague, a pestilence unlike anything ever seen before on the Myriad Machine Plain. This corruption caused many mechanical life forms, once loyal to the wizards, to defect. The rebellion ignited an intelligent mechanical crisis. Before the war began, the wizards firmly believed the Myriad Machine Plain was the last place to suffer a rebellion. The truth revealed a harsh reality. The enemy grew stronger by the day. The Father of Plagues mocked them. What era is this? Are you still playing with traditional plagues? Levi worried about the Tower Master's safety. The enemy remained aggressive, their attacks strange and bizarre. It was a constant headache. At the same time, this year, Levi turned 59. He crept closer to the 60-year mark of his previous life. Naturally, the retirement age from his old world drifted further and further away. According to the standards of the human world, I am already an old man. Yet, I feel like I will always be 18, forever young. This must be the charm of cultivation. Levi stood, feeling his spiritual power surge. He whispered the words to the empty air. The Klein crystal displayed his current level of mental strength. Spiritual force, 68 points. Spell power, 1,998 points. He stood only 2 points away from becoming a second circle senior wizard. Stepping into the second circle senior realm at the age of 60, that much was certain. However, his spiritual force mattered less to him than the fact that his Gale meditation art and deep sea meditation art had also reached level 6. Levi, deep sea meditation art, level 6, 1 out of 40,000, can be fused. Gale meditation art, level 6, 1 out of 40,000, can be fused. Sure enough, I can fuse them again. The last time Levi fused the Earth meditation art with the Sun meditation art, it gave birth to the Underground Fire meditation art. This time, he did not hesitate to fuse the Gale meditation art with the Deep Sea meditation art. After a while, a new meditation art appeared on the proficiency panel. Levi, Sea Gale meditation art, level 6, 1 out of 40,000, can be fused. Special effect, King of Sea Breeze. Underground Fire meditation art, level 6, 30,000 and 1 out of 40,000, can be fused. Special effect, Underground Fire Dominator. After the birth of the Sea Gale meditation art, it was exactly as Levi had guessed. The Sea Gale and Underground Fire could also be fused. Ha ha ha, the exciting moment has arrived. After resting, Levi immediately began the fusion. The fusion process lasted for 3 full days, almost exhausting his mental strength. During this period, he drank mana potions to replenish his spiritual force. He downed a few bottles every day. Finally, a brand new meditation art appeared on the proficiency panel. Levi, Ether Meditation Art, Level 6, 30,000 and 1 out of 40,000. Special effect, Ether Dominance. Ether Dominance. When chaos was first created, the 4 elements, earth, fire, wind, and water, combined into one. This is called ether. You can cultivate any meditation art of the elementalist school. The power of the spells you cultivate in any elementalist school has increased significantly. The spell power in your body is not divided into elementalist schools because you are ether. The introduction was simple, yet it described an extremely powerful effect. This meant that from now on, those factions were just decorations. He no longer needed to learn so many meditation arts for the sake of comprehensive development. In the future, he would use only the ether meditation art. I have achieved my goal of learning whatever I want to learn. Moreover, the proficiency panel has been simplified. Levi smiled in satisfaction. In his mind, within the sea of spiritual force, the spell power representing the different colors of the 4 elements fused into a pure, white light. This was the power of ether, the amalgamation of the 4 elemental powers. Relying on the different combinations of the 4 elements, lightning, ice, metal, dark energy, and various other elementalist schools were born. Levi could now study them all in the future. He no longer needed to worry about the limitations of each school. He no longer had to fear that the power of his spells would weaken due to conflicting factions. In short, it was universal. Perfect. Levi experimented with the spells he had mastered in the training room. In the end, he found that the cantrips, first-ring spells, and second-ring spells all displayed different levels of improvement. This was the effect of ether dominance. This special effect broke the division of schools and the traditional structure of the wizard world. Fortunately, only Levi possessed it. Otherwise, the wizard world would have changed forever. All sects lost their meaning in an instant. At the beginning of the chaos, the 4 elements of earth, fire, wind, and water combined into one as ether. Levi muttered to himself, I wonder if this chaos has anything to do with the Lord of Chaos. Levi suddenly thought of the master of the 4 evil gods, the god who occupied the chaotic wilderness of the astral world. As far as he knew, among the 7 orthodox gods, the mother of Earth's elemental authority was Earth. The elemental authority of the Heavenly Father, and the eternal fire was the sun and fire. The elemental authority of the snow goddess was ice. As for the Lord of Storm, it was lightning and storm. As for the remaining Lord of the Stars, and King of 10,000 dragons, their authority was the mysterious stars and dragons. According to this deduction, the Lord of Chaos, a powerful god, was very likely to possess the authority of 4 elements. That was why it qualified to be called chaos. Among the gods of the astral world that we know of, other than the Shadow Lord, Lady Silence, and the god of war, the strongest might be the Lord of Chaos, who is always causing trouble. The 4 evil gods under his command were enough to make the legendary wizards anxious. There was no doubt about his strength. Chapter 608. Levi worried about continuing his ether meditation art. One day, he might clash with the Lord of Chaos. After all, both ether and chaos essentially consisted of the 4 combined elements. He shook his head. What am I thinking? Do I deserve to be the enemy of the Lord of Chaos? He realized he worried unnecessarily. He remained thousands of miles away from that realm. It felt like an ant worrying about biting a dragon to death. Levi surveyed his current spell system. Putting aside the first circle spells and cantrips, his second circle arsenal included the defensive field, the Earth Spirit Shield, the passive King Kong Rock Body, and the defense of the Golden Snake. This collection was certainly enough. As for attack spells, he only possessed the 5 fireballs technique. The selection seemed monotonous and easy for enemies to counter or dodge. Although the 5 fireballs were quite powerful, their attack speed remained relatively slow, and the Ocean faction countered them easily. He lacked sufficient spell attacks. His knight skills focused primarily on close combat. Although he possessed some spell-like abilities born from legendary organs, the only one posing a threat to third circle wizards was the Annihilation Beam. Everything else could not keep up with him. The spell-like abilities were not weak, but Levi's breathing technique levels remained uneven. The corresponding legendary organs of those low-realm breathing techniques were only so-so. They could not pose a threat to third circle wizards above his level. Therefore, Levi still had to learn spells. The sword control ability of the 9 swords Azura could not serve as a normal attack method. The advantage of the bloodline Dharma body was its extreme power, but its weakness was its inability to last for too long. Apart from the burning faction, the second faction Levi considered was the lightning faction. Only lightning can shatter the darkness. Levi checked his 10,000 merit points and arrived at the Tower of Merit. After making his choice, he spent 9,000 merit points to buy a second circle spell from the Lightning School of Thought, the Thunderbird. This second circle spell possessed grade A attack power similar to the 5 fireball technique. However, the Thunderbird attacked with great speed. Enemies found it very difficult to dodge. Casting the spell released a Thunderbird that quickly attacked the enemy, forming a continuous high-voltage electric shock that brought about a paralyzing effect. In fact, the Thunderbird was not the strongest spell in the second circle stage of the Lightning School of Thought. There was also the Lightning Flash. Its instantaneous spell attack power could reach a terrifying S grade equivalent to being only slightly weaker than third circle spells. However, the Thunderbird had one advantage. Just like the fireball technique, the Thunderbird had a complete advancement route. Levi disliked that the spells he painstakingly learned in the early stages became useless in the later stages. Therefore, he chose this advanced spell that could inherit proficiency experience. The Thunderbird route included the 2nd Circle Thunderbird, 3rd Circle Thunder Snake, 4th Circle Thunder Dog, 5th Circle Thunder Tiger, 6th Circle Thunder Dragon, 7th Circle Thunder Beast, 8th Circle Thousand Thunder, 9th Circle All Creation Thunder, and the legendary 10th Circle Thunder God. That route provided a convenient path. Moreover, the power of this series of spells was also top-notch. After returning home, Levi began to construct the Thunderbird spell model. Although he did not possess the special effect of the Thunder element affinity yet, his ether dominance allowed him to cultivate the Thunderbird without difficulty. Moreover, he knew that his breathing technique would eventually give birth to the Thunder elemental affinity special effect. Therefore, learning the spells of the Lightning School of Thought in advance helped him prepare. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1049, Month of Flowers. Levi successfully constructed the Thunderbird spell model. He raised his finger. As he chanted, purple lightning flickered on his fingertip. The lightning gathered into a Thunderbird about the size of a sparrow. Boom! The lightning shattered the void. The Thunderbird's attack instantly reached the wall of the training room. Crackling electric currents ran amok in the training room, and the defensive array kept flashing. This power is really not bad. Levi felt satisfied. He knew the current Thunderbird spell was only at the beginner level. He remained far from perfection. If he could cultivate the Thunderbird to its limit, he should be able to release a Thunder Eagle with a wingspan of 5 meters. Coupled with Levi's Ether Dominance special effect, this Thunder Eagle would also have an S-grade attack power. Even an ordinary Third Circle Wizard's defensive field would not last long. Time passed quickly. Throughout 1049, Levi stayed busy. Besides cultivation and pharmacy, he squeezed out time to visit the alchemy workshop to refine his gravedigger. Fortunately, his alchemy skills already reached level 5, the level of a 2nd Circle alchemy wizard. Coupled with the alchemy wizards he hired, the refinement speed of the gravedigger remained fast. Levi harbored high ambitions. He wanted to create a gravedigger made of pure luminant gold, and let this alchemy monster crush all enemies. Luminant gold represented the limit of conventional alchemy materials. Levi would not need to change gravedigger materials for a long time. Moreover, if the gravediggers had a new and improved version, he could fuse these materials again. If the alchemy style and internal runes changed to 3rd Circle, it would become a 3rd Circle alchemical creature. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1050, Month of Beginning. On Levi's birthday, he did not abandon the refinement of the gravedigger. He spent his 60th birthday at the alchemy workshop. The former little Levi should now be old Lee. After a month, Levi's gravedigger was successfully refined. On the day of his success, Levi sent a red packet to the alchemy wizards who worked hard without complaint. Compared to the corpse digger, the gravedigger's size did not change much. It appeared even a little simplified, only 3 meters tall. As the saying went, what was concentrated was the essence. This 3-meter-tall gravedigger was made of genuine luminant gold. The alchemy style and runes on it represented the best of the 2nd Circle. The alchemy cannon provided the greatest power at the current stage. In short, at the 2nd Circle alchemical creatures stage, the gravediggers had reached their limit. Looking at this alchemical creature, that was filled with violent beauty, and had the texture of a Pacific Rim mecha, Levi, too lazy to name it, directly named it Tyrant 2. Chapter 609. Night. Riptide City. The door of the alchemy workshop slowly closed. Levi put away Tyrant 2 and flew home. He flew fast and cautiously. In Riptide City, Levi did not use intuition perception on a large scale, fearing that those powerful wizards would sense it. He could not control the entire situation. Insecurity gnawed at him, especially in Upper Riptide, where Rex constantly plotted against him. However, thanks to this year's Commander-in-Chief election, security remained strict. Rex's targeting had slowed down recently. From Huffman, he learned that the Thunder Spear was one of the 2 candidates for this election. The other was the deputy commander of Riptide City, Blue Dragon Lady. Her real name was Madame Elsie. Blue Dragon Lady was a 5th Circle witch from the School of Ice. She was also a true dragon descendant. The Dragon Clan was a magical existence. They lacked reproductive isolation, and always left behind bloodlines in various planes. Transcendent creatures were one of them. The other was dragon descendants. Dragon descendants were essentially no different from mixed-blood dragon clans. However, mixed-blood dragon clans were transcendent creatures, while dragon descendants were humans. The birth of dragon descendants dated back to ancient times. At that time, the wizard civilization had just been born, and it struggled to establish itself between God's authority and the other powerful multidimensional planes. Some evil dragons with strange sexual habits kidnapped young and beautiful witches to their nests. God only knew how the mountainous dragons were connected to the witches, forcing intimacy upon them. In short, these witches became pregnant, and the earliest dragon descendants were born. In the beginning, dragon descendant was a derogatory term. People scolded a dragon descendant as a fire lizard bastard. However, the power of the dragon descendant gradually revealed itself later. The wizards immediately smelled their prowess. Most dragon clans were born with elemental affinity. This meant that every dragon descendant's talent in wizardry far exceeded that of ordinary people. Among the dragon descendants born from pure-blooded dragons, there was even a small chance that there would be descendants comparable to the children of the elements. Later on, in the wizard world, a noble and powerful but rare group appeared. Dragon descendant wizards. Dragon-born wizards were born spellcasters. Some nobles even mastered dragon language spells. Most importantly, they were natural body-tempering wizards and were born with the powerful physique and talent of the dragon clan. And now, dragon descendant wizards even formed their faction, called the Dragon School of Thought. They huddled together for warmth and were members of the dragon descendant priory. There was no doubt that there were very few dragon descendant wizards. However, all of them were elites. In the current wizard civilization, they were in various industries and shone brightly. Some of the crooked witches thought about how to seduce a dragon. This way, they could at least nurture a talented descendant. However, after the wizard civilization became stronger, the dragon clan, especially subdragons and pure-blooded dragons, rarely appeared. In fact, to a certain extent, Levi could be considered a dragon descendant. The dragon clan bloodlines in his body were all genuine pure-blooded dragons. Moreover, because of these bloodlines, he gave birth to the special effect of elemental affinity, which was similar to that of a dragon descendant. However, other dragon descendants only had one bloodline at most. Inside Levi's body, flowers bloomed. He returned to the wizard tower. In the training room, Levi took out Tyrant 2. He had specially strengthened the protective array. He planned to test the strength of Tyrant 2. Ace. As soon as Levi shouted, Ace, who was acting as a gas stove in the kitchen, turned into a beam of fire and rushed in. Behind him, Algerta jogged. Her furry white wolf tail swung back and forth. Hey, master, dinner isn't ready yet. The white wolf girl wore a maid-style robe. She even wore an apron like a mortal and held a spatula in her hand. Levi did not need to eat it all now, but in order to enjoy the delicious food, he maintained his mortal habits. Wait a moment. Levi sent Algerta away as Ace injected into the body of Tyrant 2. Raging flames appeared from the body of Tyrant 2, and Ace burned with all his might. Ace could not control Tyrant 2. It was not that Ace had become weaker, but the energy consumption of Tyrant 2 had exceeded the energy output level of Ace. In the end, Ace, who had completely erupted, successfully activated Tyrant 2. The alchemy monster attacked Levi. Levi smiled. His muscles bulged, and his vitality soared. His level 12 red lotus erupted, and the strength rune flickered as a copious amount of strength filled his entire body. Boom. Levi and Tyrant 2 wrestled in the training room. The engine in the body of Tyrant 2 roared, and the flames almost reached the top of the wizard tower. Levi's body retreated continuously. My strength in my normal state cannot compare to Tyrant 2 anymore. I have to superimpose other forms. When this power gets close, even a third circle wizard has to be careful. In the end, the exhausted Ace ran out, and the fire elemental spirit shrank. It is a pity that there is no Black Fire Island. Otherwise, Ace would be able to recharge much faster. Currently, Ace relied on the trace of fire elemental power wandering in the world to recharge. It was relatively slow. Chapter 610. In the future, we need to install a hybrid system, so that Ace and Ether Stone can activate Tyrant 2 together. Ace cannot keep up with Tyrant 2's power unless it advances to a level 2 fire elemental spirit. Levi experimented with the power of the Tyrant. Levi walked into the lab inside a glass-like container. A monkey trembled. Feathers, similar to a bird's, sprouted from its body. The earlier bloodline transplant experiment on the little mouse had failed. Levi guessed the little mouse was too weak to accept the powerful bloodline of the black flame demonic bird. He carried out many experiments in the time since, and this remained the result today. Analysis revealed the monkey already possessed a thin black flame demonic bird bloodline. The demonic bird bloodline contained an even thinner, almost non-existent undying bird bloodline. This meant the monkey also carried the bloodline of the undying bird. Although such a thin undying bird bloodline would not bring much change to the three brothers who could cultivate the breathing technique, this served as an admission certificate. The bloodline transplant technique works. Next, I will transplant it for the lion, tiger, and leopard brothers. Levi began intensive preparations. He chose bloodlines he thought suitable from his current bloodline library and transplanted them for the three brothers. For those who did not possess the proficiency panel, they only needed to transplant one bloodline. They could not bite off more than they could chew. It would be best if the three of them each had their own specialties so they could team up. Tiga possessed great strength, so Levi decided to unleash his strength to the limit. After making his choice, Levi decided to transplant a bloodline closest to his own, the sea tiger. This represented Levi's second-rate excellent quality breathing technique. Sea tigers were tiger-like beasts that lived in the sea. They were huge, and their limbs had evolved into fins similar to that of a mosasaurus. They were extremely strong. This was not Levi's strongest breathing technique, but it was certainly the most suitable for Tiga. It was basically impossible for the transplant to fail. If Tiga could cultivate this breathing technique to the level of the primordial ancestor, he would be comparable to intermediate wizards. Levi was determined to start with these low-level breathing techniques and gradually impart those powerful breathing techniques to his subordinates. This could also be considered holding back. He could not teach his disciples and starve his master to death. As for Veda and Simba, Levi considered their paths. Since Veda possessed speed, Levi would impart the lightning leopard breathing technique to him. This was a third-rate excellent breathing technique. It was also Levi's raw material that had broken the limit. Simba remained rather mediocre, so Levi decided to let him walk the path of stacked armor by cultivating the iron crocodile breathing technique. Although the bloodline span was a little large, there was nothing he could do about it. None of the furry beast's breathing techniques excelled at defense. Tiga went out to help Levi with something. Levi planned to try using the Black Panther Veda first. The young man from the Black Fur clan, Veda, looked at Levi nervously. Veda, do you desire strength? Levi asked. I yearn for it, Veda replied. Do you want to know the meaning of life? Master, what do you mean? I do not understand. Do not worry about it. I have a method here that allows you to have power that surpasses other fur clans and allows you to embark on the path of cultivation. Do you want to learn it? I want to learn. Are you so decisive? I can tell you clearly that this method has a certain risk. The price is your life. Yes, master. I want to learn. All right, lie in the middle of that instrument. Next, prepare for the baptism of life. Your tomorrow is infinitely bright. Levi put on his experimental robe. Veda was the quietest of the three brothers. He was relatively introverted. Levi did not expect him to have such guts. After Levi finished mixing the bloodline, he injected it into the bloodline transplant instrument. Blood-red runes and miniature arrays flickered on the instrument as he chanted and cast spells. Veda closed his eyes. After living as a slave for so many years, Veda knew that as an ordinary fur clan, he had no future. If he wanted to survive, he had to be useful to the high and mighty wizards. Female fur clans could also sell their bodies to gain some breathing space. But for a fur clan like his, no one would want him even if he were a gigolo. Now that there was such an opportunity, he naturally had to seize it. After the bloodline transplant, Veda fell into a temporary coma. Levi took off his robe and closed the door of the laboratory after he finished the control measures. Next, let us see if Veda can succeed. If he can, we will continue the experiment. 1 month later, Veda had successfully survived a month of rejection. This meant that the bloodline transplant experiment had succeeded. Levi extracted a bit of Veda's bloodline and placed it in the rolling crystal. Black Shadow Leopard bloodline 67%, Purple Lightning Leopard bloodline 27%, Lightning Leopard bloodline 3%. Levi carefully analyzed these bloodline components. The Black Shadow Leopard bloodline was the foundation of Veda's Black Panther clan bloodline, and the Purple Thunder Leopard bloodline was the bloodline of the first circle transcendent creature, the Purple Thunder Leopard, that Levi had injected into it. The Purple Lightning Leopard bloodline contained a trace of the Lightning Leopard bloodline. This was the primordial ancestor bloodline of the Lightning Leopard breathing technique. From the looks of it, it should have succeeded. Levi looked at Veda. On the surface, he did not seem to have changed much from before. Chapter 611. Veda, how do you feel now? Levi asked. Master, I do not think I feel anything. Veda paused, then added, that is not right. I feel that my speed seems to be faster. He threw a few punches into the air, creating gusts of wind. Levi said, this is the effect of the high-level bloodline I transplanted for you. Next, I will teach you how to strengthen this bloodline through cultivation. It needs to be matched with the corresponding secret medicine. You can comprehend it yourself. You can ask me if you do not know anything. Thank you, Master. I, Veda, am unable to repay your kindness. I can only stop. Go and learn. Levi sent Veda away. Levi injected the first circle transcendent creature iron-eating lizard bloodline into Simba. The iron-eating lizard's body contained a weak giant iron crocodile bloodline. The bloodline transplant experiment was a success. Levi realized that Simba experienced far greater changes than Veda. This difference likely stemmed from their species. Scales began to grow on Simba's neck. The experiment was a success. After Simba obtained the breathing technique, he went to cultivate. Levi shouted, Algerta, call Tiga over. Algerta walked in. Master, Tiga has not returned since he went out to buy materials for you yesterday. Levi's heart fluttered. Where did he go? Rosen's 100 Treasures house, Master. Did something happen to Tiga? He usually does not stay out all night. Algerta worried. Levi had been busy with the bloodline modification experiment for the past few days, and had not paid attention to this matter. Levi said, I am going out for a while. Take care of the house. Contact Lord Huffman if there is anything. He walked out of the house, put on his robe, and quickly headed to the materials shop. The 100 Treasures house was a materials shop owned by a third circle wizard in Upper Riptide. As the materials were relatively complete, Levi was considered a regular here. However, with Tiga and the others around, he left all the miscellaneous tasks of buying things to them. Tiga looked big and burly, but he was actually very meticulous. Levi liked this brawny man very much. Levi stepped into the shop. Alice, the manager of the 100 Treasures house, looked at him. Sir Levi, long time no see. Alice was not the owner of the 100 Treasures house. The real owner was the third circle wizard, Lawson. She was an employee in charge of the shop. Levi asked, Alice, did a fur clan man come to your place yesterday to buy something? Yes, but I do not have what he wants to buy anymore, so I asked him to go to another shop. Alice answered. Where? Levi felt a bad feeling rise in his chest. 7 days convenience. Levi went to 7 days convenience, but found no sign of Tiga. He sensed Tiga's presence, however. The golden snake's message stirred in his mouth. Levi looked in the direction where Tiga had disappeared. He arrived in front of a steeple, where 2 third circle wizards stood guard. Levi looked at the steeple with a dark expression. Riptide City prison. He sighed. After spending some money, and showing the certificate of a senior employee of the Tower of Pharmacists, Levi finally saw Tiga on the first floor of the Riptide City prison. Tiga lay covered in wounds, curled up in a corner, his furry tiger tail wrapped around a bleeding wound on his waist, while blood soaked through his beast fur. He gently licked his wound like a helpless injured tiger. Tiga raised his head at the sight of Levi. His expression turned ferocious, then aggrieved. Master, I did not steal anything. How would I dare to steal from a wizard lord? I do not even dare to look him in the eye. Tiga said in a low voice, sobbing. What did they say you stole? A piece of mithril the size of a fingernail. I do not know how it appeared in my hand. You should recuperate in prison. I have already spoken to the head of the prison. This is a small crime. If not for your status as a fur clan, you would not have been jailed for such a crime. All right, master. I really did not steal anything. Tiga held onto the railing, his voice trembling. I know. Who would steal a fingernail-sized piece of mithril? Levi's lips curled into a dark smile before he turned to leave. A show of strength. Levi scanned the mansions with mountains and rivers in Upper Riptide. Sigh, here we go again. Can not everyone just live honestly? Sighing, he left the prison. Not long after, he arrived at the Tower of Order. This place was set up by Riptide City to maintain order in the city, and it served as the judicial branch. There was nothing in this world that money could not solve. If there was, it meant there was not enough money. He had to add more. Levi found the 7 Days Conveniences recording slate and watched the video. In the video, Tiga walked out of the 7 Days convenience store, and a team of enforcers appeared at the door to capture him. He did not resist, but the enforcers beat him up anyway. Such violent enforcement of the law violated the current law. 7 Days Convenience. The night was dark, quiet, and charming. In the rest area at the back of 7 Days Convenience, an old wizard in a black robe lay on the bed. He looked at the storage bag that a lord had sent over happily. He was the owner of the 7 Days Convenience, Second Circle Wizard Miller. The ether stones inside blinded him. Chapter 612. Indeed, pies can fall from the sky, Miller said, his old face blooming with joy. After counting the gains, Miller prepared to close for the night. He glanced at the Second Circle Wizard standing on the street. We are closed, Miller snapped, his eyes drooping. Old Miller, I have a big business deal. I wonder if you are interested, Levi said. He pulled out a horned demon horn and shook it. The horn of a horned demon? Miller stiffened, his expression shifting from annoyance to avarice as he stared at the object. The next moment, the array flags of the shadowless maze array lit up around the store. Levi felt the strength rune on his palm pulse with power. His hand tore directly through Old Miller's defensive field and clamped onto the man's neck. The great black sky curtain bound Old Miller tight and deposited him into Greenfield Immortal House. Gustav, keep an eye on this old thing, Levi muttered to the shadows. Levi studied the starry night sky and extinguished the array. He did not go home. Instead, he joined a demon hunting team under the cover of night and ventured outside the city. Deep at the bottom of the sea, Levi released Old Miller from Greenfield Immortal House. The old shopkeeper trembled, shock etched into his pale features. The man standing before him had shattered his protective force field in a heartbeat, leaving him defenseless. This was a third circle wizard. I did not offend a third circle wizard, Old Miller stammered. He shook, his voice barely audible. Lord, what are you doing? You cannot kill people in Riptide City, let alone a second circle wizard. Did I say I was going to kill you? Levi flexed his muscles. Electric arcs danced around his fingertips like nervous notes of music. He held up his hand, and a thunderbird with a wingspan of about 1 meter materialized in the air. Boom. The electric current struck Old Miller's body, leaving him numb. If he were not a body-refining wizard, he would have found it difficult to resist the attacks of the thunderbird without the protection of a defensive field. However, Old Miller had learned many passive defensive spells, which kept him from being electrocuted to death. Levi had deliberately controlled his power to avoid killing the man. I heard that someone stole a piece of mithril the size of a fingernail from your shop yesterday, Levi said. Old Miller's eyes widened, his expression shifting from terror to realization. He understood in an instant that he had been used as a tool. I cannot tell you the truth because I have already signed a confidentiality agreement. If I tell you, I will die too, Old Miller said with a bitter smile. It was too late for regrets. Rex? Levi asked bluntly. Old Miller's expression changed, but he remained silent. Levi already knew the answer. Sigh, why are you coveting this small benefit? You are already so old. Is it not better to enjoy your later years? There was a sharp click. Old Miller was decapitated. The Saint Scorpions devoured his soul. Levi's left eye turned gray. The silent world, filled with swirling ashes, unfolded before his vision. After Old Miller died, his body turned into ashes that scattered everywhere. That bit of life force did not even have time to dissipate. Gradually, it gathered into an ashen fire in Levi's palm. He squeezed it. The embers dimmed and morphed into a round bronze coin. On the coin, there was a terrifying existence covered in gray feathers that emitted black flames. It was Death Ember. Levi produced a small piggy bank. There was already a similar coin inside, but it was much smaller, and looked like a coin made of black iron. As expected, the stronger the existence being stared at by the ashen eye, the greater the ashen fire converted. A second circle expert dropped more ashen fire than a first circle sea beast. The ability to transform ashen fire into coins was something Levi had discovered by chance. He estimated that with this coin, he should be able to communicate with the existences of the ashen world and summon them to fight for him. So far, Levi had discovered that there were 2 types of coins. A first circle creature could be condensed into an iron ashen coin. A second circle creature, like the one he had just slain, could be condensed into a copper ashen coin. Interesting, Levi said. He flicked his finger, and the coin slid into the piggy bank. Sigh, it is not a good idea to just endure. At least now, I am sure that Rex is the mastermind. My previous guess was not wrong. Levi retrieved the items from old Miller's storage bag. After confirming that there were no tracking marks on them, he put them away. He returned to Riptide City overnight. He did not dare to stay outside the city for too long. If Rex found out, the man would definitely find a way to interfere. 7 days later, the Tower of Order discovered old Miller's disappearance. The investigators pulled up the recording and found only a wizard wrapped in a black robe. The scene vanished strangely, as if a shielding effect of some array had been triggered. After that, old Miller never appeared again. A second circle wizard was worth investigating. In Upper Riptide, Rex read the news of Riptide City for the past few days. Old Miller is missing? Gan, what is going on? Rex asked. Lord, the officials are still investigating. The murderer has done it very covertly. Currently, the target has already been locked onto a group of wizards above the third circle of Riptide City. Even a second circle senior wizard cannot easily take old Miller away from Riptide City, Gan said. Rex scowled. He suspected he knew the identity of the murderer, yet evidence remained out of reach. There was a person who was clearly not a third circle wizard, yet he had escaped the assassinations of the hitmen sent twice. One of them had been a genuine third circle wizard. Chapter 613. This person was Levi. Interesting. I will play with you. Rex licked his lips. He would let his opponent know that going against the Thunder Dragon family was an extremely irrational and ridiculous thing to do. A month passed in the blink of an eye. Before the officials found out who was behind old Miller's death, more than 100 cases of civilians and wizards missing appeared one after another in Lower Riptide of Riptide City. This attracted the attention of the Riptide City officials. In the Wizard Tower, Levi's expression grew solemn. More than 100 cases in a month. There are both civilians and wizards. Who did it? Levi muttered to himself. It is over. Riptide City does not feel safe anymore. Is there a safe place in this world? Levi sighed and returned to his cultivation. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1050, month of flowing fire. Something big happened in the Star Sea. The 100-beast berserk witch, her junior sister, another high-level primordial soul wizard from the Life School of Thought, and a high-level employee of Rolling's lab, the Red Mushroom Witch, fought a battle between top powerhouses in the Endless Sea. The conflict began because the 100-beast berserk witch attempted to seize a treasure from the Red Mushroom Witch. The experimental subject of Rolling's lab was the strange Christmas tree that escaped the realm of life and arrived in the Endless Sea. However, this Christmas tree bore all kinds of strange fruits. To prevent the 100-beast berserk witch from obtaining the fruits, the Red Mushroom, which used a spell to randomly transport all the fruits to various places in the vast Endless Sea. Then, the 100-beast berserk which issued a bounty to all the dark wizards in the Endless Sea. Anyone who finds the miracle fruit can come to the boiling beast blood to receive a huge reward. Everyone finally learned the identity of the unfinished experimental subject that escaped from Rolling's cabin to the Endless Sea. It was the Kabbalah miracle tree. This was the miracle tree created by witch Rolling using the roots of Pandora's mother tree and the bloodline of 100 powerful creatures. She represented the top level of knowledge and technology in the Life School of Thought. Why was it called a miracle? Even an ordinary person could obtain transcendent power in a short period of time after consuming the miracle fruit on the Kabbalah miracle tree. Every miracle fruit represented the miracle ability of a path. This kind of miraculous ability could be developed and grown. It possessed strong potential. Levi's heart raced when he heard the news in the Wizard Tower. After so long, the experimental subject had not been brought back to the realm of life. Was this not causing trouble for the Endless Sea? What miracle fruit? It is clearly a bloodline fruit. It is nothing more than Madame Rolling mastering some method to nurture bloodlines into practical fruits. She is indeed the master of the Life School of Thought. I wonder how she developed such a heaven-defying thing. Levi thought with envy. However, he had no designs on this miracle fruit because he possessed a clear path to advance his bloodline. Even if a miracle fruit appeared before him now, he would not consume it. A few days later, Levi heard that in the Lower Riptide City area, a mortal young man obtained a miracle fruit that fell from the sky. The young man did not know what it was, but he smelled it. It smelled fishy. Then, he fed it to his family dog. After consuming the miracle fruit, that dog spoke human language and instantly possessed the combat power of a second circle wizard. It avoided the pursuit of a group of wizards from the outer city area and escaped into the Endless Sea. For many wizards with average talent and weak strength, this miracle fruit provided an opportunity to defy the heavens and change their fate. Naturally, they felt envious. Some second circle wizards in Middle Riptide and Upper Riptide, and even intermediate wizards, expressed interest in this miracle fruit. In an instant, the army chasing the dog charged into the Endless Sea. The officials appeared and stopped this chaotic phenomenon. At the same time, in Riptide City, people disappeared every day. These disappearances happened randomly. They could be mortals, second circle wizards, or even third circle wizards from Upper Riptide. In an instant, everyone in Riptide City panicked. Levi stayed at home all day and did not dare to go out. He cultivated crazily. Until this day, an intense explosion occurred in Upper Riptide. Lightning shattered the night sky, and the sound of electric currents resounded throughout Riptide City. Levi gazed through the window toward the inner city area where the sound originated. A wizard bathed in lightning stood in the air. His authoritative and powerful spiritual force swept through the entire city and he held an illusory lightning spear in his hand. Above his head, dark clouds gathered, and thunder snakes jumped and shuttled. Levi stood shocked by the terrifying power. He had seen this person on the election speech recording. This person was Thunder Spear Sorit. He was a 5th circle expert. Demons have invaded Riptide City. Commanders above the 4th circle in the city, come and surround us. The Thunder Spear's voice boomed like thunder. Figures with powerful auras surrounded Upper Riptide. For a 5th circle cultivator to be so cautious, he must be fighting at least a level 5 demon, or even a level 6 demon. Levi felt puzzled. The Abyss Well was destroyed. Logically speaking, without the support of the 100-eyed Demon King, these Abyss demons should have been wiped out by those experts long ago. Chapter 614. Could it be? Levi felt a flicker of worry. That night, he did not dare to cultivate in peace. He remained ready to run at any moment. If Riptide City fell, serving would hold no meaning. The array in Riptide City lit up. Above the sky, the light screen of the array circulated. Terrifying streams of destructive light flew toward Upper Riptide. Before long, a beautiful witch formed a massive barrier with ice, trapping the demon inside. By combining the power of the grand array, the abyssal creature died. Many wizards in Upper Riptide suffered in this battle. Levi felt glad he lived in Middle Riptide. 3 days later, the official announcement arrived. A level 5 formless demon possessed a wizard in the city area, and created many shocking cases during this period. This formless demon came from the 100-eyed demon territory. Blue Dragon Lady personally went to the center of the 100-eyed demon territory to investigate. Thousands of miles away from the core of the legendary forbidden spell, at the bottom of the bottomless abyss, a small abyss well had opened. The abyss used the large abyss well as bait to attract the firepower of the legendary forbidden spell, and convert the energy released by the legendary forbidden spell into the power to open the small abyss well. This was the final result of the Star Tower investigation. The abyss well was not completely destroyed. In the sea abyss 10,000 miles away from the ancient ruins, a new well had formed. During this period, countless demons escaped from it. Some who are proficient in hiding even hid beside us. Yes, the demon was right beside him. The good news is that it is very difficult for demon lords to pass through the small abyss well. The demons that infiltrated the wizard world should be mainly demons below level 5. However, this made the wizards in Riptide City panic. They thought they could end their military service after cleaning up the remaining demon remnants. From the looks of it, they would not be able to leave Riptide City for the time being. Levi had seen the situation outside. His merit points were increasing. He exchanged all these merit points for cultivation resources and spells to increase his strength. If Riptide City disappeared, the merit points he had saved would be meaningless. A chaotic world brought crisis. In times of crisis, opportunities were born. Then why did the formless demon not kill Rex? He is indeed a scourge. Levi looked at the final tally and felt indignant. During the battle of the 5th circle, the aftermath killed Rex's neighbor. Rex, however, remained safe and sound. During this period, Huffman told Levi, Grimm, and Tommen to try their best not to go out and focus on pharmacy at home. He had a feeling that an even greater storm might descend on Riptide City. The open and covert struggles between the Miracle Fruit, Abyss Demon, Blue Dragon Lady, and Thunder Spear made the situation in Riptide City even more complicated. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1050, Month of Northern Wind. After Levi consumed the meditation potion, he entered a state of cultivation. When he opened his eyes again, they shone brightly. He exhaled and looked at the Klein crystal ball. Spiritual Force, 70. Spell Power, 2023. I am a 2nd circle senior now. I, Old Manly, have become successful. Levi sighed in his heart. After advancing to a 2nd circle senior, he felt that his use of second ring spells was much smoother than before. After testing it out, his casting tempo and speed became faster. After the 2nd ring, there remained a huge gap between seniors and ordinary people. Levi, Chaos Meditation Art, Level 7, 1 out of 50,000. Special Effect, Ether Dominance. Earth Spirit Shield, Level 7, Maximum. King Kong Rock Body, Level 7, Maximum. 5 Fireballs Technique, Level 7, Maximum. Spider and Scorpion Song, Level 7, Maximum. Special Effect, Spider Scorpion Heart. Thunderbird, Level 6, 23 out of 40,000. Crimson Copper Armor, Level 6, 3,456 out of 40,000. Other than the Thunderbird and Crimson Copper Armor, which were learned later, the other spells have already reached the maximum. With my current spiritual power, mastering 6 second ring spells should be enough. Levi had learned 3 defensive spells. Now that it was so chaotic, he might even encounter an attack on the way to Riptide City. He still had to stack armor. As he cast a spell, circles of metal light spun around his body. In the end, it turned into an armor that looked like a knight's heavy armor, protecting Levi. The reddish bronze armor shone with a thick luster, displaying its powerful defense. I am learning this bronze school spell much faster than the lightning school of thought. When my spiritual force improves, I will learn a sword blade storm. This way, I can barely master the sword control technique. Sword Blade Storm was a 2nd circle attack spell of the Bronze School. It gathered metal elements and formed a terrifying blade. Then, relying on his powerful spiritual force, he shot out these swords and cut the enemy into pieces. It was similar to the wizard version of Return of Myriad Swords. Meanwhile, the investigation of Old Miller's death was also released. In the end, it confirmed that a formless demon did it. Levi mourned for the formless demon in his heart. I am sorry, brother demon. Although he had advanced to a second circle senior, Levi did not slack off at all. His strength was far from enough. Riptide City was no longer as safe as before, especially with Rex, who was eyeing him covetously. He slowed down the speed of earning merit points. No matter how much he earned, Levi did not have time to digest it. The current Levi had basically achieved the freedom of merit points as long as he did not spend them recklessly. Furthermore, he still had more than 100,000 ether stones in his storage bag. Nowadays, the third circle was the only long-term goal in the path of wizards. Levi focused on the path of a knight. Because of the difference in the level of secret medicines, the breathing technique that had the highest chance of breaking through to level 13 was not Red Lotus, but the Blood Beast. Levi continued to cultivate in one go. At the end of the month of winter, Tiga had been released. With Levi's help and Huffman's connections, he did not suffer much abuse in prison. Levi knew that it was Rex who put him in jail. Rex wanted Levi to know that he could easily send a person to prison in Riptide City. Levi transplanted the Sea Tiger bloodline for Tiga. From then on, the 4 clans under his command embarked on the path of night cultivation under his guidance. Among them, Algerta improved the fastest. Now, she was already a high-level knight. She had forcefully raised a breathing technique that was impossible to cultivate to this realm. The Silver Frost Wolf bloodline in her body was too rich. Levi estimated that it was at least enough for her to cultivate to the Grand Knight realm. After that, she would probably need the Blood Limit potion. However, Levi had no time to study this potion. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1051, month of beginning. With the end of the election, to Levi's surprise, the commander-in-chief was not the Thunder Spear that everyone had high hopes for. Instead, it was the Blue Dragon Lady. Levi heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he cultivated day and night. Levi's Blood Beast breathing technique had finally been cultivated to level 13. Levi, Blood Beast breathing technique, level 13, 1 out of 500,000. Special effects, Blood Fog Body, level 1, Blood Contract, 1,000 Faces, Boiling Blood. Chapter 615, Blood Fog Body, level 1. As your bloodline power increases, you will possess some of the Blood Beast characteristics. You can turn your body mist into a blood fog state. In the blood fog state, your movement speed will increase greatly. You could also be immune to most physical attacks, and reduce 1/3 of spell damage. When your body is under a fatal attack, you can disperse into a certain number of blood demon bats. The more there are, the less damage you will suffer. You can reconstruct your body as long as one blood demon bat escapes. After reconstructing your body, you will enter a weakened state for a period of time. During this period, you will not be able to use the blood demon bat ability again. The effect of this special effect can gradually increase as the bloodline power increases. Try to avoid using the blood fog body in the sun, as it will weaken your effects. Every blood clan knew the truth. The night of the full moon is the time of slaughter. Levi gasped. He held low expectations for level 13 blood beasts. However, now that he saw it, the power dazzled him. This ability combined elementalization, blood escape, and a life-saving divine skill. It served as a high-end version of the green smoke escape. Compared to the first ring spell of the School of Death, it proved far superior. This blood beast functioned as a quantum blood clan. Levi had slain many blood clan members and had seen all kinds of abilities. He had never witnessed anything like the blood beast. He stared at the blood beast seed in his heart. Traces of power emerged. His body began to disintegrate inch by inch. He transformed. A blood-red mist appeared in the wizard tower. Levi viewed the world in blood-red. He lacked eyes. Instead, he used pure mental strength to perceive the world from the perspective of the blood beast. In truth, he needed no eyes. Every tiny particle forming this blood mist acted as an eye. He could perceive many microscopic worlds that usually remained invisible. Blood mist floated in the wizard tower. Levi tried to melt into the wall. The blood mist penetrated the stone and arrived at the bathroom. Algerta stood in the shower. Her tall and proud body appeared faintly discernible in the fog. She hummed a song, looking relaxed. She did not notice a wisp of blood-red fog creeping out from behind the bathtub, only to shrink back. It comes with a wall-piercing spell, Levi thought. The wall-piercing spell was not a profound skill, but the blood fog body could pass through ordinary walls, and even walls protected by arrays. Every wall of his wizard tower contained an array, and they were all first circle arrays. This meant that arrays below the first circle level could not stop his penetration. This functioned far more impressively than a low-level wizard wall penetrating technique. Levi returned to the training room and let Tyrant 2 attack him. The terrifying axe passed through his body, causing only a small amount of damage. However, the flames on the weapon still pained his blood fog body. This form was not invincible, but it offered immunity to significant damage at critical moments. Levi did not test the final blood demon bat ability. A month of weakness followed such an attempt. In the current precarious situation of Riptide City, he did not dare to leave himself vulnerable. Levi returned to human form from his misty state. He picked up the rolling crystal ball. Unknown Dragon Clan Bloodline 11%. Red Lotus Dragon Bloodline 7%. Unknown Blood Clan Bloodline 10%. Human Bloodline 98%. The Blood Clan Bloodline has reached 10%. My previous conclusion was correct, Levi noted. Human Bloodline. There is actually still 98% remaining. This is great. Levi quickly put away the crystal ball. 98% of the human bloodline was enough for him for a long time. He firmly believed that with his willpower and proficiency panel, Even if he only possessed 1% of the human bloodline, his heart remained human. As long as his mind stayed human, he need not fear an abnormal and indescribable body. It was just a shell. To become an ultimate creature, he had to maintain that awareness. Otherwise, he would lose himself in his strength and bestial nature, unable to extricate himself. Algerta served the food at the dining table, and Levi began to eat. Algerta lingered in the doorway, her voice trembling. Master, I feel that there might be a demon or an evil spirit in our house. When I was showering, I felt something spying on me. Levi coughed. That is impossible. With my array, do not worry. You have been too tired from practicing the night breathing technique recently. You should adjust your state for the next few days. Alright, maybe I am being paranoid. Master, I heard that a demon in Upper Riptide killed a wizard. The officials are now investigating the murderer. It is said that the mayor and his wife are furious, Algerta mentioned as she cleaned up the mess. Levi's heart skipped a beat. What is his name? Nikon, Algerta replied while blinking. Why is it not Rex? Levi cursed in his heart. He felt that if he had the chance in the future, he would have to learn some curse spells from the School of Death or the School of Dark Energy. Since he could not attack Rex directly, he would find a way to curse him to death. It was hateful that 7 arrows did not exist. Otherwise, Rex would have died. Chapter 616. Levi set his bowl down and turned his gaze toward his servant. How is your cultivation of the night breathing technique recently? Algerta set her utensils aside and looked up, frustration evident in her eyes. Master, I feel like I am very close to becoming a grand knight, but there is a membrane that I cannot pierce through. Levi nodded, his expression focused. Next, you need to condense the Silverfrost wolf bloodline in your body into a bloodline seed. Only then can you break through to become a grand knight. All right, master. I will give it a try. Algerta wagged her tail, a determined smile on her face, and left the room. After Levi finished his meal, he patted his stomach. After level 13, the cultivation speed of both the blood beasts and the golden snakes had slowed to a crawl. The path of the night demanded excessive time. Furthermore, the quality of the level 2 secret medicine lagged behind his requirements. No immediate solution existed. Transcendent creatures above the third circle were rare. Capturing new ones for every level up was unrealistic, especially given the limited contract slots. He needed to find a way to accelerate the growth of the creatures already under his care. The formula for medicine used by the School of Spiritualism to promote the growth of spiritual beasts offered a potential solution. Skin, a level 2 blood clan member, struggled to maintain progress as a level 13 blood beast. The advancement speed had noticeably dipped since he reached level 12. Still, as a member of the William family, he possessed latent potential for growth. An ancestor of his had been a level 3 blood clan member. Studying the blood clan further might yield an answer. As for the Red Lotus breathing technique, Levi relied on the Crimson Fire Dragon Lizard bloodline. This reliance explained why his cultivation speed lagged for the blood beasts. That first Circle Dragon clan bloodline proved too potent for his current methods. The Silverfrost Ice Ape in the Yellow Earth continent would fall into his hands once he advanced to the third circle and destroyed the Alhid family. Levi set the thought aside and left the wizard tower. After becoming a level 13 blood beast, he no longer feared ordinary third circle wizards. His mind sharpened, hunting for an opportunity to teach Rex a lesson. He had played the fool for Rex long enough. It was time to make a move. The demons currently ravaged the city. It would be quite reasonable for Rex to die at their hands. Still, he needed to bolster his overall strength before confronting his enemy. Levi had already mastered every first circle array in the Book of Cipher. His array skills had reached the level 4 maximum. Successfully refining a second circle array would promote him to a second circle array wizard. For types existed in the Book of Cipher: the Sea Demon Cage, the Misty Forest, the Lightless Shield, and the Swarm Shark Dance. The Swarm Shark Dance offered offensive utility. Levi possessed enough strength that the attack power of a second circle array held little appeal. He needed an array suitable for assassination. The Lightless Shield fit perfectly. It would create a lightless zone, blocking perception and preventing energy attacks from dissipating. He gathered the materials and began refining at home. Ace stood ready. There was no need to visit a specialized alchemy workshop. The array items remained compact. Time flowed forward. Half a year vanished. During these 6 months, Levi avoided contact with Grimm and Tommen. The tense situation meant everyone stayed behind closed doors to avoid the demons. Inside the wizard tower, the final array item clicked into place. Levi chanted an incantation, his hands dancing through the required seals. Array flags spun in front of him, then flew to every corner of the tower. Darkness swallowed the interior. The fur clansmen training on the third floor felt as if the floor beneath them had dissolved into a bottomless abyss. Every sense of perception failed. Confusion rippled through the group. They suspected a demon attack. What is the situation? Are those demons? The fur clansmen cried out, their voices trembling. It is fine. Master is here. The fur clansmen stood frozen, not daring to breathe loudly, shaken by the lingering terror of ghosts pressing on their chests. The strange darkness receded. Light returned to the wizard tower. Perception flooded back into the space. From the looks of it, it is just the master testing an experiment. Algerta offered a bitter smile. Continue training, Tiga commanded. Levi checked his proficiency panel on the third floor. Array, level 5, 23 out of 30,000. He held the Lightless Shield array flag in his hand. If deployed correctly, this array functioned as a killing weapon. Low-level wizards trapped inside would be helpless. Even third circle wizards would find themselves at a severe disadvantage. He possessed level 13 golden snakes and blood beasts, the spells of a second circle senior wizard, the arrays of a second circle array wizard, and Tyrant 2. Ordinary third circle wizards stood no chance. Levi calculated his odds. Chapter 617. Rex is just an ordinary third circle wizard. He lacks the strength of Huffman. His position exists purely because of his family. Finding a suitable time to strike is possible. Killing Rex presents little difficulty. Dealing with the Thunder Spear and the Thunder Dragon family, however, creates a significant headache. Levi made his decision. A calm personality does not mean he can tolerate endless, senseless harm. Rex might cause more trouble if left unchecked. Levi analyzed Rex's strength in secret. Even if Rex concealed a portion of his strength, victory remained within reach. Even at his current cultivation speed, raising his spiritual force from 70 points to 100 points would take a decade. Stepping into the third circle at his age was already an accomplishment. In 10 years, Rex could prove catastrophic. Levi grew tired of living on tenterhooks. Advancing to the third circle would not grant him the power to stand against the Thunder Dragon family. Little difference remained between killing Rex now and waiting until he reached the third circle. The challenge lay in killing Rex without the Thunder Dragon family discovering the truth. No need to hurry, he thought, deciding to plan slowly and gather clues. Levi calmed his thoughts. Hasty revenge would only lead into an enemy trap. The election of Lady Blue Dragon as commander-in-chief benefited Levi. The following days mirrored the past. Between cultivation sessions, Levi occasionally visited the tavern near the Tower of Pharmacists for a drink. He sought to learn about Rex's habits and personal history from the man's pharmacist employees. Levi memorized the facts and formed his own judgments. Rex maintained a complicated network of interpersonal relationships in Riptide City, spanning from law enforcement officers to mere peddlers. This served as both Rex's strength and his greatest weakness. Someone among them would inevitably provide useful clues. He stalked his prey with the focus of a jaguar hunting through the brush. His understanding of Rex grew bit by bit. Rex lived high and mighty. He never suspected a commoner like Levi would dare attack him. Rex favored witches with small breasts, drank Rod's coffee, accepted only gifts worth more than 1,000 ether stones, and despised servants who were the same colors as him. Such small details often exposed a person's flaws. Meanwhile, Levi monitored the situation in Riptide City. The best time to hunt Rex was during moments of chaos. One could only fish in muddy waters. This reduced the probability of enemy pursuit. He had to wait for Rex to leave the city. That would prevent the big shots of Riptide City from detecting his actions. Attacking within the city remained too dangerous. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1051, Month of the Furnace. This marked the 16th year of the Great Expedition. The Five-Realm Great Expedition continued. Rumors suggested that legendary wizards had already clashed with the four evil gods. In the Endless Sea, the situation failed to improve. The 100-beast berserk, which collected several miracle fruits and consumed them to increase her strength. Madame Rowling emphasized that a person could take the miracle fruit only once, as consuming more endangered one's life. This warning seemed lost on the 100-beast berserk witch. This dark wizard possessed a talent for the life school of thought far exceeding Madame Rowling's other disciples. Unfortunately, she harbored evil intentions, preventing her from becoming a potential grand wizard of the life school of thought. The 100-beast berserk witch and Black Sun Adam joined forces to assault the Star Tower's headquarters. The Star Tower's only 9th Circle Grand Wizard repelled the attack. Unfortunately, the two dark wizards escaped. Black Sun Adam and the 100-beast berserk which reached the peak of a high-level primordial soul wizard, matching the strength of an 8th circle senior wizard. Such existences remained rare in the wizard world. Most importantly, they acted with brazen confidence. This suggested a 9th circle dark wizard hid behind the scenes in the Endless Sea. If the 9th circle wizard from the Star Tower hunted these two, the mastermind would instantly shatter the base camp of the Endless Sea's righteous wizards. Many wars between dark and righteous wizards actually stemmed from the internal strife of powerful figures behind the scenes. The proliferation of dark wizards served only as a front for internal conflict among the powerful members of the parliament. Undercurrents surged in Riptide City. Levi constructed another star rune spell model in his mind. The star rune resembled a dormant snake. Levi reviewed his stats. The hermit rune had reached level 3, the maximum. The special effect, Hidden Snake Constellation Power, also sat at level 3. The Hidden Snake Constellation power allowed the rune language to communicate with the Hidden Snake Constellation. The power of stars hid his figure, aura, and realm. This concealment failed against existences with spiritual force 3 times stronger than his own. Aside from realms, other invisibility effects had time limits. Chapter 618. Levi looked at the level 3 Hermit rune. Surprise bloomed in his chest. I can actually hide my realm. He had begun his research on the Hermit rune just after advancing to the 2nd circle. At that time, it sat at level 1. It offered no tangible effect, so he had ignored it. Now, with the advancement to level 3, a qualitative change occurred. He had learned the Hermit rune for the sake of concealing his figure and aura. A hidden realm. This stood as the standard for protagonists in stories. With this skill, characters could feign weakness to surprise their enemies. For Levi, this skill served to keep him low profile during his cultivation. If a child of chaos cultivated too quickly, others might suspect him of acquiring a rare opportunity or treasure. That would bring trouble. He could lower his realm when unnecessary, and reveal it when the moment called for strength. Levi's spirit reached 72 points. As long as his spiritual force stayed below 216 points, no one could pierce his invisibility or realm disguise. Third circle wizards possessed spiritual power ranging from 101 to 200 points. Unless a fourth circle wizard appeared, seeing through Levi's hermit rune proved impossible. So strong. Unfortunately, level 3 is the maximum. Levi sighed inwardly. He solidified the hermit rune on his body. Instantly his clothes, and his very aura vanished from the wizard tower. He walked toward Algerta. She hummed a tune while cooking, oblivious to his presence. The hermit rune enhanced his state. Levi vanished from the perception of others. He became an invisible person with no sense of existence. This ability makes me a thief. Levi shook his head. No, that is not appropriate. Although I am not a gentleman, I cannot act sneakily forever. Any evil eventually faces justice, and I am no exception. If I commit too many bad deeds, I will fail. Levi, you must work hard to be a good person, he advised himself. 5 minutes passed. The effect of the hermit rune faded, and Levi reappeared. The invisibility effect only lasts for 5 minutes. Most of the time, that is enough. There are no restrictions on the effect of concealing one's realm. That is normal. Levi muttered to himself. Everything is ready. There is only one chance left. Levi looked toward Upper Riptide. His heart turned cold. It was time for the roles to change. A year passed in the blink of an eye. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1052, month of Wheatfield. Riptide City, Upper Riptide. Rex's mansion. Rex had always acted high and mighty. Now, he looked as if he were apologizing. A handsome middle-aged man stood opposite him, his face as sharp as a knife. The man wore a purple lightning wizard robe with a knight's long sword hanging from his waist. He stood as if he were the center of the world. He was one of the few fifth circle wizards in Riptide City. Thunder Spear Sorit. He was the most outstanding genius of the Thunder Dragon family in the past 1,000 years. He possessed a dual elemental affinity. Beyond that, he held a second special talent, Thunder Heart. This talent allowed Sorit to advance to the fifth circle in just 500 years. However, this powerful figure was not in a good mood. The reason was well known. Sorit had failed in his competition with the Blue Dragon Lady. Part of the reason for his failure was this disappointing junior, Rex. You are useless. You wasted so many family resources for nothing. You failed to perform your job as a pharmacist supervisor well, and you implicated my election. Sorit could not help but scold. Rex did not say a word. His position in the Thunder Dragon family depended entirely on his father, a fifth circle wizard. However, this status meant nothing to Sorit, who was also a fifth circle cultivator. If the Blue Dragon Lady had not discovered your actions, I never would have lost to her. I have been careful for so many years, but a piece of trash like you implicated me. I hate you. Moreover, it has been many years since you brought profit to the family. After the unanimous evaluation of the clan, your support of the clan's resources will be suspended. If it were not for your father, I could kill you right now. Sorit said mercilessly. You are on your own. The Thunder Dragon family does not raise cripples. Sorit turned his back. Rex stood in a daze, then walked out of the house. He did not even dare to breathe loudly. Lord, he said softly. Gan, who do you think I am working so hard for? Is it not for the Thunder Dragon family? Just because I lost for a moment, they are so heartless. All those things I did. Was it not for the family? Now it is my fault. He could not compete against the Blue Dragon Lady, and now he blames me for it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So this is family. Rex smiled hideously. Am I the one at fault, Gan? Lord, it is not you. Gan hurriedly said. I think so too. The family is in the wrong. It is Huffman. It is Levi. Rex suddenly realized. Chapter 619. Rex asked Gan, when will the sacrificial soldiers arrive? Gan replied, Lord, he is already here. I told him to wait outside the city. Rex flung his sleeves. All right. I will go meet him. Huffman and Levi are no longer qualified to play with me. I am tired of them. He flew out of the city in big strides. His status in the family worsened, and even his father grew to hate him. Yet, he still managed to obtain a third circle sacrificial soldier. This sacrificial soldier was a rare giant spellcaster, and he possessed immense power. Ordinary third circle wizards proved no match for him. The giant tribe was born with extraordinary strength and a strong body. This giant sacrificial soldier could fight a third circle wizard with his physical body alone. He was a third circle wizard, and even a third circle senior wizard might not be a match for him. This sacrificial soldier would surely kill Levi. After killing Levi, Rex would slowly regain his advantage. Eventually, he would find an opportunity to kill Huffman as well. He wanted to show the members of his family that, even without their support, he could still make a name for himself in Riptide City. Inside the wizard tower in Middle Riptide, Levi opened his eyes. After more than 1 year of cultivation, his strength improved once more. Levi checked his stats. Crimson Copper Armor, level 7, maximum. Thunderbird, level 6, 13,456 out of 40,000. Another max level second circle defensive spell. He considered his defenses: Crimson Copper Armor, Earth Spirit Shield, and King Kong Rock Body. With so many second circle defensive spells stacked on top of his Ether Dominance talent, his spell defense was enough to contend with a third circle wizard. He also possessed a level 13 Golden Snake. It was no exaggeration to say that when facing ordinary third circle wizards, his defense alone made him invincible. Of course, the source of Levi's confidence was not this max level second circle defensive spell, but his level 13 Red Lotus breathing technique. Levi examined his progress. Red Lotus breathing technique, level 13, 1 out of 500,000. Special effect, Hellfire Body, level 1, Red Lotus Blood, Child of Hellfire. Hellfire Burning Body, level 1, Raging Hellfire burns his lotus body. After experiencing the baptism of Hellfire, his body has undergone a huge transformation. His strength's main attribute has increased greatly, and his other attributes have also increased to varying degrees. From now on, his resistance to fire is not inferior to the flame giant of the same level. For a newborn Red Lotus, only after the baptism of Hellfire can one forge a supreme Red Lotus body. Levi remembered the pain of the Hellfire baptism. It felt as if he had fallen into an endless state of self-immolation. Compared to the Golden Snake's molting, Red Lotus Hellfire baptism proved far too painful. Levi sighed. It was painful, but worth it. The increase in strength brought about by the level 13 Red Lotus was extremely terrifying. This gave Levi the ability to break through a third circle wizard's defensive field in a normal state. He sized up his current body in satisfaction and donned his robe. The time was right. The time for revenge had come. He looked at the stars in the sky and quietly left the wizard tower. According to his informant at the port, Rex had sneaked out of the city tonight. When the moon is dark and the wind is strong, it is time to commit murder and arson. Today, it was time to kill. Outside the city, the sea lay silent, calm and peaceful. The starlight shone on the surface of the sea. It was quiet and beautiful. Rex and Gan found the giant sacrificial soldier sitting at the bottom of the sea. The sacrificial soldier wore huge, heavy armor and stood nearly 10 meters tall. His entire body emitted a thick earth element aura. This set of heavy armor consisted of huge rock armor condensed from earth elements. This was a mountain giant. A spell from the Earth School of Thought was named after the mountain giant. First ring spell, Mountain Giant's Wrath. Therefore, this race was born to be favored by the earth element. However, among the mountain giants, very few were born with wizard talent. The sacrificial soldier in front of him was a special case. Rex asked, "Your name is Bogang, right?" The mountain giant sacrificial soldier looked at Rex and nodded expressionlessly. The sacrificial soldiers were all like this. They basically turned into complete killing machines and possessed no emotions. He now did whatever Rex ordered. Other than that, he did not move at all. "From now on, I am your master," Rex said. Rex held a spirit binding ring. Moreover, this was an extremely rare level 3 spirit binding ring. It was even more expensive than a third circle wizard tool. This explained why the cost of nurturing sacrificial soldiers was so high. Not only did he have to invest a large amount of resources, but he also needed a precious item like the spirit binding ring to ensure the loyalty of the sacrificial soldiers. "Next, I need you to kill someone," Rex said. "Who is it?" Bogang's voice rumbled like thunder. The powerful aura made Gen want to escape. The mountain giant was too big. As it stood there, it exuded an oppressive aura. Gen knew that Bogang could crush him with one hand. His second circle defensive field could not withstand Bogang for even a moment. This highlighted the huge gap between him and Bogang. Suddenly, streams of light streaked across the sky around Rex. They were array flags. Chapter 620. The starlight dimmed. Darkness enveloped the world. The second circle array, lightless shield. Something was wrong. A strong sense of danger assaulted Rex. Rex activated his protective force field. Electricity flashed within the barrier, and a wizard tool manifested to protect his body. Ripples distorted the void in front of him. A terrifying phantom of the 9 swords Azura materialized. Before Rex could react, the 9 swords slashed through the protective wizard tool. He tore Rex's defensive field into pieces. A purple thunder dragon mark appeared, flying toward Rex's murderer. It was the soul mark Rex's father had planted, a tracker for whoever killed him. In the next moment, Saint Scorpions erupted from the void. They devoured Rex's soul, preventing any reincarnation. The purple thunder dragon mark vanished, devoured and obliterated. Along with the Saint Scorpions, a giant monster emerged. Dark golden scales covered its hide, burning with red lotus hellfire. Flickering rune language traced lines across its skin. Red copper, earth spirit, and a multitude of defensive spells swirled around the creature. Behind it loomed a 3-headed and 6-armed bloodline dharma body. Saint Scorpions can devour soul imprints? I prepared my blood fog body to be immune to tracking. Levi stood revealed, having used the hermit rune to sneak here. He looked at Rex in shock. Is a third circle wizard truly that weak? Is Rex just a clone? Levi muttered. Gan's expression confirmed that Rex was the real thing. So weak. I have been afraid for so long. Levi sighed. He had been too cautious. Currently, he possessed the hermit and strength runes, 3 level 13 breathing techniques, and the path of a wizard. To ensure a kill in one strike, he activated the red lotus, giant whale, King Kong, and 9 swords techniques under the cover of night. His full-powered attack shattered Rex's third circle wizard tool with the 9 swords. Rex's ordinary third circle defensive field of the lightning school of thought could not withstand such an ultimate blow. Senior third circle wizards would struggle to withstand it, let alone an ordinary one. Levi always anticipated the worst-case scenario. He had not realized that his current strength, combined with the sneak attack of the hermit rune, could easily defeat the pharmacist Rex, a third circle wizard unpracticed in combat. Other third circle wizards, those more battle-conscious and mastered in spells, might not have fallen in one strike. With the advantage of surprise, Levi instantly killed a third circle wizard. He remained stunned. The other methods he had prepared, such as Tyrant 2, had yet to appear. On the other side, Gen stood dumbfounded. A moment ago, Rex had confidently prepared to attack Levi. Now, a strange monster stood over his corpse. Gen remained paralyzed. Levi asked with a smile, Gen, right? Yes. Lord, please do not kill me. I do not know how I offended you. I am sure Rex forced me to do this. I had no choice. I signed an indenture contract with the Thunder Dragon family. I could only do this. Gen begged for mercy. Gen did not even know which of Rex's many enemies had come for revenge. Rex had too many enemies. Levi held Rex's storage bag. Are all the assets from Rex's mansion in here? Forrest nodded. Rex was a suspicious man. He never kept assets at home. He carried them everywhere. Thank you for telling me. I will give you a quick death. Levi opened his mouth. The red lotus breath, brewing for a long time, submerged Gan. The flames faded, and Gan's figure evaporated. I was so focused on experimenting with the power of the upgraded breath that I forgot to leave an intact corpse to accumulate ashen coins. Levi cursed. Rex's body turned into ash and vanished. In Levi's palm, a silver ash coin appeared as the fist-sized ball of ashen fire extinguished. Iron coins, bronze coins, silver coins. Fourth circle wizard, is it not time to drop gold coins? Levi kept the silver coin. The mountain giant sacrificial soldier was stunned. From the overheard conversation, Levi knew this wizard of the giant race was a sacrificial soldier. Levi held the level 3 spirit binding ring. He erased Rex's mark and replaced it with his own. This seemingly inconspicuous iron ring was worth almost as much as an ordinary fourth circle wizard tool. Some were worth 100,000 ether stones. It controlled a genuine third circle existence. What should I do with you? Levi looked at the stunned sacrificial soldier. Perhaps because the spirit binding ring was in his hands, the sacrificial soldier did nothing. He just looked at Levi numbly. Rex had died before giving any orders. Levi wanted to take the creature away. The mountain giant's blood could cultivate the King Kong breathing technique. However, this was a sacrificial soldier of the Thunder Dragon family. It was not like ordinary ether stones. The Thunder Dragon family might have placed a tracking mark on it. It could easily be tracked. Leaving with the sacrificial soldier was inappropriate. Levi ordered the mountain giant to find a hidden place and wait. I will take some blood and wait 3 to 5 years. I will return to check on the situation. If the Thunder Dragon family has a tracking mark, they will likely come to investigate. I possess the spirit binding ring. I can kill this sacrificial soldier with a thought. If no one comes within 3 to 5 years, the Thunder Dragon family did not use a tracking mark. I can take it then. Their opponent was the Thunder Dragon family. Levi was determined to proceed with caution. Sacrificial soldiers were extremely obedient. This was the most basic requirement of the Thunder Dragon family's training. Levi hid it in an isolated valley. Come visit once every 3 months, Levi muttered. He only brought the ether stone, potions, and materials from Rex's storage bag with him. Rex's storage bag, the wizard tool, and items suspected to be unique to the Thunder Dragon family were hidden in the hundred-eyed demon territory. This created the illusion that demons had killed him. He planned to retrieve them in the future. If a passing wizard picked them up, he would accept his fate. This was Levi's first confrontation with a member of a great wizard family. These people possessed so many tricks that Levi could not be too careful. Chapter 621. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1052, Month of Harvest. For Levi, this felt like a bumper month. He tallied the gains from Rex. Beyond the various ingredients and potions, Levi had earned 400,000 ether stones from Rex alone. Levi had killed and robbed many people. He had worked various part-time jobs. Yet, until now, he had only managed to save 100,000 ether stones. As for Rex, apart from the ether stones he had surrendered to his family, he still carried 400,000 in his pocket. Compared to the thousand-faced knight, who was also a third circle wizard, Rex held 10 times the assets. However, at the same level, the gap between the rich and poor in the wizard world seemed like child's play compared to his previous life. Levi thought of the wealthy people from his past. Everyone was immortal then. Some individuals amassed wealth rivaling entire nations, while others worried about their daily livelihoods. Now that he considered it, the wizard world offered a better balance. Levi sighed. Even Rex, a third circle wizard, did not possess enough assets to drive Levi to despair. Including his previous savings, his assets totaled 500,000 ether stones. Among second circle wizards, he counted as a wealthy man. He reckoned that most third circle wizards in Riptide City lacked this much cash. Levi felt his heart skip a beat. Beyond the ether stones, Rex's most valuable hoard consisted of prescriptions, ingredients, and potions accumulated over years as a pharmacist supervisor. One section of Rex's storage bag held gifts from others. That bastard Rex refused to accept gifts worth less than 1,000 ether stones. Every item here held significant value. Levi's eyes lit up as he inspected the offerings. A fourth circle medicinal herb, snake lantern grass, held a value of 1,000 ether stones. The Gemini potion, a second circle concoction, could facilitate a breakthrough to the second environmental realm. It carried a value of 50,000 ether stones. Dozens of such gifts remained. Rex only kept the most valuable items. Levi estimated the stash contained 200,000 ether stones in value. Coupled with the value of Rex's other materials, he had earned at least 800,000 ether stones this time. Including the mountain giant sacrificial soldier, the total exceeded 1 million. It is just a third circle, yet he saved so much. Rex clearly earned a fortune in Riptide City, accumulating vast wealth for the Thunder Dragon family. The wool comes from the sheep, he thought. In the end, this money came from low-level wizards like him. These rich people deserved their fate. He, Levi, would seek justice for the low-level wizards. He would begin robbing the rich to help the poor. Levi swore the oath to himself. Levi felt no surprise regarding Rex's wealth. A starving camel remains larger than a horse. Only in the past 2 years had Huffman surpassed Rex. Before that, Rex had always held the top spot. This suggested Huffman possessed some background and means. Otherwise, a lucrative position like pharmacist supervisor would not have fallen to a halfling without a family. Huffman might not be as rich as Rex, but he would not be far behind. Back then, Huffman's defeat of Rex came only because of Levi's intense cultivation. Huffman had given Levi 2,000 merit points, and Levi had felt grateful for them at the time. I am still too naive. Levi calmed his breathing. Beyond the tangible assets, the greatest wealth Rex provided consisted of the formulas. They represented precious pharmaceutical knowledge, and they were priceless. Rex had hoarded these formulas during his years as a pharmacist supervisor. He possessed dozens of second circle potion formulas and dozens of third circle potion formulas. The most precious among them was a formula capable of helping spiritual force converge and compress, allowing the materialization of spiritual force through vaporization. It was called the Lake Fairy's Dream, or the Lake Fairy Potion for short. This formula provided the key to breaking through to the third circle realm. To a pharmacist, its value remained immeasurable. This was why Levi considered the potion formulas Rex's greatest wealth. Now, Levi would not have to worry about potion formulas until he reached the fourth circle. Rex possessed both breakthrough potions and meditation supplementary potions. Moreover, in theory, once Levi mastered these formulas, he could sell them for profit. He had never signed a confidentiality contract with Rex. However, Levi felt no rush to sell them. Many of Rex's potion formulas originated from the military. Now that these formulas had gone missing, the military would certainly investigate to recover them. If Levi sold a potion now, he would invite suspicion. If he wanted to sell them, he needed to do so elsewhere after leaving Riptide City. Next, I can start preparing the ingredients for the Lake Fairy's Dream. I need to prepare for my advancement to the third circle. Levi estimated that in another 10 years or so, he could obtain 100 points of spiritual force. At that time, he would need to consider vaporizing his spiritual force to advance to the third circle. Once I step into the third circle, I will be an intermediate wizard. From then on, I will occupy the middle level of the Endless Sea. I will no longer be a low-level wizard. Fewer than 100 third circle wizards lived in Riptide City. Nearly 10,000 official wizards registered in Riptide City existed. This meant that only one third circle wizard emerged for every 100 official wizards. Chapter 622. Riptide City gathered elite wizards from many areas of the Endless Sea. In a place like Area 9, a third circle wizard stood as the ancestor of a large territory. 10 scales from the chest of the Banshee of the Lake, dust of the evil spirit Dream Fairy, keratin powder of a level 3 demon. Levi looked at the ingredients for the third circle potion formula. His eyes brightened. He spoke to himself. The legendary evil spirit Dream Fairy that I killed in the royal family treasury acts as the main ingredient for this third circle potion. If I had not coincidentally kept it, where would I find such ingredients? Levi felt a wave of relief. The horn powder of a level 3 demon. A horn demon horn will suffice. Among the main ingredients, the only item lacking a clear source was the scales from the chest of the Banshee of the Lake. The Banshee of the Lake appeared as a monster in mortal folklore. Tales claimed the sword of the first Emerald King came from a Banshee of the Lake living in the Emerald Lake. Later, Levi acquired the Franken Wizard Monster Manual. The text revealed that the so-called Banshees of the Lake were actually Nagas living in freshwater. People usually called this kind of Naga a Lake Naga. Nagas were common humanoid creatures, but most possessed the intelligence of wild beasts. Levi recalled the gray Naga he had once hunted. Most Nagas lived in the sea. Only a few inhabited inland lakes. Levi paced the room as he spoke his thoughts. The realm of Azure Cloud is a sea with only a few islands. There is a high chance that no freshwater Nagas live in the lakes on these islands. The most likely place for freshwater Nagas is the Yellow Earth continent. Levi put away the formula and closed his eyes in deep thought. He needed to make a trip to the Yellow Earth continent before his advancement to the third circle. That vast land held rare transcendent creatures. For the next few days, Levi practiced pharmacy as usual, keeping a close watch on the changes caused by the death of Rex. Rex existed no longer, erased completely from the world by Levi without leaving a trace behind. Half a month after the death of Rex, the officials of Riptide City realized the great supervisor had gone missing. The discovery came after Thunderblade Tyrell, a fifth circle expert of the Thunder Dragon family, emerged from seclusion to find Rex's soul slate shattered. Rex was not the only son of the fifth circle expert, but he held more promise than the others. Fury consumed the man. He traveled to Riptide City personally and demanded the military find the culprit responsible for the death of Rex. Thunderspear, also from the Thunder Dragon family, disliked Rex, but he acted for the sake of his family. He used his position as deputy commander to push the investigation forward. Furthermore, Rex served as a third circle pharmacist and one of the 5 supervisors of the Tower of Pharmacists. This matter attracted the attention of the officials of Riptide City. The Tower of Order immediately established a special Rex missing case investigation team to pursue the matter thoroughly. They reviewed all the video slates in Riptide City recorded during the disappearance of Rex. The investigation revealed that Rex had left the city with his servant, Gan, half a month earlier. He never returned. Rex likely died outside the city walls. At that time, a large number of demon-hunting wizards came in and out of the city gates. This widened the scope of the target search. Rex was a third circle wizard, and he kept a second circle butler. Moreover, Rex possessed several third circle wizard tools. The military initially targeted demon-hunting wizards ranked above the third circle. Of course, anyone below the third circle wizard level could not escape suspicion. Comparatively speaking, the possibility of success remained near zero. The power gap between a first circle, second circle, and third circle wizard was huge. Everyone knew this as common knowledge. Unless one possessed a powerful one-time use spell scroll, fighting against a higher realm proved impossible. The officials checked the spell scroll exchange records in the merit shop and identified a few second circle suspects. Simultaneously, they began investigating the demon-hunting wizards who entered and left Riptide City during that period. Levi sneered, leaning against the wall of his tower. I did not expect the death of Rex to cause such a big commotion. As expected of a member of the Thunder Dragon family, life is indeed valuable. The entire Tower of Order has to revolve around them. He felt no worry. First, the Saint Scorpions had completely obliterated the soul mark on the body of Rex. Tracing him through that simplest method was no longer possible. Second, he had used Thousand Faces when he left the city that night. Furthermore, he had used the Hermit Rune to conceal his aura before he sneaked out. The recordings showed absolutely nothing. Finally, Levi was just a second circle wizard and a pharmacist who spent all his time cultivating potions. Killing Rex was even more impossible for someone like him. Without evidence, these people could not trace the act back to him unless they broke the law and opened his storage bag. If they saw Levi's vast fortune of unknown origin, they might presume Levi murdered for money. Chapter 623. To avoid being exposed, Rex's assassination of Levi remained known only to him and Argon, the servant he trusted the most. Rex and Levi remained completely unrelated. If anyone possessed a motive to kill Rex, they would not have investigated Levi. Levi saw little likelihood that they would ever discover the truth. Most importantly, Riptide City had been in chaos recently. The turbulent undercurrents continued to surge, and a storm approached. At that time, Rex's death would be even more confusing, and no one would care. Rex's fifth circle father remained the only one paying attention to this matter. Killing Rex was Levi's last resort. If he had not killed Rex, the man would have used the third circle sacrificial soldiers to deal with him. Levi might be the one who died. Rex forced him to do it. From the danger detected by his spider sensing, Levi remained safe in Riptide City. Now that Rex no longer thought about him, the hostility had dissipated. Of course, he would not slack off because of this. He simply lived his life step by step. Soon, after interrogating the suspicious persons, the investigation team regarding Rex's death reached their wits' end. The enemy who killed Rex probably no longer remained in Riptide City, but had fled. Human nature dictated that the possibility of the killer actively returning to Riptide City after committing a crime remained low. Besides, clues suggested Rex might have been hunted by demons outside the city. Everyone knew that the demons outside the city had been causing trouble recently. A pharmacist would court death by going out secretly. Rex's body could not be found in the vast sea. In the wizard world, once someone killed another, they rarely left a corpse behind. They used spells to destroy the body completely. Later, Thunderblade used the wizard tool he gave Rex as a medium to locate Rex's storage bag. It lay far away in the 100-eyed demon territory. The wizard tool and other items in the storage bag remained there. Only the ordinary items that could not be marked, such as the ether stone and some materials, had disappeared. This meant the murderer was indeed a murderer. It also demonstrated that the murderer was extremely careful and left no clues for the Thunder Dragon family. Riptide City, Upper Riptide, Thunder Tower. In the luxurious mansion of Thunder Spear, the handsome middle-aged man looked at the old man in front of him. The old man was Thunderblade Tyrell, the most ancient elder of the Thunder Dragon family. Tyrell was now more than 800 years old. The lifespan of a fifth circle wizard was about 1,000 years, and he only had 200 years to live. His talent reached its maximum when he reached the fifth circle. He could not go further without a huge opportunity. Very few primordial soul wizards existed, and the endless sea held only so many. Therefore, Tyrell no longer hoped to advance to the sixth circle. He only wanted his disappointing youngest son, Rex, to grow up and take over his position in the Thunder Dragon family so that his bloodline could continue. When one was old, one would eventually accept reality. But now, Rex had suddenly died, and his soul imprint had not even taken effect. This marked the first time Tyrell had seen such a situation. The two fifth circle cultivators remained silent, and the atmosphere grew awkward. For your sake, I can continue to help you keep an eye on this matter. I have my own things to do. You should also know that Rex deserves a large part of the consequences he faces today. He cannot blame anyone else, Thunderspear said coldly. Sorry, don't forget that although you're a rare genius in the family for 1,000 years, your current achievements cannot exist without the support of the family. How can you say such heartless words? Thunderblade said unhappily. I have already done my best for him. You are an elder of the family, so I respect you. However, do not try to anger me with that useless excuse, Sorit sneered, his tone arrogant. Although he was the youngest fifth circle in the clan, he remained the second strongest fifth circle. He stood second only to the clan leader of the Thunder Dragon clan, a fifth circle senior expert. As the Thunder Dragon family's genius with the highest chance of advancing to a primordial soul wizard in 1,000 years, Sorit's status was certain. Thunderblade was so angry that he remained speechless. Then he sighed. No matter what happens to Rex, he remains my flesh and blood. I owe you a favor for helping me investigate the real murderer. The family head election occurs in 100 years, you know, Thunderblade said. I know. Didn't you send a sacrificial soldier to Rex? Can't you find Rex based on the location of the sacrificial soldier? Thunderspear asked. The mark inside the sacrificial soldier has also been erased. Only our family knows how to erase the mark. I don't understand what is wrong with Rex that he would do such a thing that goes against his family, Thunderblade said with a bitter smile. Then, he left Riptide City. As a fifth circle expert of the Thunder Dragon family, he could not stay here for too long. He needed to oversee the family. He had also stayed here for too long, and the couple in the Riptide steeple would grow dissatisfied. Chapter 624. The couple had long been dissatisfied, with the Thunder Dragon family interfering too much in the affairs of Riptide City. If not for the connections the Thunder Dragon family held in the Star Tower headquarters, Thunderspear might not even be the deputy commander. Thunderspear watched Terrell leave. A gloomy mood settled over him. Trash. They dared to kill our Thunder Dragon family. They must be taught a good lesson. It just so happens that I cannot be the commander-in-chief anymore. Let the storm come more violently. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1053, month of flowers. Riptide City grew increasingly chaotic. Every few days, rumors of demons causing trouble appeared. The truth remained unclear. There was no safe place in this world. In comparison, Riptide City, guarded by high-level wizards, remained Levi's first choice for development. During this period, he secretly visited the location of the mountain giant sacrificial soldier. The mountain giant remained there. If the Thunder Dragon family had placed a tracking mark on the mountain giant, they should have discovered it long ago. This proved that the Thunder Dragon family did not plant a mark on the creature. Levi remained unaware that Rex had erased the mark himself. The reason Rex erased it was simple. He wanted to claim the family's sacrificial soldier for himself. He felt everyone in the family, including his father, growing increasingly disappointed in him. To prevent himself from being abandoned, he made the decision. He wanted to grow up independently from the family. Although the mountain giant remained, Levi had no intention of taking it away. He drew some blood before returning to Riptide City. The mountain giant's earth element affinity and blood benefited Levi's cultivation of the King Kong breathing technique. The secret medicine of the King Kong breathing technique required two types of blood, one for frost elemental apes or giants, and one for earth elements. Rex had directly provided the earth element for Levi. The remaining frost element lay in the hands of the Alhid family. At the same time, the red sand ape received a glorious dismissal. It avoided the fate of Levi continuing to fleece it. The monkey dug a hole in Greenfield Immortal House and lived a life of retirement facing the sea. With the blood of the mountain giant, the cultivation speed of the King Kong breathing technique increased rapidly. Not long after, it rose to level 12. After level 12, the strength in Levi's arms increased significantly. However, to Levi, who already possessed level 13 Red Lotus, the change felt minor. His current goal involved cultivating to the third circle wizard realm as soon as possible. The second goal was to address the other lagging breathing techniques and advance the fusion and mutation of the system. The current breathing technique system remained too complicated. Some legendary organs or special effects of the breathing technique rarely saw use. He focused only on the commonly used ones. Levi wanted to try and integrate the breathing technique system. In theory, this remained possible. The proficiency panel constantly changed and adjusted as Levi's strength increased. Levi had discovered this. Although the proficiency panel lacked life, it felt like a part of his body, growing alongside him. Time passed day by day. Levi felt the gradually surging undercurrents in Riptide City. He decided not to hold any merit points. He worried that Riptide City might fall one day, rendering his saved merit points invalid. Other than exchanging for necessary resources, he spent his merit points on spells during this period. After experimentation, he used 3 zero-circle cantrip spells, Ice Needle, Ice Spike, and Small Icicle, which shared high similarities, to create a first circle spell, Ice Finger. Ice Finger possessed grade A attack power. In the School of Ice, it stood as a high-grade spell among first circle spells. After comparison experiments, he discovered that in the first circle spell library of the School of Ice, the spell models of Icicle, Ice Arrow, and Ice Finger shared similar structures, and could be fused by the proficiency panel. Therefore, he cultivated these two spells again. In the end, after the fusion process, he created a second circle spell of his own design. Levi, Glacial Finger, level 5, 1 out of 30,000. This second circle spell created by Levi possessed an attack strength that surpassed grade A, reaching S-grade attack strength. In the wizard world, S-grade spells held the title of top-grade spells. They referred to the most powerful spells within the same realm. Such spells remained extremely rare. If a top-grade spell reached perfection, its power would not be much weaker than a first circle spell. With Levi's Ether Dominance special effect, his glacial finger was comparable to an ordinary third circle spell. This was a breakthrough feat. The quality of original spells is not bad. In the future, I must use more top-grade spells. Levi felt excited. The biggest difficulty in synthesizing top-grade spells lay in finding spells with high similarities to use as raw materials. Chapter 625. He would have to learn a lot of low-level spells, which was relatively time-consuming. However, considering the power of top-grade spells, Levi felt that it was worth it. Moreover, after the second circle, the price of spells skyrocketed. It was too expensive to buy them himself, and the cost-performance ratio was not high. It was better for Levi to synthesize them himself. It was even more so after the third circle. Including Glacial Finger, Levi had already mastered 7 second circle spells. His strength increased day by day. Levi sat cross-legged, his focus deepening as he practiced. A knock echoed at the door. He opened his eyes. It was Huffman. Algerta moved to the door. She swung it wide. Huffman entered the wizard tower, crossing to a seat before pulling a mug of beer toward him. Rex has been dead for so long, but the authorities still investigate. Huffman sighed, his gaze drifting. The Thunder Dragon family is truly powerful. Levi walked out, a faint smile touching his lips. Fifth Circle clans are terrifying. Who do you think killed Rex? Huffman asked, his eyes narrowing. I do not know. Rex was a third circle wizard. There are not many people in Riptide City who can kill him, Levi said, swirling the tea in his cup as he analyzed the situation. No matter what, it can be considered as eliminating evil for the people. Refreshing. Huffman chuckled, the skin around his eyes crinkling. After Rex died, the Tower of Pharmacists did not recruit a new supervisor. Instead, they assigned Rex's employees to the other 3 supervisors. This meant Huffman had one less strong competitor. Even though Levi did not work as hard as before, Huffman continued to sit firmly on the throne of the number 1 supervisor. Huffman held high hopes for a hero like Levi. Lord Huffman, you do not visit unless you need something. Do you have something to say to me? Levi asked. Huffman smiled. Levi, I have an opportunity here. An opportunity for you to rise to the top in Riptide City. Levi's heart skipped a beat. Lord, please elaborate. The Blue Dragon Lady is recruiting advisors. You can be considered a pharmacist genius. Do you want to join? If you do, I can recommend you, Huffman said. The Blue Dragon Lady? Would this 5th circle powerhouse be interested in me? I am only at the 2nd circle, Levi said, his voice laced with a bitter smile. The Blue Dragon Lady values potential more. You are only in your 60s, but you are already a 2nd circle wizard and a 2nd circle pharmacist. A talent like you is considered top-notch in Riptide City. Do not be humble. We know each other very well. There is no need to be like this, Huffman said, his face bright with a smile. The Blue Dragon Lady is trying to establish her own faction to resist Thunderspear, is she not? Levi asked. Huffman nodded. You are very smart, kid. That is right. 100 years ago, the Blue Dragon Lady prepared an organization called the Dragon Tea Party. In this organization, there are hidden dragon descendants in Riptide City and all kinds of talents. To be honest, I am also a member of the Dragon Tea Party. You were discovered by the Blue Dragon Lady when you stood out previously. She observed your performance. You have the qualifications to enter the Dragon Tea Party. I am not fooling you. The Dragon Tea Party should be the top faction in Riptide City, second only to the Riptide Steeple. Otherwise, why do you think the Blue Dragon Lady could defeat Thunderspear and run for the position of Commander-in-Chief? Now that Riptide City is in turmoil, as far as I know, the couple's heart is no longer in Riptide City. They have a better home to return to. They no longer care about the open and secret struggles below. Although Thunderspear lost the election, his evil intentions did not change. He will think of ways to rely on the power of the Thunder Dragon family to obtain the power of Riptide City. Nobodies like you and me cannot leave Riptide City for the time being because of the military service. We have to rely on something to gain a foothold in this damn era. What do you think? Think about it. Oh right, the participants of the Dragon Tea Party can obtain a 3rd circle wizard tool. So far, other than you, the members of the Tea Party are all wizards above the 3rd circle. Kid, you should be secretly happy that the Blue Dragon Lady values you so much. Huffman looked pleased. Levi smiled, masking the caution that flared in his chest. I am already so low-key, but I have still been targeted by the Blue Dragon Lady. I cannot even hide my damn talent. If I leak even a little, I will be noticed. Levi paused. Lord, I have to consider this. I want to ask, do I need to sign any agreement to join the guild? There is no free lunch in the world. If I can obtain a 3rd circle wizard tool, what obligation do I have to fulfill? To be honest, I am a coward. I can be poor, but I do not want to die for others. Of course, you have to sign the agreement. The rights and obligations are written clearly. I can show you the agreement later, and you can decide for yourself. I will not force you. I can only say that there are not many chances to build a relationship with the Blue Dragon Lady. You have to think carefully, Huffman said. In that case, thank you, Lord. Let me think about it. I might not be able to decide in a short period of time. I hope you do not mind, Levi said. Huffman nodded. He handed Levi a slate before turning to leave. Chapter 626. Blue Dragon Lady, are you plotting against Riptide City? Levi frowned, his thoughts swirling. Participating in this power struggle in Riptide City seemed unwise, and his first instinct was to reject it. He turned his attention to the agreement. The terms appeared reasonable. The Dragon Tea Party functioned as a mutual support organization led by the Blue Dragon Lady. Connections between the groups remained loose. The group met once a month. Participants exchanged cultivation insights, information, and potion materials during these sessions. It operated much like the Tarot Club of Lord Fool. Meetings occurred monthly. Attendance remained optional, though the annual meeting required his presence. The Blue Dragon Lady hosted the tea party within her private secret realm. Levi read the agreement a second time, feeling a pull of temptation. He required more clues about transcendent creatures and deeper knowledge of wizardry. Even with the proficiency panel, progress in isolation proved difficult. Some objective problems simply could not be solved alone. However, anxiety gnawed at him. He worried about being dragged into a power struggle and becoming a mere chess piece for someone else. Levi tucked the document away. Since they set no deadline, he could provide an answer later. A year vanished in the blink of an eye. Holy Brilliance calendar year 1054, month of Germinal. The 18th year of the Great Expedition had arrived. In the myriad machine plane, the Deep Blue Sage developed a method to restrain the mechanical virus of the Father of Plagues, effectively halting the spread of the mechanical plague. No one doubted the research and learning abilities of a legendary wizard. This success incensed the Father of Plagues. His painstakingly researched mechanical plague had been dismantled with such ease. As the saying goes, the higher the Tau, the higher the demon. The battle against the Deep Blue Sage ended in a stalemate. Father Pestilence quickly began researching a new version, Mechanical Plague 2.0. Much like the war between a human immune system and a virus, the two sides waged their conflict across the myriad machine plane. In the Endless Sea, after countless rounds of games, the powerful figure behind Black Sun Adam and the 100-beast berserk which remained hidden in the shadows. Rumors circulated throughout the Endless Sea, speaking of wizards who had obtained miracle fruits and gained miraculous abilities. Older wizards referred to these individuals as miracle wizards. Miracle wizards tended to fuse spells and bloodlines. Their growth speed surpassed that of traditional wizards. However, the quality of the consumed miracle fruit firmly capped their potential. This process mirrored the nature of transcendent creatures. Not all wizards possessed the constitution to consume a miracle fruit. Many had already suffered the fate of having their brains blown apart upon consumption. Yet, everyone scrambled for the miracle fruit. What mattered a few side effects? Simultaneously, the discovery spread that after a miracle wizard died, the miracle fruit would emerge and reconstitute itself. The miracle ability would not vanish. This sent the wizards into a frenzy. They realized they could obtain the miracle fruit by killing others, so they considered it fair game. In this chaotic era, bloody massacres over the miracle fruit occurred everywhere. Dark wizards and righteous wizards turned against each other for the sake of the fruit. Riptide City, number 80 Middle Riptide. Levi scanned the news circulating among the local wizards. He let out a soft sigh. A chaotic world is also a world of great competition. The more volatile things become, the more patience I must maintain. I must seize every moment to work hard and cultivate experience. After a year of cultivation, his spiritual power reached 80 points, while his spell power hit the upper limit of 2,400 points. Levi was now 64 years old. In 4 years, his mental strength had increased by a total of 10 points. For other second circle wizards with ordinary aptitudes, this process might take decades or even 100 years to polish. It could not be helped. Levi's current cultivation conditions remained too generous. 4 elemental affinity talents, abundant meditation supplementary potions, and the proficiency panel all played their part. It would be strange if he felt anything but satisfaction. The last 20 points will take at least 7 to 8 years, he mused. From the looks of it, advancing to the third circle before the age of 70 remains difficult. I can only say that I will reach the third circle before the age of 75. Levi sighed, his breath hitching. It cannot be helped. I have mainly used this time to increase the level of my breathing techniques. Levi now set his goal to cultivate all the 5-dimensional breathing techniques, except for perception, to level 13, before he reached the third circle. Afterward, he would comb through and integrate the existing breathing techniques. He planned to take the 4 parts of the strength dimension, all strengthened by breathing techniques, and assemble them into a single technique. Levi did not know if this idea was feasible. He could only attempt it once these breathing techniques reached level 13. Ultimately, Levi aimed to merge all his breathing techniques into one ultimate biological breathing technique. In that case, he would only need to focus all his efforts on cultivating one technique in the future. Of course, it was still too early to consider ultimate creatures, but integrating his strength remained imperative. In addition to the breathing techniques, his spell cultivation had also improved greatly. His proficiency panel displayed his progress. Thunderbird, level 6, 31,256 out of 40,000. Glacial Finger, level 6, 12,567 out of 40,000. Sword Blade Storm, level 5, 24,678 out of 30,000. The power of the level 6 Glacial Finger is comparable to the attack power of an S-grade spell, he noted. Once it reaches the maximum level of 7, it will definitely possess the attack power of a grade C third circle spell. Now, his spell attacks, including the 5 fireballs technique, the Thunderbird, the Glacial Finger, and the Sword Blade Storm, served as top-notch killer moves. Ordinary second circle wizards could not withstand any one of them. He had learned Sword Blade Storm later. The spell was extremely cool, and when used, it appeared as if 10,000 swords returned to their origin. It was suitable for showing off. This helped compensate for the fact that Levi appeared ugly in his monster form. Levi closed his proficiency panel. Over the past year, he had mostly spent his time reflecting and planning. The Dragon Tea Party did not urge Levi to make a decision, so he felt no rush. Just like that, Levi spent another 2 years in peace within Riptide City. In those 2 years, much occurred in Riptide City. Some events stemmed from demons, while others were caused by wizards, or wizards who used the name of demons to conduct illegal acts. During this period, Levi also encountered some unexpected calamities. However, relying on his strength, he survived every mishap. Riptide City became increasingly chaotic. Many wizards in Upper Riptide simply vanished by the time the sun rose the next day. The atmosphere grew oppressive and tense, like the long night before a storm. Thanks to the bloodline of Bogang, Levi successfully cultivated the King Kong breathing technique to level 13. After confirming that Bogang possessed no tracking mark, this silent mountain giant also joined the camp at Greenfield Immortal House. In addition to the King Kong breathing technique, the Black Whale, Jade Dragon, Dragon Demon, Silver Mountain Dragon, Death Ember, and Mountain Ape breathing techniques had all reached level 12 over the past 2 years. Levi's overall strength jumped to another level. Chapter 627. Levi reviewed his current status. His King Kong breathing technique reached level 13, 1 out of 400,000. The special effect, King Kong's Wrath, level 1, combined with Frost Heart and King Kong's Wrath. The long-armed King Kong, he noted, possessed arms with unparalleled strength, capable of moving mountains and seas, omnipotent. The blood of King Kong within him granted him the capital to wrestle with giants of the same realm. This special effect could be upgraded with the advancement of bloodline. Adhering to the norms, not too dazzling, just pure strength, Levi muttered to himself. Next, I will wait for level 13 to combine Red Lotus, King Kong, Dragon Demon, and Black Whale. It was the 1056th year of the Holy Brilliance calendar, the month of grass, marking the 20th year of the Great Expedition. Levi was now 66 years old. His spiritual force had reached 85 points, and his spell power had reached 2,500 points. Levi had mastered all the second ring spells to the maximum level. He noted his original spell, Glacial Finger, a level 7 spell that, at its maximum, pierced through everything with considerable power. Levi rose and headed to the Tower of Pharmacists. He found Grim and Tommen waiting there, 2 faces he had not seen in a long time. How have you all been lately? Levi asked. It definitely has not been as good as yours, Grim retorted, and he shot Levi a disdainful look. Everyone knew Levi was the strongest employee under Huffman, possessing unparalleled pharmaceutical skills. Within the Tower of Pharmacists, he ranked just below the Tower Master and Supervisors. I heard that once you reached the 3rd circle, the Green Forest Sage wanted you to become a supervisor, Tommen said. He shared some gossip he had picked up from unknown sources, news that had not even reached Levi. Is it true? Whose information is this? Grim asked, somewhat astonished. Levi, you were on the fast track to success. I am not sure, but the 3 of us, brothers for nearly 20 years in Riptide City, saw you, Levi, as our last hope, Tommen said. He looked at Levi with an eager expression. That was pure rumor, Levi replied hastily. He had no interest in being a supervisor. Though being a supervisor was a lucrative position, it undoubtedly came with high risks. Levi, lacking any significant background, could not aspire to it even after becoming a 3rd circle pharmacist. By the way, once our service in Riptide City finished and the war concluded, what were your plans? Tommen asked. I wanted to go back to Area 9, Grim said. Now that I was a 2nd circle wizard and pharmacist, I should have been able to improve my family's situation. The pressure in Riptide City was too much. I would rather have been a big fish in a small pond. Grim's ambitions remained focused on his small, rundown family. To Levi, this perspective was difficult to comprehend. In his view, Grim's approach hindered his own cultivation, but each person had their own ambitions. What about you, Levi? Tommen asked. I want to continue staying in Riptide City, Levi said. My original organization is gone, and there is no need to go back. I would rather be a freelance cultivator here in Riptide City. Although it is stressful, there are many opportunities. Ah, that is easy for you to say, Tommen sighed. Without any background, who can establish themselves in Riptide City? Even if you manage to establish yourself, you will be scraping by in the lower Riptide or middle Riptide. Always at the mercy of the lords from upper Riptide. It is a tough life. I plan to go back to my family. I cannot even afford a house in upper Riptide after a lifetime of work. Levi considered the conversation. What is wrong with you two, he thought. The war is not over yet, and you are already planning your future here. He quickly shifted the conversation. By the way, Levi, I have a friend who discovered a small ancient wizard relic, likely belonging to an intermediate level wizard organization, Tommen said. There might be some treasures inside. Do you want to join us? Grim has already decided to go. Forget it, Levi replied without hesitation. It is risky, and I would rather focus on pharmacy. Although it earns less, at least it is safer. You, with such talent, why are you being so conservative? Tommen said, clearly helpless. Wealth and prosperity come with risks. Without taking a chance, how will you advance to the 3rd circle? Levi remained determined. He refused, and he advised them directly. You two better think carefully. In an intermediate level ancient wizard relic, with your current strength, do you have a guarantee of obtaining treasures? Do you have a guarantee of ensuring your own safety? Have you thought about these things carefully? It should be fine, Tommen said, thinking for a moment. In our team, there is a second circle array wizard. With him, the arrays and restrictions in the ancient wizard relic can be easily broken. Everything else will be manageable. All right, I am a bit timid, Levi said, shaking his head. I will not go. Well, maybe you are right, Grim said. Why take such risks? After completing a task at the Tower of Pharmacists, Levi looked at Huffman, who appeared satisfied with his performance. How about the Dragon Tea Party? Levi asked. What do you think? With an apologetic expression, Levi said, I might disappoint you, my lord. After some consideration, I have decided not to join for now. Please convey my apologies to Lady Blue Dragon. It is okay. Lady Blue Dragon only sent an invitation. Whether you join or not is up to you, Huffman said calmly. Levi offered his sincere thanks. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 628. Levi felt it better to avoid organizations prone to power struggles. Without a clear understanding of the details or strength of either side, taking sides seemed unwise. Involvement might lead to complications. It remained better to stay out of it, viewing the unfolding events from the perspective of a bystander. Back at the Wizard Tower, Levi felt the insignificance of individuals within the turbulent currents of the era. Wizards at the bottom functioned as mere pawns. Perhaps only high-level wizards, grand wizards, and legendary wizards possessed the agency to become players. Pawns are just pawns. As long as I am alive, everything is fine. When I transmigrated to this world, I should have been like those protagonists in online novels, exploring everywhere, searching for relics, seizing opportunities, collecting treasures, and participating in auctions. Instead, I became a homebody wizard, almost 70 years old, without experiencing a grand, impromptu adventure. Levi mocked himself. The main theme of his life centered on quietly practicing at home, from his mortal period to his journey as a wizard. This remained his unchanged original intention. Master, I have advanced to Grand Knight. I broke through the barrier. Algerta ran over, black gas whirling around her body. She stood tall, embodying her new strength. Levi sensed the shift in the air. He smiled. You have reached Grand Knight. Well done. You are faster than I expected. Your cultivation speed will likely slow down from now on, but do not worry. This is a normal process. Just continue your practice step by step. The White Wolf girl closed her eyes, rubbing her cheek against Levi's rough hands. Thank you, Master. I will work hard. I will not hold you back. Go ahead. Algerta hopped away. To cultivate the Frost Wolf breathing technique to the Grand Knight realm exceeded my expectations, Levi muttered. Tiga and his two brothers also reached high-level night cultivation, mastering the use of black gas and making significant progress in their two-sword techniques. Levi felt satisfied with the cultivation speed of his four clan members. When he advanced to the third circle, perhaps they could reach the legendary realm. They would prove useful then. I must continue cultivating and integrating the 4 breathing techniques of the strength rune language as soon as possible. Levi kept his inner world calm and undisturbed despite the external hustle. As long as events had nothing to do with him, he could ignore them. At the end of the year 1056, in the Holy Brilliance calendar, during the month of winter, Huffman informed Levi that the high-level wizard couple, in Riptide City, had left the city a month ago. They had headed to the headquarters of the Panplane Wizard Council. This headquarters sat in the heart of the realm of the unbelievers, the core of the entire wizard world. More than half of the high-level wizards in the wizard world resided in the central realm. It served as the pinnacle of wizard civilization, the most advanced hub of knowledge and technological output, the birthplace of council decisions, and the cradle of Sauron's creation of the Panplane Wizard Council. Legendary wizards presided there to prevent invasions from other planes. High-level wizards hoped to practice in the central realm, where they could meet like-minded individuals and access more resources. The Star Tower exerted no control over the departure of high-level wizards. Riptide City still required a high-level wizard to govern. Currently, all high-level wizards mobilized in the Endless Sea engaged in battle against dark wizards, leaving no one available. Therefore, Blue Dragon Lady, a 5th Circle Dragon descendant wizard, had to assume the role of City Lord in Riptide City temporarily. According to regulations, the Commander-in-Chief held the right and obligation to assume the role of City Lord. However, the majority of low-level wizards in Riptide City remained unaware that no high-level wizards remained in the Riptide Steeple. The military blocked this information, fearing a loss of morale and fighting spirit among the troops. If this news reached the lower-level wizards, they would perceive that the couple, relying on their power, realized the futility of resisting the demon army and the forces of the Dark Wizard. They would see it as an abandonment of Riptide City and its people. If high-ranking generals fled, the battles fought by the soldiers below would lose all meaning. In the upper Riptide area, at 10 Tanton Street, a massive wizard estate stood. Rock eyries, lakes, wizard towers, and various buildings scattered throughout the grounds. At the top of the Blue Dragon Tower, a witch dressed in a blue robe, possessing an impressive figure and twin horns on her head, gazed into the distance towards the upper Riptide. Several 4th Circle wizards stood by her side. She was Blue Dragon Lady, a 5th Circle Dragon descendant wizard. It is about to begin. Prepare to face Sorit's challenge. He will not let it go easily. I have worked with him for so long. I know him too well, Blue Dragon Lady said. Lord, our personnel on this side have also assembled. If that Thunder Spear dares to attack you, we will surely bring him to justice. Gerdu, the commander who had initially brought Levi and others from Area 9, stood among the fourth circle wizards. They served as followers of Blue Dragon Lady, standing firmly on the side of the dragon descendant wizard. Chapter 629. Green Forest Sage, a fifth circle wizard, left the Tower of Pharmacists not too long ago just to avoid taking sides. This old man is truly beyond my control. Blue Dragon Lady chuckled helplessly. Currently, there were only 5 fifth circle wizards in Riptide City. On her side, there were 2, herself and Sea Serpent Grand Duke Merlhan, a fifth circle wizard with Sea Clan lineage from the Ocean School of Thought. Due to Merlhan's Sea Clan blood, he had faced discrimination from Sorit, and naturally aligned himself with Blue Dragon Lady. On Sorit's side, there was also a fifth circle wizard, Lava Hand Turso, a formidable figure settled in the upper Riptide. This individual, in all likelihood, received benefits from Sorit, and was prepared to participate in the upcoming events. Apart from these, there was Green Forest Sage. However, this old man was quite cunning. Sensing trouble on the horizon, he withdrew even before the storm arrived. With his considerable influence, he did not need to serve in the military like Levi and the others. He could come and go as he pleased. Blue Dragon Lady knew that the upcoming conflicts were inevitable. Furthermore, Star Tower was unlikely to offer much assistance. Whether she could successfully hold the position of City Lord and defend this place depended on the strength of her own fists. With these thoughts in mind, Blue Dragon Lady extended her hands, pure as jade, revealing frosty blue dragon scales on the back of her hands. Come, Sorit. The dragon blood within me is boiling. During the intense atmosphere among the lords in Upper Riptide, Levi arrived at Huffman's place. An unusual scent hung in the air. Riptide City was no longer a safe haven. Next, Blue Dragon Lady and Thunder Spear would undoubtedly engage in a fierce struggle within the city. With Levi's current strength, ensuring his safety would be challenging. Inside Huffman's room, Levi gazed at Huffman and calmly said, "Lord, I would like to request leave to return home for a while." "What is wrong?" Huffman remarked, worried about being caught in the upcoming storm and getting wet. "To be honest, yes," Levi replied. "Lord, what are your plans for the future? Will you weather the storm, or will you continue to stay here?" Huffman fell silent for a moment and then sighed. "I cannot stay out of it. No wonder you did not join the Dragon Tea Party. There are indeed some pitfalls in it. I have already boarded Blue Dragon Lady's ship, and it is hard to get off now. Your leave is approved. Based on your previous performance, you can stay outside for a while. Do not come back in the short term. Riptide City is about to undergo a major change." Levi kept his words to himself. "Take care, Lord. I will not forget your kindness," Levi said earnestly. His expression was sincere. He appreciated Huffman as a boss. In 2 lifetimes, bosses like him were rare. Huffman was greedy, but with boundaries. He possessed a commoner's demeanor alongside a kind heart. Huffman could have refused Levi's leave, subjecting him to the troubles within the city. "Hurry up. It will not be good if you are late in requesting leave. You might not even have the chance to leave when the time comes." Huffman waved his hand. He sat there dejectedly, devoid of his former vigor. The upcoming events in Riptide City would undoubtedly involve perilous warfare. Even as a third circle wizard, Huffman still lacked certainty about landing safely. "In the end, greed for small gains has harmed me," Huffman sighed as he watched Levi's figure disappear. Inside the wizard tower, Levi hurriedly packed up his array and belongings. "Master, are we leaving?" Algerta asked, with the 3 brothers, Lion, Tiger, and Leopard, behind her. "Yes, you can enter my Greenfield Immortal House, and we will leave Riptide City for a while." Levi opened the entrance to the Greenfield Immortal House. "All right." The Fur Clan members naturally had no objections. Levi was their god. His words were divine commands to be obeyed. After packing up, Levi looked at the residence at number 80, where he had stayed for so long. "I hope that when I come back, the situation in the city will have settled. In this troublesome era, it is so difficult to find a peaceful place for cultivation." Without looking back, Levi headed towards the outskirts of the city. He chose not to take a wizard airship controlled by the military. This time, Levi was seeking refuge. He was not sure about the military's stance, so he decided to fly back himself. With his current level 13 blood beast, he would not be much slower than a wizard airship. Graham and Tommen went to the wizard relic, and there is still no news. Levi remembered his only 2 acquaintances in Riptide City. Pushing these thoughts aside, he quickly left. Shortly after Levi left, Riptide City announced the suspension of all wizard airship flights, and recalled many wizards who were hunting demons outside. In the Tower of Pharmacists, the pharmacists who remained in the city gathered in the square. Huffman looked at them. His expression was complicated. "Prepare for battle. There may be some reactionary forces in the city. Be vigilant towards your colleagues and friends. Trust the Tower of Pharmacists. Trust the official authorities of Riptide City. Trust the City Lord." "Lord, what is happening?" Chapter 630. A wizard stood near the entrance, his voice trembling. "Lord, there is something at my home, and I would like to take a leave and go back for a while." The uneasy pharmacists watched as a 4th circle wizard, Gerdu, arrived at the Tower of Pharmacists accompanied by a legion of combat wizards. Gerda looked at the crowd. "Huffman, the people of the Tower of Pharmacists will move to number 10 Tanton Street next. We must take protective measures for you to prevent enemies from harming the pharmacists." He spoke with a cold edge. Huffman forced a smile and bowed his head. "Thank you, Lord Gerdu." In his heart, he sighed. This was not protection, It was a way to forcibly bind the Tower of Pharmacists to the Blue Dragon Lady. Gerda scanned the area, his eyes narrowing. Oh, I remember there is a second circle pharmacist named Levi. Where is he? Huffman lowered his gaze. Levi went on a demon hunting mission some time ago, and has not returned. I am worried too. As a pharmacist, he is likely dead outside in the chaos. Gerda showed no reaction. After a moment of silence, he spoke. Understood. Pack up and prepare to move. Huffman turned and looked toward the city gates. In his selfish and self-interested life, he rarely considered others. Thinking of Levi was an exception. Under the vast sky, there is no pure land. 3 days later, the tranquil night sky of Riptide City shattered. Eerie laughter echoed through the air. A demon with horns and powerful wings emerged from a mansion on Tanton Street No. 10, wreaking havoc in the city. Many casualties occurred, and even a third circle wizard fell on the spot. Chaos erupted in the city as the demon manifested. In an instant, a purple electrical grid covered the sky, spreading through the void. Following the electric light, thunderous sounds echoed. Bright lightning shattered the peace and struck the level 4 demon, killing it instantly. A colossal figure, surrounded by an aura of destruction, descended like a god. The force shook the entire city. Commander-in-Chief Blue Dragon Lady colluding with Abyss demons has violated the Wizard Council's Abyssal Blood Battle Decree. The Wizard Civilization and Abyssal Civilization are mortal enemies, with deep-seated hatred. Blue Dragon's actions are unforgivable. Wizards, follow me to subdue this criminal, and restore peace to Riptide City. Thunder Spear's voice echoed throughout the city, shocking the wizards who looked toward Tanton Street. They peered into the night. How is it possible? Blue Dragon Lady colluding with demons. Sigh, it is hard to say. The temperament of dragon descendants cannot be measured by common sense. It must be a trick by Thunder Spear. In the night sky over No. 10 Tanton Street, a witch in blue robes remained composed. Her eyes glowed like lightning, and her demeanor was as cold as an iceberg. Sorry, there is no need for such methods. Let us settle this with a fair fight. As a man, using such despicable means, do you not feel ashamed? I finally understand why that level 5 demon could hide in Riptide City last time. It was all your doing. Sorit sneered, quibbling. Once I capture you, I will hand you over to the Star Tower for judgment. Thunder Spear cut through the night sky, unstoppable. Ice Dragon's manifestation. With Blue Dragon Lady's low chant, her innate spell activated. An illusory ice dragon, with a wingspan of possibly hundreds of meters, emerged and dominated the upper Riptide area. Blue Dragon Lady stood on the head of the ice dragon, fearless. As the ice dragon clashed with the Thunder Spear, a storm descended upon Riptide City, pouring relentlessly. How could anyone in this city escape the deluge? Some had left before the pouring rain arrived. Levi was already on his way. Huffman, Grimm, Tommen, I do not know if I can see you again. If no one manages Riptide City, where should I go? Levi flew through the air with his family. His speed was remarkable. A week later, he left the Inner Sea region, Area 6. Instead of heading to Area 9, he went directly to the Yellow Earth continent. Originally, he planned to come to the Yellow Earth continent after advancing to the third circle. Plans never kept up with changes, and now, he could only escape ahead of schedule. He came to the Yellow Earth continent for 2 reasons. First, to find Lake Naga and seek materials for refining the Lake Fairy Potion, preparing to advance to the third circle. Second, to reclaim the Silver Frost Ice Ape that he had lured out with his life-threatening actions in the secret realm. Of course, previously, Levi also planned to subdue the 3-horned Dragon King in the ancient forest, as well as the vaguely discernible transcendent creature at its center, to enrich his collection of transcendent creature bloodlines. In some time, I will have to go to the Star Sea region and buy Mini Meow Meow House. Greenfield Immortal House is not big enough. Anyway, I have money now. Levi calculated the costs in his mind. In the distance, Lion King City loomed, partially hidden. He did not enter the city recklessly, but instead used perception to survey the area. After discovering that the Golden Lion Jostar family still controlled the city, he decided to enter. In Golden Lion Castle, old Golden Lion sat cross-legged on the high level of the Wizard Tower, recuperating from his injuries. On the training ground, Dinos sparred with Emperor Mew. 2 brawny men stood there. One, adorned with a golden mane, appeared imposing and majestic. The other sparkled in golden light, displaying grandeur. Both were legendary knights, but Emperor Mew was on the verge of breaking through the legendary constraints, while Dinos had recently stepped into legendary status. Boom. Chapter 631. Emperor Mew held a slight advantage. Dinos went flying, rolling on the ground in a rather embarrassed manner. Not bad. It seems both of you have improved. A voice rang out from the sky. Dinos and Emperor Mew stared, their eyes widening. Sir Levi. Levi descended from the sky. His cultivation remained at the second circle. He looked exactly as he had the last time, yet he exuded a more serene and composed aura. Let us not talk about it. Don't use your second circle wizard abilities. Just rely on the strength of knights to have a friendly match. Let me see the gap between you, who has broken through the legendary constraints, and me. Emperor Mew clenched his fists, eager to try. Dinos nodded. He knew he was not Levi's match, but with Emperor Mew joining, they might have a chance against Levi, who had broken through the legendary constraints. Sure, both of you, come at me together. Levi smiled faintly. Are you sure? Both of us together? My golden spine bone has completely fused with me. Even a second circle wizard might accidentally be broken through by me. Be careful. Emperor Mew warned, his fists glowing. Bring it on. Levi beckoned. We won't hold back. Dinos gripped his golden greatsword. Emperor Mew charged toward Levi, his fists covered in golden spine bone. Levi flexed his muscles. To keep a low profile, he pretended to exert his full strength, using only 10% of his power. Boom! Levi struck with a palm. Emperor Mew staggered backward, nearly falling. At the same time, Levi caught Dinos' greatsword strike. He clapped the weapon away and unleashed the power of the golden revolving slash. Dinos' tiger's mouth cracked, blood streaming out. Levi caught the greatsword, flicked his finger, and the sword shot toward the wall where Emperor Mew had slammed. Emperor Mew's golden spine bone transformed into a bone shield, blocking the greatsword attack. He crashed into the wall of the training ground. Cough, cough. You are truly a monster. Is this the strength after breaking through the legendary constraints? Emperor Mew admired. Yes, keep it up, Levi encouraged. Sir Levi, what wind brought you here? Old Golden Lion walked out of the castle. His face was pale. Sir Leon, you don't look too good. Is something wrong? Levi inquired. No worries. Last time, when we joined forces with the Wham family to attack the Alhid family, that guy Lehman played a trick on me. I got injured, but I have mostly recovered by now. Lehman is injured too, no better than me. Old Golden Lion chuckled. Levi studied the man. The injuries did not look minor. It seemed like a severe blow to the spiritual force had caused such damage. I came to the Yellow Earth continent for some business, and plan to stay in Lion King City for a while. That is very welcome. Leon chuckled. He lacked a second circle wizard like Levi. In reality, Levi wanted to leverage the strength of the Golden Lion Jostar family to deal with Lehman. Relying solely on himself remained somewhat dangerous. If he hid within the Golden Lion Jostar family, he could seize the opportunity to assassinate Lehman during the next battle against the Alhid family. After a brief greeting with Old Golden Lion, Levi temporarily left Lion King City and headed to the ancient forest. With his current strength, he could likely penetrate the ancient forest with ease. It was time to collect those transcendent creatures to avoid unforeseen circumstances. In the ancient forest, the primeval woods were dense with towering trees. Occasional roars of terrifying beasts echoed through the branches. This was one of the forbidden areas in the Yellow Earth continent. First circle transcendent creatures often appeared here, and even second circle ones could be spotted. At the center of the ancient forest, a steep rocky mountain rose into the air. Cracks of lightning permeated the dark clouds above the mountain, and lightning struck the summit from time to time. Under the mountain, some transcendent creatures gathered, bowing down before a powerful figure bathed in thunder on the mountain's peak. Among these creatures was a three-horned dragon king, a beast the size of a house. At the mountain's summit, a bipedal flying dragon with wings of wind and thunder danced amid flashes of lightning. In the distance, beneath a concealed array, a wizard wearing a black robe with freckles on his face leaned against a robed witch with rose patterns. His complexion was flushed. They watched the beautiful creatures dance in the thunder. This is the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon, a rare transcendent creature that combines wind and thunder attributes. Its bloodline is noble, possibly the last of its kind in the Endless Sea. Such a beautiful and miraculous creature. No wonder you seem so taciturn. You appear to be an appraiser on the surface, but in reality, you are a researcher specializing in transcendent creatures. The witch gazed at the male wizard beside her. His captivating eyes reflected the image of the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon. She felt fascinated. A dedicated man is truly handsome. She loved wizards who were cultured, honest, and appeared weak, but had peculiar hobbies. Compared to her master, the Flower Knight, who only liked macho men, she appreciated the wizards in the wizard world, who lacked what she considered masculine beauty. Chapter 632. The Flower Knight had successfully advanced to the 6th circle, becoming a high-level primordial soul wizard. In the Endless Sea, there were few men who caught her attention. Newt remained a solid choice. A wizard like him did not open up easily, but once he invited someone into his world, he would treasure them forever. Newt stood near the cliff edge, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The Rose Witch stepped closer, her eyes sparkling. Newt, when are you going to tame it? She asked, pointing toward the creature in the distance. I really want to ride with you and enjoy the breeze. Newt sighed, his expression turning serious. With my current strength, the probability of defeating the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon is less than half. For our safety, we can only appreciate it from here. Besides, the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon is a spirit of wind and thunder. The sky is its home. The Rose Witch pouted, her mouth falling open slightly. Newt mimicked her expression, his jaw dropping in a playful imitation. Suddenly, a figure plummeted from the clouds like a falling star. The sky fractured. Bathed in lightning, a trail of endless, crackling thunder snakes followed behind him. The figure descended, appearing less like a man and more like a god of storms. In the blink of an eye, the figure slammed a foot onto the back of the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon. Groundbreaking. A boom echoed across the mountain range. The Wind Thunder Winged Dragon seemed to have collided with a meteorite. Its massive frame plummeted from the high altitude, slamming hard into the jagged mountaintop. Silence returned to the peak, as if the thunder itself had been shocked into stillness. Simultaneously, a mountain-like giant dropped from the clouds, landing with a heavy thud. The giant straddled the back of the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon, pinning it to the rock. The figure bathed in lightning swung out a black curtain, which tightened around the dragon. A vigorous, rhythmic battle ensued. Do you yield? The figure shouted, his voice ringing over the wind. Follow me, and there will be only benefits for you, no harm. Don't believe me? Ask this big guy. The man paused, glaring down at the struggling beast. Give you 1 minute. Make a dragon covenant. Acknowledge me as the master dragon. The beast thrashed. Still thinking of resisting, the figure snarled. Bold creature, it seems you do not quite understand the current situation. Bogang, break its tail for me, and shock it. I will show you my Thunderbird. Who does not know a lightning spell? He leaned closer to the dragon, his voice low and menacing. If my glacial finger goes down, you might die. Do not resist in vain. Follow me and I will treat you well. The more you defy me, the more excited I get. Let me see where your limits lie. The battle atop the mountain finally reached its conclusion. Raja, from now on, you are my dragon. This is Gustav. Get to know each other, Levi said. He wiped the soot from his face, looking down at the now obedient Wind Thunder Winged Dragon with satisfaction. Doing this earlier would have saved so much trouble. After subduing Raja, Levi turned his attention to the other transcendent creatures nearby. These beings had served under Raja, including the three-horned Dragon King, one of the dragon's primary guardians. The other guardian was a dragon finch, a rare second-circle transcendent creature, and a hybrid of the Dragon Clan. In Raja's territory, Levi discovered 3 Dragon Clan hybrids, a pleasant surprise. Ah, the Greenfield Immortal House is full all of a sudden, Levi muttered. He scanned the crowded space of his storage treasure and sighed. He needed to hurry and purchase the mini Meow Meow house. The journey into the ancient forest had yielded rich rewards. Raja provided the secret medicines for both wind and thunder attributes. The 3-horned Dragon King's horn served as a superior substitute for the Leviathan's single horn, while the Dragon Finch acted as a superior replacement for the Crimson Fire Dragon Lizard. The other transcendent creatures served little immediate purpose, but Levi had already decided to start a personal zoo. As long as the creatures could fit, he welcomed them all. This allowed Levi to enrich his bloodline storage, facilitating future research and the practice of his breathing techniques. After securing these creatures, Levi arrived at a peculiar, secluded location. He stopped, a smile touching his lips. Inside there, if you do not come out soon, I will just go in. Chapter 633. Ripples distorted the void before Levi. 2 figures stepped through the shimmer. Levi blinked as he recognized the face. Wizard Newt. Sir Levi, aren't you an appraiser at Celestial Circle Shop? How did you end up in the outer circle area? Aren't you in Area 9? Both men spoke in unison, laughing at the coincidence. It was a long story. Levi did not know Wizard Newt well, but he remembered the man as serious and earnest. You two know each other? Newt, introduce me. Rose Witch grabbed Newt's arm. Newt cleared his throat. Sir Levi, this is Miss Rose, my female friend. Rose pinched Wizard Newt's arm, a small smile playing on her lips. Hello, I am Rose Witch, one of the 24 flowers of the Flower Witch. By the way, I think I heard Violet, that little girl, mention your name. Rose paused, her eyes widening. Did you once take a wizard airship with Violet and hunt down a dark wizard together? Yes. No wonder you are so beautiful. It turns out you are one of the 24 flowers. I have heard of you, but I am just a nameless soldier. Levi chuckled. Sir Levi, do not be modest. Newt and I would not dare claim a stable victory against the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon, but you managed to subdue it alone. You are much stronger than Violet described. You have been hiding your true abilities. Rose laughed. Levi offered no response, his expression sharpening. Both of you, I have no ill intentions, but I do not want these events to spread. I hope you two can sign a simple confidentiality contract with me. As compensation, I will provide you with corresponding fees. I understand. There is no need for payment. If the terms are fair, we will sign. The Wind Thunder Winged Dragon is a rare creature sought by many wizards. Newt is always careful when checking on it, not wanting other wizards to disturb it. Unexpectedly, you found it here. Rose chatted animatedly. Sir Levi, you will treat the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon well, right? Newt asked the question, his eyes filled with anticipation. Of course. I will let you know that I am a lover of transcendent creatures. I cannot even lay a hand on the most ordinary sea beast. If you do not believe me, I will show you my transcendent creatures. They are all thriving under my care. Levi gestured toward the lake where the Leviathan splashed, sending water high into the air. Leviathan, do you think following me makes you happy? Levi smiled at the creature. The Leviathan sprayed a mist of water, its head emerging from the surface as it nodded happily. It was very happy. Newt hesitated, watching the display. I could not help but notice the fierceness in your demeanor just now, but it is your right to capture it. I just hope, Sir Levi, that you will not forget your initial intentions, treating these creatures kindly and contributing to the continuity of the transcendent creature population in the wizard world. That was just a facade. Those who know me are aware that I am a refined and easygoing person. I subdued the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon because I was concerned it might harm the civilians on the Yellow Earth continent in the future, causing innocent deaths. Inside the Greenfield Immortal House, the Wind Thunder Winged Dragon glared at Levi with sorrow. It had reigned supreme in the ancient forest, a forbidden area where no one dared approach. Except for the occasional wizard or adventurer who stumbled inside seeking death, it had never harmed a single person. This accusation was baseless. The dragon thought to itself that its master could not unjustly tarnish its innocence like this. With this, I can be at ease. Newt accepted the confidentiality agreement and, under Levi's persuasion, signed it alongside Rose Witch. Levi smiled as he stowed the document. What are your plans? We plan to return to the Swordflower Tower. Things outside have become too chaotic. Rose Witch looked toward the horizon, and Newt nodded in agreement. Levi remembered something important. Lord Newt, do you know if Mini Meow Meow House and Gargamel's Book of Seals from the Celestial Circle Shop are still intact? These 2 wizard tools were useful, and he had been thinking about them often. Newt sighed. The celestial circle shop where I used to work was robbed by a dark wizard. The precious wizard tools inside are scattered elsewhere. Levi felt a surge of hot anger. Dark wizards. The Greenfield Immortal House was almost at its limit. The mountain giant, Gustav, and the wind thunder-winged dragon were all large creatures. The limited space available was not enough for them to move freely. It was like keeping them in a zoo with restricted movement within a confined space. These transcendent creatures were Levi's treasures. Despite extracting their blood and grinding their horns, he loved them dearly and wanted to provide them with a better living environment. I was planning to buy them when I had the money, but now it seems unlikely. Sir Levi, I have a hereditary spatial wizard tool here. Honestly, the living conditions for your transcendent creatures seem a bit subpar. My spatial wizard tool is not inferior to Mini Meow Meow House. If you need it, I can sell it to you. Wizard Newt suggested. Chapter 634. How can I accept this? Levi turned the thought over in his mind. Newt spoke with a serious expression. My wizard tool has been around for quite some time. Back when I was a transcendent animal scholar, I used it. After I released those transcendent animals, the tool has been idle. I happen to need money now. Newt reached into his robe. Seemingly out of nowhere, a ring appeared in his hand. This is Alice's somnambulist ring. It used to be a 5th circle wizard tool, but due to certain reasons, it is now only a 4th circle wizard tool. Alice was my great-grandmother. She was also a transcendent creature scholar, and named many transcendent creatures that are well known today. Unfortunately, she ultimately died at the hands of her beloved transcendent creatures. Newt spoke the words with complex emotions. He needed money now to advance to a 4th circle wizard. In these turbulent times, this would enable him to stand firm and better protect himself and Rose. Pride prevented him from seeking refuge under Rose and the Swordflower Tower. He wanted to rely on himself. Levi looked at Alice's ring. Newt opened a spatial portal, revealing the scenery inside. Levi gazed at it. The ring contained a mini-secret realm with mountains, plains, lakes, forests, and sky. This ring possesses a large space with dimensions of 5 kilometers in length, 5 kilometers in width, and 3 kilometers in height. Inside, creatures can soar in the sky, swim in the lakes, and run freely on the ground. Various terrains and forests inside provide diverse environments for transcendent creatures, along with a variety of elemental arrays, allowing creatures with different elemental affinities to thrive. Levi felt the elemental power inside. It was no less than that of the outside world, confirming Newt's words. Advanced transcendent creature houses could absorb elemental power from other planes through powerful high-level arrays, nurturing their internal spaces to resemble heavenly realms. I wonder, Lord Newt, how much are you selling it for? Though Levi felt the temptation, he had to inquire about the price. If it was too high, he needed to save some ether stones for his own cultivation. Although this ring has dropped to the 4th circle, the actual space is still much larger than Mini Meow Meow House. My asking price is 400,000 ether stones. Newt stated his price. Levi quickly calculated the figure in his mind. He thought for a moment and then asked, "Can you tell me why the ring dropped in grade? I need to understand this. Otherwise, if it drops to the 3rd circle, paying 400,000 for a 3rd circle wizard tool would be a significant loss. Because I could not supply the ether stones needed for the internal space array of this ring. The inner world of this ring relies on spatial arrays to transform ether into the elemental powers of earth, fire, wind, and water, creating a small plane. You can think of it as a low-level legendary mage's semi-plane." Newt continued. At first, this spatial array was complete, and could draw ether power from the external world without needing ether stones. However, the internal spatial array has deteriorated over the years. Now, the efficiency of drawing external ether power has greatly decreased, causing the volume of the space to slowly shrink. I can only rely on ether stones to compensate, but as an ordinary 3rd circle wizard, my funds are insufficient to support the consumption of this wizard tool. This is indeed a drawback of the spatial wizard tool. I do not want to deceive you, and if you do not want to buy it, that is fine. So, does that mean if the spatial array is repaired in the future, there is a chance for this wizard tool to restore to a 5th circle grade? Levi asked. That is correct. Moreover, this wizard tool itself has growth potential. It was refined by a high-level primordial soul wizard friend of my great-grandmother. If you, in the future, can upgrade the core array inside by injecting more ether stones to expand the space, then this wizard tool has the potential to become a soul artifact. At that time, the space inside might be comparable to some small secret realms. Of course, to upgrade the core array inside, you will likely need a 5th circle array wizard, or even a 6th circle one. Such array wizards are not common in the entire Endless Sea. Newt explained. Wizard Newt's greatest strength and weakness were both sincerity. He straightforwardly explained the drawbacks of the wizard tool to Levi, letting Levi know that he was sincere. By investing 1,000 ether stones into it each year, along with the ether power drawn by the array itself, you can roughly maintain the current size of the space. Newt said. All right, I will buy this wizard tool, but we need to sign an agreement. Levi said. Newt nodded. After that, Levi gave 400,000 ether stones to Newt. Newt provided Levi with the spell, and removed the spiritual force imprint from the ring. Although he did not get Mini Meow Meow House, Levi obtained an even better ring. For Levi, This was an unexpected joy. This also meant that Levi's ether stone assets were now reduced to only 100,000. However, 100,000 was sufficient for his cultivation. The biggest spender, potions, had been mostly covered by Rex. Most of the potions Levi needed for his cultivation no longer required him to spend money. The immediate priority was to cultivate his breathing technique and establish a comprehensive and recyclable transcendent creature bloodline library for himself. With this ring, it would greatly benefit Levi's future cultivation. He valued the long-term benefits more than the immediate gains. Chapter 635. As for the annual ether stone consumption, it was still within Levi's manageable range at the moment. Waiting until he gained a more advanced knowledge inheritance of arrays, he might be able to restore Alice's ring. After the transaction was completed, Newt and the Rose Witch left together. Watching their departing figures, Levi felt a sense of desolation within. Fortunately, I have these lovely little companions to accompany me, he thought. After carefully using his spiritual force to inspect the space inside Alice's ring, and confirming there were no issues, Levi introduced an ordinary transcendent creature into it. He let it live inside for a while. If it remained unharmed, it would indicate that the wizard tool was indeed usable. Subsequently, Levi left the ancient forest. From now on, this place is no longer forbidden, he remarked. In the 1056th year of the Holy Brilliance calendar, during the month of the Northern Wind, Levi had been away from Riptide City for almost half a year. So far, no military personnel had come to find him. Therefore, Levi had no plans to return temporarily. When the situation stabilized, and he firmly entered the third circle wizard stage, perhaps then he could consider going back. The turmoil in Riptide City continued. The entire city was now divided into two factions, the Blue Dragon faction and the Thunder faction. Since Levi left last time, the Thunder faction had launched several attacks against the Blue Dragon faction, but they were all repelled by the Blue Dragon Lady. The Dragon Tea Party, a clandestine organization cultivated by the Blue Dragon Lady, played a crucial role. She replaced the city's upper echelon with wizards she trusted from the Dragon Tea Party. On the other hand, the Thunder Spear, with the support of their family, recruited another group of people. However, there was no information about Huffman and the others in the intelligence Levi obtained. He could only silently hope that everything was well. In troubled times, staying alive was a victory. In Lion King City, Levi rented a mansion, for a long term, and set up his array. In the past 6 months, he diligently cultivated. He advanced steadily toward the stability of the 8th level in ether meditation. His spiritual force was also gradually growing. The expansion of spiritual force made Levi's mind feel increasingly swollen. No wonder people say that from the third circle onwards, one needs to continuously compress the expanding spiritual force within the body. If not compressed, the improvement of spiritual force will hit a bottleneck. Only by raising the quality of spiritual force can the quantity be further increased. Of course, Levi's current 86 points of spiritual force were still a bit away from that step. Spiritual force gasification. How to transform the elusive spiritual force. Indeed, it is a difficult problem. Alas, this is the disadvantage of not being part of an organization. If I were in some powerful organization, there would definitely be knowledge on how to gasify spiritual force. The Golden Lion Jostar family should have this knowledge. Levi planned to trade with Old Golden Lion after some time. The method of spiritual force gasification did not have a unified standard. Therefore, different wizard organizations might have different methods of gasification. Relying solely on Lake Fairy Potion, it was still not enough for a successful gasification. Levi needed to increase the success rate from other aspects. He wanted to advance to the third circle in one go, without any failure. In addition to the improvement in spiritual force, Levi's Strength Rune had also reached level 4 through cultivation. Levi's Strength Rune was at level 4, with 1 out of 20,000 progress. The special effect, Horned Bull Constellation Power, was level 4. The level 4 Horned Bull Constellation Power could amplify strength by 30%, which slightly surprised Levi. He remembered that before reaching level 3, each level increased the amplification by 5%. However, from level 3 to level 4, it directly jumped from 20 to 30%. It seems like level 4 is a turning point, and from now on, it will be a 10% increase per level. Although the improvement in the Strength Rune was relatively small, there was no upper limit, and it seemed that it could be cultivated indefinitely. Moreover, there were no side effects. Consequently, continuous cultivation would bring substantial improvements in strength. With a 30% amplification from the Strength Rune, 100% from the Red Lotus Blood, 200% from the Giant Whale form, 100% from King Kong's Wrath, 10% from the Favored by the Night form, and around 100% from the Nine Swords Azura. If everything is in an ideal state, with all forms activated, I can achieve a 540% amplification of strength, Levi mused. However, most of the time, Levi did not need to activate all forms. With a punch from me, most third circle wizards might die, Levi mumbled to himself. He caressed the 4th ring on his right hand, Alice's ring. Currently, Levi's progress as a 10-ringed knight had reached 4 out of 10. The Trembling Ring, Sea Demon Ring, Ring of the Wind Spirit, and Alice's ring. Within the small world inside Alice's ring, Gustav and Leviathan roamed in the lake. Raja circled in the sky, trailing the power of wind and thunder. Mountain giant Bogong slept silently in a small valley. This gave Levi the illusion of being a creator. How large would the wizard demiplane of a legendary wizard be, he longed in his heart. According to legends, gods had their own divine realms, where angels resided. The concept was similar to this storage item containing a small world. During this period, Levi categorized all the transcendent creatures he possessed. In the future, Alice's ring would become his secret bloodline repository. The Greenfield Immortal House became the nurturing ground for young saint scorpions and red-faced sea ghost spiders. Chapter 636. Levi stood up and walked outside the mansion. The three brothers from the Fur clan had already advanced to the rank of Grand Knight, and were currently training in the mansion. His experiment with knight advancements had achieved initial success, but it was only the beginning. In the future, Levi aimed to follow in the footsteps of Miss Rolling, and compile various transcendent paths for knight advancements based on his existing breathing techniques. The ultimate goal for each path was the primordial ancestor. Every path nodes would be the knight realm systems created by Levi. Breaking through these nodes would require corresponding knight advancement medicines and knight training secret medicines. Advancement medicines were used to break through the maximum limit of breathing techniques, while training secret medicines were used for daily practice, analogous to breakthrough potions and meditation supplementary potions for wizards. In this way, Levi would gradually establish hundreds of different knight advancement elixir systems. Inspired by miracle wizards, bloodline dharma bodies, and the seal systems of the four great families, Levi considered using the proficiency panel to create a system that fused the spiritual and physical spells and bloodlines. For example, he could incorporate the glacial finger into the bloodline of the frost giant, or integrate the 5 fireballs technique into the red lotus bloodline. This system, known as bloodline wizard or seal knight, would enable spells, like seals, to be activated using the power of bloodlines, enhancing casting speed and reducing spiritual force consumption. This system could open up a new transcendent path by combining the strengths of knights and wizards, innovating continuously and pushing the limits. This was Levi's ultimate path of evolution. A true ultimate being must have flawless spiritual force and physical body, with no weaknesses. Of course, the idea was perfect. Unfortunately, Levi was still too weak. His realm, perspective, and knowledge were insufficient to support this concept. After reaching the third circle, Levi would gradually explore the deeper layers of the wizard world, allowing him to start his research on the innovative path. Tiga emerged from seclusion and approached Levi. "Master, Lord Ryan is looking for you," Tiga informed him. Levi nodded. "Understood, I will go to the Golden Lion Castle," Levi said. Golden Lion Castle. In the conference hall, all the high-ranking members of the Golden Lion Jostar family gathered. 2 third circle wizards and 7 second circle wizards, along with Dinos and Emperor Mew, sat together. Compared to some time ago, old Golden Lion's complexion had improved, and his spirit appeared fuller. Although his injuries seemed to be healing well, a hint of anxiety furrowed his brow. Upon seeing Levi's arrival, Lion's face lit up. "What is the matter, Sir Leon?" Levi inquired. "Sir Levi, I received information that Lehman obtained the assistance of a senior third circle wizard from Black Sun Adam. They have already launched an attack on the Wham family. If Wham falls, we, the Golden Lion Jostar family, will be next. I want to send reinforcements to Wham, but I am afraid of falling into Lehman's trap, leaving Lion King City vulnerable in defense. I know you have formidable strength, being a second circle wizard and excelling in the way of knights. I would like to ask for your help," Leon explained with a grim expression. Lion's plea was evident. The critical moment had arrived. "Please speak, Sir Leon. Within my capabilities, I am more than willing to lend a hand," Levi said. He had already guessed what Leon wanted him to do. In the upcoming process of spiritual force gasification, Levi would also seek Lion's assistance. This was a good opportunity for Levi to incur a favor from Leon. "If Lehman sends someone to attack Lion King City, I request your assistance," Leon stated. In order to confront the formidable Lehman and the senior third circle wizard, both Leon and another third circle powerhouse from the family would have to leave. Leon feared that without the protection of third circle wizards, Lion King City might not withstand an assault. Although Levi was only a second circle wizard, judging by his casual defeat of Dinos and Emperor Mew, his strength seemed to surpass that of most third circle wizards. Therefore, with Levi guarding Lion King City, Leon felt relatively assured. "No problem, I will do my best to protect Lion King City," Levi declared. With his current strength, there was little to fear on the Yellow Earth continent. Even if Lehman came, Levi might not be an opponent to be reckoned with, especially with Raja and Bogang, 2 powerful third circle guardians, by his side. "Thank you so much, Sir Levi. The favor you are rendering to the Golden Lion Jostar family will not be forgotten." Leon expressed his gratitude solemnly. "Do not mention it. After your triumphant return, I have a favor to ask as well, but we will discuss it later," Levi replied. Golden Lion nodded. "Sure, anything that the Golden Lion Jostar family can fulfill, feel free to ask." The situation was urgent. Leon, accompanied by another third circle powerhouse from the family, left promptly, heading toward the Wham family's territory. Before departing, Levi reminded Leon not to kill the Silverfrost Ice Ape if Lehman was defeated, as it had significant utility. Leon agreed. The remaining wizard forces flew from Lion King City to the frontline battlefield. Emperor Mu and Dinos also joined the campaign. Chapter 637. These two individuals loved fighting. Emperor Mu believed battles offered the best way to break through legendary constraints. Levi, well-versed in the way of survival, held a different perspective. Before long, nearly the entire elite force of Lion King City, except for a few second circle wizards who stayed behind, poured out of the city. Levi returned to the wizard tower, focusing on his own cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Levi harbored uncertainty regarding the situation of the Wham family. He knew Lion's fears carried weight. Lehman likely anticipated the reinforcements sent to support the Wham family. This left Lion King City vulnerable. Lehman had probably dispatched a force of dark wizards. The hair on Levi's arm stood on end. Moderate, tangible danger threatened Lion King City. The wizards remaining in the city stayed blissfully unaware. Levi sighed. He sent the Fur clan into the Greenfield Immortal House and headed alone towards the sea. He intended to assess the strength of the enemy. If they proved mediocre, he would eliminate them effortlessly. Near Lion King City, deep within the vast sea, a submarine magical ship sailed through the pitch-dark depths. Arrays covered the surface of the vessel, showcasing advanced technology. A wizard dressed in black sun robes stood proudly at the bow, accompanied by an ice ape. This was Lehman of the Alhid family. Lehman smirked. This magical ship remains impressive, sailing silently through the boundless depths. Old Golden Lion likely left Lion King City by now. The Wham family faces a senior third circle wizard assigned to me by the teacher, enough to handle any situation. When Old Golden Lion returns, Lion King City will be gone. I cannot wait to see his frustrated expression. Lion King City represented Old Golden Lion's painstaking effort. It housed tens of thousands of ordinary people. The abyss blood within Lehman fueled a desire for slaughter. Lehman had advanced to become a senior third circle wizard. Combined with the demonic blood within him, Old Golden Lion and his group stood no match in a one-on-one fight. Now that no third circle wizards remained in the city, he could act without restraint. This yellow earth continent ultimately belongs to me. It is a pity this tiny piece of land serves merely as a springboard. Making a name in the endless sea, becoming a figure feared by thousands, that is my goal, just like the teacher. The abyss blood had given Lehman a taste of success. His ambition continued to expand. Suddenly, a not insignificant fluctuation in spiritual force approached. Lehman froze. Could Old Golden Lion still be here? Did that guy leave a trump card? Impossible. He barked an order to his crew. Be on guard. Activate the perception spell. There seems to be an enemy approaching. Suddenly, a swooshing sound sliced the water. A streak of blood flashed by. Lehman reacted instantly, dodging to the side. The streak of blood pierced through the defensive field of the wizard submarine's array. It penetrated a first circle wizard behind Lehman, pinning them to the deck. Immediately after, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Someone from a distant place used hidden weapons. Many wizards on the submarine suffered instant death or injury. Lehman roared, his face turning crimson with flames. That sneaky fellow, hiding in the shadows. Come out and face me if you have the guts. A pretty good reaction. Levi appeared in front of him. He retracted the blood feather bow. He had shot 10 arrows, and Lehman had dodged them all. One had to admit, this person possessed some skills. Who are you? Why are you opposing me? Do you even know who I am? Lehman sneered, releasing a powerful wave of spiritual force. Lehman hid, right. Levi leveled his gaze at the man. Good. It would be awkward if I killed the wrong person. He flicked his finger. An attack infused with the power of ice tore through the deep sea, heading straight for Lehman. Lehman's wizard tools and defensive field immediately appeared, blocking the glacial finger. Lehman reeled. This opponent was clearly a second circle wizard, yet the spell nearly broke through his defensive field. Had he not added an extra layer of wizard tool defense, he might have suffered a hit. Despite his internal shock, Lehman remained composed on the surface. Just a second circle wizard, relying on the might of wizard tools, yet daring to be so arrogant. Die. Everyone, attack. Lehman fought with overwhelming numbers, never choosing a one-on-one duel. Coincidentally, Levi operated the same way. Come out and fight, everyone. Kill them all, leave nothing behind, and collect all the storage bags. The Saint Scorpions and red-faced sea ghost spiders swarmed out from the Greenfield Immortal House. Mountain giant Bogang, Gustav, and Tyrant Il appeared from Alice's ring. Levi kept the transcendent creatures without defensive power safe to avoid unnecessary deaths. Lehman looked at the Zerg-like creatures, and the image of the last battle flooded his mind. His family had inexplicably lost 2 second circle wizards, and now it seemed that the culprit was the wizard from the school of insects right in front of him. Chapter 638. I was originally worried about not finding you, but unexpectedly, you delivered yourself to me. Prepare to die. Lehman waved his hand, and flames surged under the sea. Boiling and steaming water created bubbles. The defensive field and layers of defensive spells around Levi played an excellent protective role. Even the ordinary attacks from Lehman, a third circle wizard, failed to break through the spell defenses, let alone the golden snake defense. While Lehman raged, shock overtook him. The person in front of him exuded an eerie aura. He was a second circle wizard with the attack and defense power of a third circle. Levi controlled Zerg-like creatures, and possessed powerful mountain giant wizards equivalent to a third circle, plus alchemical creatures that charged forward like a storm. After a wave of attacks, the enemy vanished from the perception of Lehman. How is this possible? Lehman desperately observed his surroundings. His force field surged. Fear crept into his heart, creating an urge to escape, yet he dared not act recklessly. The next moment, ripples appeared in the void above Lehman. A 9-meter-tall Dharma idol with 3 heads and 6 arms, wielding 9 swords, appeared. With unparalleled power, it shattered the spell defense of the wizard airship. Then, the figure tore apart the defensive field layer by layer. Lehman stood in a perilous situation. The abyss blood within him boiled. His entire aura began to rise. I possess the bloodline of a demon lord. Melted mountain. Lehman roared, and demonic aura erupted. The flame spells turned into pitch-black demonic flames, steaming in the deep sea. However, unstoppable, the 9 swords entwined with the red lotus hellfire cut through the demonic flames, tearing apart the body of Lehman. The Saint Scorpion surged forth, engulfing his soul. Ashes scattered, and another silver ashen coin appeared in the palm of Levi. Even Lehman, a 3rd circle senior, is no match for me when I am at my full power. If I had known this, I would not have used the Hermit Rune to bully Lehman. Maybe I could have tested my limits. Without a doubt, using the Hermit Rune made the battle more stable, without any suspense. Safety first. My decision was correct. Levi summarized the lessons learned from this battle. Lehman, who had once made him extremely fearful, was nothing more than this now. Under full firepower, the defense of Lehman was no match for the supreme attacks of Levi. After all, Levi possessed the level 13 Golden Snake, Blood Beast, Red Lotus, King Kong, and his strength rune language in dimensions, such as strength, speed, and defense were too strong, without any weaknesses. Plus, with a form fully utilizing a more than 500% strength amplification, the outcome of the battle was well within the expectations of Levi. No room for complacency. Lehman has just advanced to a 3rd circle senior, and was caught off guard by me. In addition, my hellfire restrains abyss blood. If it were another 3rd circle senior wizard, I might not have won so easily. I am still not strong enough. Levi reflected. On the other side, the battle had also ended. Mountain giants and Tyrant Il, along with Gustav, crushed the low-level wizards brought by Lehman. Levi acted like an entire army on his own. After collecting the Silver Frost Ice Ape, Levi inspected the spoils brought by the red-faced sea ghost spider. After confirming everything was in order, he stored them away. Then he completely shattered and incinerated the already broken wizard ship, letting it sink into the abyss, and left the area. Not long after, the coastline of the Yellow Earth continent slowly emerged. It was nighttime, and the lights of Lion King City shone brightly. No one knew that in the depths of the deep sea, Levi had silently dealt with a formidable enemy that could have brought the city to the brink of destruction. Another day of the cheerful boy next door quietly saving the world, Levi remarked. Chapter 639. Drifting Wind City. The city of the Wham family lay in a state of disarray. Old Golden Lion, clan leader Wham, and the 3rd wizard slumped with exhaustion. Days of fierce battle had taken a toll. Relying on their numerical advantage and grand arrays, they had barely held back the enemy's relentless assault. This was no ordinary attack. The enemy, a senior 3rd circle wizard of long-standing fame, wielded many 3rd circle spells. He was surely a core member of the Black Sun organization. When the enemy suddenly retreated, anxiety clouded their faces. Something major had clearly occurred. Golden Lion did not know the reason for the sudden withdrawal, but the reprieve offered a necessary chance to breathe. Clan leader Wham, we have to retreat. We have indeed fallen into Lehman's trap. There is a high chance that he has already taken down Lion King City. But no matter what the outcome is, our Golden Lion Jostar family cannot abandon Lion King City, Leon said. Dinos, bathed in blood, panted heavily. After this fierce battle, wounds covered his body. Without his legendary physique, he would have collapsed long ago. Let us go, father. Sir Levi is strong, but he is no match for Lehman. We have to go back and save our city and Levi, Dinos urged. Old Golden Lion, I will return with you to save Lion King City, clan leader Wham promised. He had witnessed the righteousness of the Golden Lion family. Now that the crisis of his family was temporarily resolved, he could not be ungrateful. Thank you. After this calamity, the friendship between our two families will definitely improve. And that damn Elhid family will definitely disappear from the Yellow Earth continent, Old Golden Lion vowed. He quickly returned with the army. Emperor Mew followed behind the army with an excited expression. He felt that a breakthrough of the legendary barrier was imminent. As expected, battle is the best teacher. My fusion with the Golden Spinebone has become even closer. The Golden Spinebone is too strong, Emperor Mew thought. A spine of gold lay dormant within his body. Branches extended from both sides, resembling a 100-legged centipede. Life and energy fluctuations pulsed within the Golden Spinebone. As his spine squirmed, traces of pale golden blood flowed into Emperor Mew's blood vessels and fused with him. The true nature of the Golden Spinebone remained a mystery to Emperor Mew. After coming to the wizard world, he had relied on the knowledge of the school of life he had exchanged for, and his own use for so long. He suspected that the Golden Spinebone might not be the remains of the Golden Knight Gregor, but an independent life form. He feared that he might have been parasitized by the Golden Spinebone. Not only him, but the entire Gregor family was able to produce golden blood, because of the parasitism of the Golden Spinebone. That was because the Golden Spinebone seemed to contain a mysterious power. Now, in Emperor Mew's body, other than his already legendary Holy Ape blood, the newly born golden blood seemed to be catching up. He did not know if this was a good or bad thing. He only knew that because of the addition of his spine, his strength was constantly increasing. To him, who possessed little talent as a wizard, this was the only way to catch up to his team leader. Emperor Mew had been a proud son of heaven in the human world. Although he had been at the bottom of the wizard world for decades, his pride remained. Since I have chosen this path, even if I am wrong, I have to walk it to the end. Without the golden spine bone, I would not be where I am today. The two branches on both sides of Emperor Mu's spine emitted a rustling sound as they drilled out from behind Emperor Mu and silently entered. When Old Golden Lion led a group of people to Lion King City, they stared in stunned silence. Why is Lion King City so quiet? It does not look like a battle at all. There must be a trap, clan leader Wham said. Indeed, Lehman hates Lion King City to the core. While we are being stalled, he will definitely not give up the opportunity to attack Lion King City, Old Golden Lion noted doubtfully. However, when they probed Lion King City with their perception, they realized that the interior remained quiet. No signs of a fight marred the streets or buildings. Even the second circle wizard stationed in Lion King City seemed to be cultivating. He did not look like he had just fought a battle. Could it be that Lehman did not come? Old Golden Lion asked. In the end, they entered the city and saw Levi guiding the white wolf girl in the courtyard. Sir Levi, is Lehman not here? Old Golden Lion asked. Is Lehman here? Levi looked around with confusion. Strange, looks like I was overthinking, Old Golden Lion said, heaving a sigh of relief. He relaxed significantly. Sir Leon, I wonder if the previous promise remains valid? Levi asked with a hint of embarrassment. Leon nodded. Of course it is effective. The Jostar family will pay their debts. If you have any requests, feel free to tell me. All right, then I will look for you another day. I will not disturb you now. You just finished your battle and need to rest and recuperate, Levi said with a smile. Thank you. Leon left with his men and returned to the Golden Lion Castle. Chapter 640. Clan leader Wham hurriedly rushed back to his clan. Emperor Mu watched the others depart, then turned to face Levi. Leader, is Lehman really not here? He asked. Levi smiled. What is wrong? He asked. Do you think I can defeat a third circle wizard? Emperor Mu narrowed his eyes. That is true, he admitted. If the leader could cross a major realm and defeat a third circle wizard, his entire worldview would collapse. How could a second circle wizard defeat a third circle wizard? He wondered. Even if the captain broke through the legendary shackles, he would only be comparable to a second circle wizard. If he wanted to rely on his night cultivation to defeat a third circle wizard, then Emperor Mu did not dare to imagine. Levi offered a polite smile. He chose not to shatter Emperor Mu's last hope. Emperor Mu walked away, his mind set on seclusion. He intended to break through to the realm above legendary in one go. Levi called this realm Bloodthirst. Once there, he would be able to fight Levi. Levi watched Emperor Mu leave. Emperor Mu's cultivation had reached the peak of legendary, or blood awakening night. That golden spine bone remained strange. Levi shook his head. This was Emperor Mu's own opportunity. It was better than nothing. To Emperor Mu, he had no choice. Levi focused his spiritual force, entering the world inside Alice's ring. In an empty space, the Silver Frost Ice Ape sat alone, surrounded by a group of transcendent creatures. Levi sighed in relief to see that the creature remained unharmed. He gathered all the ether stones he had obtained from the wizards serving Lehman and the Alhid family, totaling 100,000 ether stones. They are quite poor, Levi mused. There is only a quarter of Rex's wealth among all of them. However, the situation made sense. Lehman had been at war with the two families for years, and the military expenditure was huge. If not for the fact that he had snatched many resources from a small wizard family in the early stages, he might not have been able to last long. Lehman, controlled by the abyss blood, walked step by step into an abyss, having lost his rationality, and turned into a killing machine. Fortunately, the benevolent and compassionate Levi had successfully expiated Lehman and sent him to paradise. I destroyed the clan leader of one of the three great clans. Levi felt a sudden swell of emotion. Other than the ether stones, Levi had other gains. He threw the silver coin that Lehman had transformed into his special piggy bank. 2 silver, 2 bronze, and a few iron coins. Let us see what I can summon first, he said. Levi had never used Ember Call before. Let us try using iron coins first. As the power of the Death Ember surged out of the bloodline seed and circulated throughout his body, Levi's left eye turned gray. He held the iron coin in his hand and entered the Ashen World. The realm appeared different from before. It possessed a sense of raw reality. Levi looked at the wizard tower where he lived. Ashes fell everywhere, covering the ground. The Lion King City outside remained the same. A gray sky loomed over the city, with billions of falling ashes, twinkling bonfires, and a gray, ash-covered bay. Lifelessness reigned in this empty and lonely wilderness. Levi checked his body. It remained unchanged. He tried to open the storage ring. Ordinary rings that held dead matter functioned, but those containing living things, such as Alice's ring, or the Greenfield Immortal House, offered no response. The Ashen World, a lifeless realm. Levi held the iron coin filled with vitality. He roamed the dead city filled with ashes until he encountered a wild dog-like creature in a corner of the city. A living thing, Levi murmured. The wild dog-like creature stood before him, seemingly crafted from ashes. It possessed no vitality, yet it moved like a living creature. Its dark, deep eyes shone with a strange luster. Suddenly, the wild dog opened its mouth. Endless black hair spewed out, wet and sticky, emitting a foul smell. A woman's face emerged from the hair, smiling. I am so hungry, hungry, she rasped. The woman opened her mouth, her entire body facing up and her arms facing down. She flipped out of the wild dog's mouth, and looked up at Levi in a strange posture comparable to a mutant. What ugly thing, Levi scoffed. He cast a big fireball technique. The flame smashed into the woman's face, roasting her. She howled in pain before the sound cut off. I am so hungry, she repeated. The fireball technique caused her no damage. Levi's heart raced. He looked at the high and mighty Death Ember dragon engraved on his iron coin. The power of the Death Ember surged out of his body, transforming into black flames. Ashes flew within the fire. Chapter 641. The power swept through, completely shattering the strange woman's face. I am so hungry. The woman vanished. Only a gray crystal remained on the spot, and the ground was covered in dust. Levi looked grim. The power of the Death Ember could restrain the creatures of the Ashen World, but this creature had been unable to communicate at all. He felt a sense of disappointment. How was he supposed to summon anything with this iron coin? Levi looked at the crystal core on the ground. His intuition told him it might be useful, but he decided against picking it up. The Ashen World was filled with strangeness. Since it was his first visit, it was better not to bring anything back. If his spider sensing had not remained silent, he would have left long ago. He trusted that with the power of the Death Ember, he could leave this world whenever he chose. He wandered through Lion King City, gazing at the Golden Lion Castle. The majestic building mirrored the one in the real world, though it appeared aged and dilapidated, blanketed in ash. Two burning bonfires flickered within the castle walls. Based on their positions, they likely represented the old Golden Lion and the other third circle powerhouse. These bonfires were the vitality flames of living beings from the real world. The stronger the being, the brighter the flames. Levi studied the castle from afar, refusing to move any closer. When he thought about approaching, the hair on his arms stood on end. Spider sensing flared to life. A terrifying existence loomed within the castle, near the two bonfires. This world was truly strange. He decided to test the summoning skill, and then retreat. Based on his physical belongings, he had arrived in the Ashen World with his physical body, not just his consciousness. He wondered if anyone in the original world could see him now. He pondered this, noting that all the buildings and inanimate objects from his world had manifested in this gray reality. The living beings, however, appeared only as bonfires or embers. He remembered a wizard near his location who was nearing death. In the tower, that bonfire appeared to be flickering out. He wandered the city for an unknown duration, using the power of the Death Ember to dispatch various hostile entities he dubbed Ashen Monsters. He had tested his methods, discovering that ordinary spells and physical attacks barely scratched them. The effects were often weak or entirely useless. Only the Death Ember breathing technique could truly destroy them. Any creature capable of appearing on a currency coin was clearly extraordinary. After felling many monsters, Levi finally encountered a normal figure in a small village on the outskirts of Lion King City. A swordsman in armor leaned against a windmill. His blade rested on the ground beside him. He propped his chin on his hand, staring ahead as if lost in thought. Levi checked his spider sensing, found no threat, and spoke. May I know where we are? The swordsman looked up, locking eyes with Levi. He seemed unused to speech. After a moment of silence, he replied with slight hesitation. This is Windmill Village, foreigner. Levi noticed the man had gray eyes. Was he also a possessor of the Death Ember power, having arrived here unintentionally? Or perhaps this was the ash creature mentioned in the Ember Call. Windmill Village did not seem to exist in the real world. It might have once existed, only to be drowned in the dust of history, surfacing here in the Ashen World. Levi reached for an iron coin, letting the power of the Death Ember circulate through his body, ready to strike. If the man showed hostility, the dark fire would erupt to destroy him. Aside from the dangerous presence within Golden Lion Castle, Levi had effortlessly bested every Ashen monster he encountered. Clearly, the power of the Death Ember served as a potent restraint against these entities. Foreigner, hiring the strongest gray swordsman in Windmill Village requires more than one iron coin, the swordsman said, offering a smile but remaining seated. Levi tentatively offered 2 iron coins. The man grinned, showing his teeth. Foreigner, do not hide your wealth. How much do you have? Show me. Levi hesitated, then produced 2 copper coins and 2 silver coins. The swordsman nodded. 1 silver coin per attack. Levi smiled. How do I know if you are worth the price? The vitality of a third circle wizard could only be synthesized into 1 silver coin. These coins were not cheap. I see you carry a sword, the man said. I assume you are a swordsman as well. Why do we not spar? I will show you that hiring Owens, the gray swordsman of Windmill Village, is worth a silver coin. Owens stood up. His rusty armor emitted a harsh scraping sound. He clearly had not moved in a long time. He drew his rusted blade, locking his gaze on Levi. Chapter 642. Owens stepped forward. The person standing in front of you is the strongest in Windmill Village, the left hand of Baron Megan, the 100 Slayers of Death, and the 3rd echelon gray swordsman, Silver Sword Owens. My sword, its name is Unyielding Silver Seat. Silver light emerged from the rusty greatsword in Owens's hand. The rust faded to reveal the original appearance of the unyielding silver seat. A silver lion looked majestic upon the blade. A mysterious gray power radiated from his body. Different light flickered in his eyes. He was a natural swordsman. Levi watched his opponent. He had never seen such a powerful swordsman in the wizard world. Owens offered a good breakthrough point for the questions plaguing Levi regarding the Ashen World. Owens walked a transcendent path similar to Knight's, but far stronger than a legendary innate. Perhaps Levi could open up a wider path of knighthood through this man. Levi drew Frostmourne. The one standing in front of you is a supreme knight, Nameless. My sword is Frostmourne. Owens lunged. Foreigner, take this. The grey airflow around Owens exploded. His entire body turned into a grey light. The unyielding silver seat shone with silver light, looking out of place in this ashen world. The silver light tore through the grey space and aimed at Levi. Steel rang against steel. The two swordsmen engaged in a competition of skill in the open space on the outskirts of the windmill village. Owens met a strong opponent. Ever since he awakened the power of the primordial fire and became a grey swordsman step by step, he had never met such an opponent near the windmill village. The other party's sword techniques shifted between wide, crushing power and storm like annihilation, never giving anyone a chance to breathe. Shock rocked Levi. He had mastered the full-level grey destruction cross-slash and the golden cross-slash, yet he found himself matched in sword skill. The other party possessed no knight bloodline power, but instead a power Levi had never seen before. He might have entered a new world that wizards had never discovered. His current knowledge of wizards included no mention of the Ashen World or Grey Swordsman. Most wizards had never stepped foot here. The battle stretched on. Night fell in the Ashen World. The grey sky turned pitch black, and the last bit of light disappeared into the horizon. Levi held the advantage of endurance thanks to his level 12 Silver Mountain Dragon and the Maya breathing technique. He would eventually defeat this powerful grey swordsman. Owens panted heavily. He held his sword with both hands and looked surprised. He refused to believe the situation. Although you are not the first foreigner I have seen, you are the strongest foreigner I have ever seen. No wonder you can take out precious silver coins. Forget it. It seems that you do not care about my strength. You can leave. This silver coin is not something I can earn with my ability. Terrible things appear at night in this world. It is very difficult for a foreigner like you to survive the night. Go back quickly. Owens looked discouraged. He sat down again and leaned against the windmill like a statue. If I give you this silver coin, will you follow me out of here? Levi asked. Owens nodded. Yes. I once followed a foreigner and briefly saw their world. It was beautiful, colorful, and full of vitality. I would not even dare to dream of such a place. Owens spoke with melancholy, his face filled with emotion, lost in the past. Then I will give you 1 copper coin. Can I ask you some questions? Levi asked. He maintained a kind smile despite his victory, showing no arrogance. You will give me 1 copper coin for just a few questions? Are you lying to me? Owens asked. Levi tossed a copper coin. Owens caught it, considered the offer, and nodded. Ask away. I can tell you everything I know. Levi considered his progress. It appeared he had purchased enough information with the copper coins. Where are we? Levi asked. Windmill Village, did I not tell you? Owens replied. I am asking where this world is, or rather, this plane, Levi clarified. I am not sure about that. I grew up in the Windmill Village. Only when I went to war with Baron Megan did I learn about the places outside Windmill Village. There are many dangerous monsters outside the village, and the adults do not let us out. You should know the name of the city next to it, right? Levi pointed at the silhouette of Lion King City and asked. Oh, that is Megan City, Baron Megan City. However, that place is occupied by monsters called Deathfall. The city is filled with monsters. Those guys are very difficult to kill and especially difficult to deal with, Owens explained. Megan City. It is clearly Lion King City. The Deathfall he mentioned should be those strange things I killed. It seems that it is tough for the natives of this world to kill those damned things, Levi mused. Chapter 643. You called me a foreigner. Have you met any other foreigners who are much like me? Levi leaned against the weathered stone of the windmill, watching the grey world intently. I saw one a long time ago. When I was fighting outside, the foreigner went by the name of Ash Knight. Owens looked toward the horizon as he spoke. Levi felt a jolt in his chest. This world might be more complicated than he had imagined. It was not just the realm of the unbelievers in the wizard world. Even the human world could enter this place. It was even possible that existences from other multidimensional planes could step into this place. One of the ways to enter was to use the Ashen power. However, Levi's power of ashes had already fused with the power of the undying bird into the Death Ember power. Ash Knight was the ancestor of Hog, a legendary knight of the East Pole Empire. Unexpectedly, he had also been here. Where did the Ash Knight go? Levi asked. I am not sure, Owens replied. He had about the same strength as you, but he was a lot weaker. What are those grey crystal cores that fall to the ground after death? Levi gestured toward the dust. Owens took out a rough cloth bag and carefully opened it. A crystal core appeared in his palm. This is a fallen crystal. After some dead people are killed, their power condenses with ashes as the core and turns into a fallen crystal. The fallen crystal can be used for cultivation. I can demonstrate it to you. Owens held a grey crystal core in his hand and chanted a complicated incantation. Streams of grey airflow slowly surged into his body. But we seem to be the only ones who can cultivate, Owens said. I am not sure you foreigners can use it. Levi nodded. Then what is the use of this copper coin to you? This is the coin of life. If we grey swordsmen want to break through to a higher level, we need such things. Coins of life can also be used for cultivation. The effect is better than fallen crystals. Unfortunately, in our world, there are too few coins of life. They are passed down from ancient times. That makes sense. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Can you come back to my world with me? Levi asked. Owen seemed accustomed to foreigners like Levi. Many foreigners had clearly been here before. Yes, I can use the coin of life as a medium to reconstruct my body. I can temporarily descend into your world. After the coin of life is burned, I will return automatically. I cannot escape this world. After communicating with Owens, Levi understood that the better the ashen coins he used, the stronger Owens would be after his descent. 1 silver coin sufficed for Owens to descend into his world with 2/3 of his strength. A better dollar could allow for a full descent. Do I have to come to this world every time I summon you? Levi asked before leaving. The ashen world was too strange. He had no desire to return. Of course not. All you have to do is hold the coin of life, and say the name of my sword and my real name. Unyielding Silver Seed Owens. Then I can descend. Owens looked at him with anticipation. He wanted to see the outside world again. Levi nodded and waved with a smile. Goodbye, the strongest swordsman in Windmill Village. Goodbye, foreigner. You can summon me more when you get the chance. I am very free. Do not worry about disturbing me. Owens leaned under the windmill and waved his hand. Levi's figure turned into ashes and dissipated in front of Owens. The outside world, Owens muttered to himself, his shoulders slumping. Lion King City. In the Wizard Tower, Levi opened his eyes and looked at the normal mansion and the Fur Clan's training outside. Algerta hurriedly jogged over. Master, I am here. Did I do anything abnormal just now? Levi asked. Algerta scratched his head in puzzlement. Master, I do not know. You were in the Wizard Tower just now and did not come out. Levi understood. Since he entered the Ashen World from within the Wizard Tower, he had stepped into an alternate world related to the original, but one that did not interact with it. Therefore, although he wandered around the Lion King City of the Ashen World, the people of the real world would not see him. That is fine, but that Ashen World is too strange. If it was not to experiment with the Ember Call, I would not want to stay for a moment longer. Levi muttered to himself. He held an ordinary iron coin in his hand. Unyielding Silver Seed Owens. The iron coin in Levi's hand burned like incense. White smoke surrounded the Wizard Tower. Then, the smoke gradually condensed into a small person that was only 1.5 meters tall. It was Owens, who had just parted from him. I say, foreigner, can you not summon me with silver coins? Owens smiled helplessly. He looked at his small body. Even his sword was taller than him. I am just experimenting. You can go back when it is time, Levi said with a smile. He had held back. He still did not know Owens' background very well. If he harmed himself or brought disaster to the wizard world, it would not be the outcome Levi wanted. He just needed to make sure that the Ember Call could be used. Levi used the time to ask Owens some more questions. Chapter 644. Owens looked around the Wizard Tower with curiosity. He eventually turned into ashes and left with reluctance. Levi watched the pile of ash. He realized he had gained a new trump card. The strength of Owens compared to a normal knight. If he unleashed full power, he might possess the combat strength of a third circle wizard. Levi turned back to his training. He needed to continue cultivating and advance to the third circle as soon as possible. The next day, Levi made his way to the Golden Lion Castle. He needed to request the gasification knowledge belonging to the Golden Lion family. The Jostar family had to pay their debts. The old Golden Lion kept his promise and agreed to the request. They asked Levi not to pass it on to anyone else, and the two parties signed a confidentiality agreement. Levi obtained priceless knowledge. If he went to buy it, he would need at least 100,000 ether stones. He had silently saved the Golden Lion Jostar family, but the old Golden Lion remained unaware of it. Levi had no qualms about taking this knowledge. After obtaining the knowledge of the gasification of spiritual force, he also had the formula for the Lake Fairy Potion. Levi was only 2 conditions away from advancing to the third circle. His spiritual force had to reach 100 points, and he needed the scales of the Lake Naga. He had asked the Golden Lion Jostar family to help him investigate the traces of the Lake Naga. They promised to inform him as soon as they found a clue. Levi could cultivate in Lion King City in peace. Although the Alhid family tried their best to hide it, the news of the death of Lehman spread not long after. After the Golden Lion Sr. and the clan leader Wham confirmed that the news was true, they decisively sent troops to the Alhid family to annihilate all the remaining survivors. The 3 aristocratic families of the Yellow Earth continent became 2. The remaining families divided the assets of the Alhid family. Levi stayed away from the subsequent revelry. At the same time, in Riptide City, the conflict between the Blue Dragon Lady and the Thunder Spear continued. Many Third Circle wizards had died in such an undeserved disaster, not to mention the low-level wizards. This worked in favor of Levi. The military had no time to care about him for the time being, so he could grow quickly. He felt that his ability to escape unpunished for so long was related to Huffman. Levi would never forget the kindness of Huffman. 2 years passed in a flash. It was the month of beginning in the year 1059 of the Holy Brilliance calendar. This marked the 23rd year of the Great Expedition. Unknowingly, the 5-sector expedition had already lasted for decades. However, the outcome of the battle was far from decided. This allowed Levi to witness the cruelty and durability of the Civil War. It was the same for the Civil War between the Endless Sea and the other wizards in the realm of the unbelievers. Chaos remained the main theme of this era. Without the Alhid family, the Yellow Earth continent remained quiet for a period of time. Other than some small-scale Dark Wizard organizations, there were no large Dark Wizard organizations above the Third Circle level. The strength of the righteous wizards remained far superior to that of the Dark Wizards. However, due to the influence of the Great Expedition, and the unexpected dark and righteous war, the righteous wizards had become a little passive. There was another very important reason. Dark wizards had no scruples and no bottom line, so it was easier for them to operate. Over the years, some mortal settlements in the wizard world had been massacred by black wizards who cultivated evil spells. The death of Lehman gave the righteous wizards in Area 7 a chance to catch their breath. After recuperating, under the command of the officials, they began to support the righteous wizards in the other districts. The 69-year-old Levi lived in seclusion and silently cultivated. In 2 years, his spiritual power had reached 91 points, and his spell power had reached 2,700 points. He drew closer and closer to the upper limit of a second circle wizard. As for the clues regarding the Lake Naga, he had yet to find them. Fortunately, Levi still had a few years left, so he did not rush. All the spells he had mastered had already been cultivated to the limit, and he had begun to actively research new original spells. He wanted to synthesize a few more spells similar to Glacial Finger, and finally fuse them into a third circle spell that belonged to him. Levi worked hard on the Path of Knights. In the Ring of Alice, his extraordinary bloodline library remained quite large. He used the blood of Gustav and the horn of the three-horned Dragon King for the golden snake breathing technique, while he used the dragon finch to cultivate the red lotus breathing technique. The ice ape and the mountain giant cultivated the King Kong breathing technique. The wind thunder winged dragon cultivated the silver mountain dragon breathing technique, and the jade dragon breathing technique. The black whale still needed the blood of the leviathan. Cultivation would be relatively slow. As for the others, such as the death ember breathing technique, because of the lack of the bloodline of the undying bird, they also fell into a slow state after level 12. Overall, the cultivation speed of the night breathing technique of Levi remained steady. Another year passed. In the subsequent cultivation of the breathing technique, due to the powerful blood of the wind thunder winged dragon, the silver mountain dragon breathing technique reached level 13. After the silver mountain dragon reached level 13, the endurance of Levi grew even greater. The amount of electricity produced by his silver tendon became even more intense. With every move he made, electric currents ran amok around the body of Levi. He looked like a low-level thunder spear. The silver mountain dragon breathing technique reached level 13 with 1 out of 400,000 experience points. Special effects included the mountain dragon spine at level 1 and lightning remnants. The mountain dragon spine served as the advanced form of the silver dragon spine. The spine of the silver mountain dragon was like a mountain range, endless and containing an endless stream of power. As for the lightning remnants, the silver mountain dragon belonged to the dragon clan, which had an affinity with lightning attributes. Therefore, such a special effect emerged after its advancement. This meant that other than earth, fire, wind, and water, Levi also possessed frost and thunder element affinity. He had gathered all the mainstream elements of the 6 major sections. However, due to the lack of high-level transcendent eagle-type bloodlines, the Maya breathing technique, which was also an endurance-type technique, remained only at level 12. It remained quite a distance away from level 13. Levi calmed down and continued to cultivate. The outside world remained in chaos, so he pushed it from his mind. A year later, Levi turned 70 years old. After the silver mountain dragon breathing technique, the jade dragon breathing technique also stepped into level 13. It became the 6th breathing technique of Levi to reach level 13. The secret medicine refined from the bloodline of a third circle transcendent creature proved far more effective than a low-level first circle or second circle secret medicine. At the same time, Levi discovered that on the proficiency panel, behind the blood beast breathing technique, a fusion option appeared. The blood beast breathing technique reached level 13, with 25,799 out of 400,000 proficiency points. The jade dragon breathing technique reached level 13, with 1 out of 400,000 proficiency points. A prompt suggested they could be fused. Levi stared at the screen. The proficiency panel had changed. It no longer required the maximum level to fuse. He made his choice. Fuse. The blood beast seed and the jade dragon seed began the fusion battle. 3 days later, Levi felt the blood-colored dragon in his heart. His face lit up with excitement. He opened the proficiency panel to find that the blood beasts were gone. The scarlet dragon breathing technique reached level 13 with 25,799 out of 400,000 proficiency points. Special effects included scarlet poison mist at level 1, scarlet contract, 1,000 faces, boiling blood, and scarlet escape. Chapter 645. Within Levi's heart, the blood-colored dragon's expression remained ferocious. At times, it dissipated into a ball of mist. At other times, it condensed into a physical body, creating a surreal feeling. Blood-colored scales surrounded his torso while blood chi gushed outward. The scarlet dragon. It looks as if the jade dragon breathing technique leads it. This is for the best. I only need to absorb the advantages of the blood beast. The blood river will is too strange. It is better to avoid any association with it. Levi examined the scarlet poisonous body. It completely fused the legendary organs born from the jade dragon breathing technique with his body, while retaining the various functions of the blood fog body. He could still dissipate into a ball of blood fog, and the damage reduction effect on physical and magical immunity persisted. Compared to the blood fog body, the scarlet poisonous body had 2 changes. Firstly, attacks no longer scattered him into a certain number of blood demon bats. Instead, he transformed into a blood-flying dragon. Secondly, the blood fog possessed an additional toxic effect. The toxicity depended on the type of poison used in his secret medicine. In other words, after he transformed into blood fog, even if he could not cast spells, he could rely on the fog to enter an enemy's body and release poison. The poison sac and his body had fused into one. Levi had completely become a poisonous man. Without deliberate control, he continued to emit poisonous gas and radiation. It was terrifying. Levi retrieved an ordinary transcendent creature, a black horned sheep, from Alice's ring. This creature served as food for Gustav and the others. It reproduced quickly, and its meat was delicious. With a thought, Levi turned into a ball of scarlet, sticky, poisonous fog. The mist quickly enveloped the panicked black horned sheep. The fog filled the entire training room, seeping into the sheep's body. In a moment, the creature died under the effects of the mixed toxins, turning into a pool of blood. Even its bones melted away. How terrifying. This feels like a villain's skill. Levi felt the power of the poisonous fog. This method of entering someone's body to attack was unique. However, a certain risk existed. He feared wizards who mastered strange spells, potentially sealing him somewhere within their bodies. That would be like catching a turtle in a jar. In addition, the Scarlet Dragon breathing technique turned the previous blood contract into a new one. The Scarlet contract used the scarlet blood in his body to forcefully contract a defeated opponent as a Scarlet Servant. The Scarlet Servant held absolute loyalty. He could control their death with a thought. The number of Scarlet Servants contracted depended on the concentration of scarlet blood in his body. The current number of contractable Scarlet Servants was 2. 1 had been used. It actually increased the number of contracts. Any defeated opponent could become my Scarlet Servant. This is abnormal. Without a doubt, the Scarlet contract was a much higher level skill than the Blood contract. In addition to skin, he could add new contract slots, and the process had no restriction on race. It would be easy to tame powerful transcendent creatures in the future. The number of Scarlet contracts could grow. This meant Levi could contract many Scarlet Servants later. Too strong. As expected, the poor rely on mutation. In addition, the Scarlet Dragon breathing technique added an additional special effect, the Scarlet Escape. He could burn all the Scarlet power and part of his life force to increase his maximum speed by 3 times to avoid powerful enemies. The stronger his endurance, the longer the Scarlet Escape would last. After the escape, he would fall into a weakened state for a period of time. Good lord, another world's blood-igniting escape technique. The Scarlet power remained manageable. Even if that burned up, the Scarlet Seed could slowly be born in the future. Origin Life Force was not an ordinary thing. It could not be recovered by relying on a strong physique. Origin Life Force represented longevity. Using this meant Levi would consume his lifespan to use the Scarlet Escape. Just like Resurrection, it was a life-saving skill at critical moments. He could not use it daily unless he resembled those longevity species. Levi had become a second circle wizard and a blood knight. He felt his lifespan should not be inferior to that of a third circle wizard, which was 500 years. It seemed long, but as advancement became difficult, 500 years would not suffice. He had already lived for 70 years. But when the time came to use it, he could not hesitate. There were always ways to make up for lost lifespan. There was only one life. Levi warned himself. Golden Snake breathing technique, Death Ember breathing technique, Scarlet Dragon breathing technique. My defensive, speed, and physique breathing techniques have formed. The 3 attribute dimensions represented 3 completely different powerful dragon clans. He still lacked the strength, endurance, and perception dimensions. His next step involved merging the 4 great breathing techniques of the Strength Rune language dimension into one, fusing the Silver Mountain Dragon and the Maya breathing technique into one. In that case, other than the most difficult type of perception to collect, the final breathing technique of the 5 dimensions could be completely formed. Chapter 646. In the future, if a new breathing technique emerged, it would add bricks and tiles to the 5-dimensional breathing technique to help check for gaps. The main body would not change much. Once the perception-type breathing technique caught up, Levi would find a suitable opportunity to assimilate the 6-dimensional breathing techniques into one and give birth to the ultimate biological breathing technique. Levi's path as a knight would be considered a preliminary success. Based on the current trend, the closest ultimate creature remained the Dragon Clan. It was even possible that the 6 dimensions of Levi's future represented 6 different powerful dragon clans. That is good too. I do not have to make myself look ugly. The dragons are quite good looking. Levi took out the rolling crystal. It displayed the following information. Unknown Dragon Clan Bloodline 12%. Red Lotus Dragon Bloodline 11%. Unknown Dragon Clan Bloodline 10%. And Human Bloodline 96%. Now it is an unknown dragon clan. The rate at which human bloodlines are declining seems to be slower than before. This is a good thing. Levi put away the crystal. He was already 70 years old. He estimated that he could reach the limit of a second circle senior at around 75 years old. Then, he would begin the gasification of his spiritual force. When the initial gasification succeeded, he would become a third circle wizard. At that time, he could solidify the spell on his gasification spiritual power and turn it into his own innate spell. After the third circle, the main criterion for determining a wizard's strength was no longer how many spells he had mastered, but the quantity and quality of innate spells. Talent spells were almost instantaneous and consumed very little energy. This made spells an instinct for wizards, and casting spells became as easy as eating and drinking. The quantity and quality of innate spells that could be solidified depended on the degree of gasification. Normal third circle wizards could only solidify 1 innate spell at most. Third circle senior wizards could solidify 3 innate spells at most. Al-Hid seemed to have just advanced to third circle senior wizard, and his spiritual force had reached the standard. However, he had only mastered 1 innate spell. His strength could only be considered average among the third circle seniors. If he could master 3 different types of innate spells that specialized in attack, defense, control, and so on, forming a perfect combination and cycle, his strength would soar. The gap between third circle wizards remained quite big. Now, the only ones that need to attack are the black whale breathing technique and the Maya breathing technique. With these 2 speeds, he could immediately fuse the breathing technique. Levi searched for potion formulas from the school of spiritualism that could help the spiritual beast's bloodline advance. This way, Leviathan would be able to break through to the second circle quickly. Only then would the secret medicine support the cultivation of the black whale breathing technique. However, he had yet to find any sorcerers from the school of spiritualism. Let us take it slow. I will study the gasification method first and start preparing to advance to the third circle. The most important thing now is to advance to the third circle. Levi took out a memory slate. The secret technique used by the Golden Lion Jostar family to vaporize spiritual force appeared on it. Levi read the contents of the secret technique and drifted into thought. The method recorded in this book was called the Earth and Fire Gasification Technique. This kind of gasification secret technique required a treasure rich in earth elemental power. Then, one would find a land of underground fire and cultivate there for years. They would rely on the earth element and the high pressure brought by the underground fire to constantly temper their spiritual force. In the end, relying on this external environment and the help of the third circle breakthrough potion, the illusory spiritual force turned into countless spiritual particles. Land of underground fire? My Black Fire Island is good enough. It is a treasure rich in earth elements. When I went to the Shadow Realm to get the stone heart for the Tower Master earlier, I left one behind. I have not sold it yet. I did not expect to use it here. Although the stone heart was only the heart of a first circle rock troll, the earth elemental power inside was extremely pure. Other than the earth element spirit, there should be no treasure more suitable than the rock troll's stone heart. Furthermore, with my strong body and high fire element resistance, it is not a problem for me to directly jump into ordinary magma underground fire to cultivate. The efficiency of gasification will be higher than that of ordinary wizards. In that case, the only thing left to advance to a third circle wizard is the Lake Naga. In the following days, he cultivated quietly and ignored the world. In this chaotic era of war, he enjoyed a rare peaceful life. The path of the 4 Fur Clan Knights also advanced in an orderly manner. After Algerta advanced to a top-notch Grand Knight, it became difficult for her to make any progress. She had reached a bottleneck by relying on the Frost Wolf blood in her body. Next, she needed Frost Wolf Knight advancement medicines to continue breaking through. However, Levi had yet to develop this potion. At the Golden Lion Castle, Emperor Mew began to enter seclusion to prepare to break through the bloodline shackles. As for the Ashen World, Levi had long put it aside. Since the last time he entered, he had never entered again. He only occasionally summoned Owens with iron coins to understand some common sense in the Ashen World. Although Levi did not want to take the initiative to enter, he felt that if this ability was used well, it could save his life. By entering the Ashen World, he could avoid the pursuit and killing of powerful enemies. It was better to know in advance and be prepared. As for the fallen crystal Owens mentioned, Levi felt no interest at all. Chapter 647. He was already very satisfied with his current cultivation speed. With his personality, he could not use an unknown and potentially risky thing like the fallen crystal. Holy Brilliance Calendar Year 1061, Month of Grass. The Great Expedition lasted 25 years. Riptide City, 10 Tanton Street, Blue Dragon Lady's residence. The conflict between the Giant Dragon Sect and the Thunder Sect lasted for several years. They invested countless manpower and resources. Although Blue Dragon Lady stabilized her position and even severely injured the Thunder Spear, terrorist attacks occurred in the city from time to time. In Riptide City, everyone lived in danger. After several years of war, Huffman looked even more aged than before. Many hideous scars marred his face. He deliberately left these scars so that he would always remember the mistakes he made back then, because he was greedy for small gains. Due to the war, many pharmacists suffered casualties. Huffman had no choice but to work overtime personally to refine various potions. Among the pharmacists under his command, Levi had taken leave to go home and had yet to return. Chaos reigned outside, and Levi was likely exhausted. Grimm and Tommen disappeared without a trace. They were surely in danger. Living was the only dream of many wizards in this era. In a certain sea area in Area 6, near the former location of the Hundred-Eyed Demon Territory, a hidden ancient wizard relic lay at the bottom of the deep sea. As the hidden array outside the relic rippled, a wizard left expressionlessly. He held a wizard tool in his hand. If Levi were here, he would recognize this as a protective wizard tool given to him by Tommen's family. Clearly, Tommen and Grimm had died in this ancient wizard relic at the hands of their teammates who were exploring together. Interesting. In their memories, they have a deep impression of a wizard called Levi, the wizard muttered to himself as he left the bottom of the sea. In Lion King City, Levi, who was in his cultivation state, suddenly opened his eyes. Confusion clouded his gaze. He looked at the slightly trembling fur. Spider sensing flared with a weak warning. This weak warning happened from time to time, and Levi could not discern the cause. He thought hard, but to no avail. Levi entered the intuition state and used perception on his surroundings. In the end, he found nothing. Maybe it is something small. I might have been too cautious, Levi muttered to himself. However, I should temporarily leave Lion King City for a period of time. I have stayed here long enough. At the thought of this, Levi immediately packed his things. Algerta, all of you enter Alice's ring, Levi said. Master, are we moving again? Algerta, who had just finished training, and was panting heavily, asked as he wiped his sweat. Levi nodded. In this chaotic world, one could not stay in one place for too long. Otherwise, there would always be some indelible traces left behind, allowing some enemies with ulterior motives to discover him. A place like Lion King City might attract other dark wizard forces, and get involved in the dispute again. Therefore, he wanted to travel around the Yellow Earth continent, and find clues about the Lake Naga. After finding the Lake Naga, he would leave the Yellow Earth continent, and head to the Black Fire Island. He would enter seclusion and prepare his gasification spiritual force to break through to become a third circle wizard. The Fur clans had nothing to say. It did not matter if they stayed in Alice's ring for the rest of their lives. Golden Lion Castle. Levi came to say goodbye. Sir Levi, it is so chaotic outside. You might as well stay in my Lion King City. Old Golden Lion smiled. After killing the Alhid family, he heaved a sigh of relief. Now, his spirit was much better than before. Forget it. I want to travel the continent and broaden my horizons, Levi said. Sigh, then I won't ask you to stay, Leon sighed. If Levi settled down in Lion King City, it would lessen the pressure on him. However, he knew that with the Jostar family's foundation, they would not be able to attract a wizard like Levi. In Dinos's room. Sir Levi, this is the information on the places where Lake Naga might appear. With our family's ability, this is all we can find out, Dinos said as he handed a slate to Levi. Thank you for your help, Jostar family, Levi said solemnly. Speaking of which, is Emperor Mew still in seclusion? Dinos nodded. Teacher said that this seclusion will take at least a year to 3 years. Does this guy need so much time? I remember that I broke through easily at that time. Oh, I forgot, I am a cheater. After cheating for so long, Levi could no longer experience the suffering of low-level wizards. He deeply reflected on his slightly arrogant mentality recently. Levi, you cannot be a little proud and complacent just because you killed a few trash third circle wizards. In that case, I won't disturb him anymore. I hope that the Jostar family will prosper. I also hope that Dinos can break through to a higher realm as soon as possible and work hard to catch up to your teacher, Levi said. Thank you. The reputation of the Lionheart Knight will resound throughout the sea one day. The Jostar family will keep their word. At this moment, Jostar was filled with determination. With a teacher like Emperor Mew and an unfathomable senior like Levi, he was full of confidence in the future of the Night Path. Chapter 648. Fame is not necessary. In this chaotic era, survival is the most important. Levi patted Dinos' shoulder. His expression turned serious. He turned away and left. The figure soon disappeared into the horizon. Mirror Lake lay in the southern part of the Yellow Earth continent. It was a massive expanse, 5,000 miles long and 3,000 miles wide. Fishermen spoke of the banshee of the lake's song. Legend claimed that everyone who heard that melody vanished into the vast waters, never to return. Beside the lake sat Mist City. Every morning, a vast white fog rolled in from the water to brush past the town, creating a poetic, beautiful sight. Outside the city walls, a small tavern stood. Mortals ran the establishment, serving their own homebrewed beer. In the corner of the room, a white-robed old man with a full head of white hair sat with a flushed face. He drank the beer in big gulps. Cough, cough. Good beer, good beer. Lady boss, give me another barrel. He held the wooden cask high and gulped it down. An occasional burp broke the rhythm of his drinking. The lady boss glanced at the drunkard. If you drink yourself to death, our tavern takes no responsibility. He. It is none of your business. I, Gerald, once drank 3 barrels at my peak. The white-haired old man smiled. He was clearly bragging. Unless you are a wizard lord, how could you drink so much? Even a human stomach is not that big. A little girl appeared before him. She stood with her hands on her hips, wearing an apron. She was young, yet she already worked in the tavern. The old man burped. He reached out to pinch the little girl's cheek. He. I am a wizard. Do I not look like one? I do not think so. I have seen a wizard lord before. Wizards are serious and fierce. You are more like a bard who likes to brag. Her name was Leah. Her dream was to become a female ranger, who traveled the Yellow Earth continent, but she spent her days doing odd jobs for her mother. Little Leah, this is called stereotyping. There are kind and gentle people among wizards. Outside, an explosion rocked the lake. The tavern patrons jumped. Look, it seems wizards are fighting. Another voice shouted, oh no, a huge wave is sweeping over. Run, rumble. On the lake surface outside the window, a massive wave surged toward the sky and swept everything away. Thunder rumbled loudly. The small tavern fell into chaos. Leah, come to mommy. The lady boss's expression shifted. She grabbed Leah. Outside on the shore, a 2-story tall wave crashed forward. The tavern teetered on the brink of being engulfed. A vague, complicated syllable sounded. In the next moment, the massive waves turned to solid ice. They froze in place. A white ice sculpture loomed less than 3 meters from the tavern wall. Leah, the lady boss, hugged her daughter close. Her face shone with the joy of surviving disaster. She jerked her head toward the corner of the tavern. The white-haired old man lay on the table. He was fast asleep, snoring softly. The lady boss's heart stirred. She thought she might entrust Leah to this man to begin a wizard's journey, ending their wandering life. It appeared she was wrong. He was just an ordinary person. Patrons walked out of the tavern, one after another. They stared at the huge ice sculpture, which stretched dozens of meters long and 2 stories tall. It was a shocking scene. The white-haired old man was Levi. He had come to Mirror Lake in search of the Lake Naga. A few days ago, he had spotted this mortal tavern, and recalled his own drinking days in the Shining Tavern. On a whim, he had stayed to drink mortal beer, eat mortal delicacies, and experience the life of the common folk. It is still not as tasty as the beer in the Shining Tavern. Levi licked the foam from the corner of his mouth. He looked at the mortals admiring the ice sculpture with blurry eyes. Over the past few days, he had secretly tested Leah's aptitude. He found that she was a rare dual elemental affinity user. Unfortunately, he had no intention of taking in a disciple. In this chaotic era, there was little difference between being a wizard and a mortal. They might not see the sun tomorrow. Instead of living a life of fear as a wizard, it was better to be an ignorant mortal and live a good life. During this journey, Levi felt his state of mind settling and changing. He felt that this process helped his spiritual force in gasification. Therefore, he rarely used his abilities these few days. He used the Hermit Rune to block his spiritual power fluctuations. He took the initiative to integrate into the lives of mortals, bragging and chatting with them like an ignorant, incompetent old urchin. Spiritual force is an illusory thing. Therefore, the gasification of spiritual force has no standard procedures. Perhaps, to me, this journey of settling my mental state is also a form of cultivation. Levi called this process mortalization. He put down his strength and carefully sensed everything in the world with a calm mind. Chapter 649. The spiritual power in his mind stopped whirling and surging. It settled, quiet as the mirror lake stretching out before him. My heart is like a mirror, Levi thought. Previously, I was too impetuous. I let this era wrap around me, blindly rushing forward, living like a robot. As time passed, I would have eventually lost my human will and become insensitive. He wondered if any other wizards in this world faced a similar struggle. Regardless, this approach should help with the gasification of his spiritual force. Levi yawned and pushed himself up from the table. What is the matter? He asked, looking at the tavern occupants. Why is it so noisy? Cannot you let the old man sleep? He stretched and walked to the door to inspect the frozen wave sculpture. This was his masterpiece. During his travels, he had created his own second circle spell by combining simple cantrips with first circle spells. Glacier Descent. Unlike Glacial Finger, a single target penetrative attack, Glacier Descent functioned as a large-scale frost spell. It could control ice across a wide area to eliminate numerous enemies. Freezing the massive waves outside had been effortless. Out on the lake, 2 wizards clashed. They ignored the mortals nearly crushed by the aftershocks of their battle, until they noticed the massive waves on the shore. The water stood frozen, gleaming under the sunlight, and radiating a biting chill. They realized a hidden expert occupied that inconspicuous mortal tavern. Despite their own second circle mental strength, they had failed to sense any fluctuation from the master inside. The implications were clear. That expert's realm far exceeded their own. He had perfectly restrained his spiritual force fluctuation. They abandoned the tavern immediately. A third circle, perhaps even a fourth circle wizard, must be inside, and that ice wall was a warning. Not long after, Mist City returned to silence. The mortals inside remained unaware that Levi had saved them from calamity. To him, the encounter was a trivial interlude. Finished with his life in Mist City, he moved on to Mirror Lake. He frequently used his intuition state to investigate the water, only to find ordinary fish and a few first circle creatures. Nothing resembled a naga. Rumors of the banshee of the lake persisted, and Levi felt they were not groundless. He waited patiently. Since leaving Lion King City, the sense of danger that made his heart palpitate had faded. Lion King City would surely descend into chaos. As a vital location on the Yellow Earth continent, it was a prize dark wizards would fight for. Leaving early had allowed him to avoid potential calamity. I might as well find a place in this quiet mirror lake to carve out a cave, he mused. I can live in seclusion, cultivate mortalization, and search carefully for traces of the so-called banshee of the lake. Levi's heart skipped a beat. He navigated like a fish, searching for a suitable place to sequester himself within the mirror lake. 7 days later, he reached the center of the lake, where a bottomless trench waited. Even with his current intuition range, he could not detect the bottom. A strange power in the valley seemed to block his perception. This mirror lake is just an inland lake, he muttered. How can there be such a trench? This was his first time discovering the spot. His spider sensing gave no abnormal reaction. Levi flicked his snake tongue and made a decision. The banshee of the lake might be under this trench. The entire mirror lake has been scanned by my intuition. If she is not here, she is not in the lake at all. With that thought, Levi activated his crimson copper armor, Earth Spirit Escape, King Kong Rock Body, Ashen Entanglement, and other defensive skills. Dark golden scales rippled over his body. Fully armed, he prepared to descend. With his Scarlet Poison Body and Scarlet Escape, his survival capability had improved significantly. His life should remain secure. As Levi descended deeper, the light faded. He mentally calculated the depth of his dive. 300 meters, 3,000 meters, 30,000 meters. I have not reached the bottom yet, he observed. This place is deeper than some large trenches. No wonder my perception cannot reach the bottom. The trench contained no powerful creatures. The lack of life only made Levi more cautious. Exploring this bottomless abyss alone required true courage. After an unknown duration, he arrived at an empty expanse. The magnetism and elemental power nearby are chaotic, he noted. It feels like the ancient ruins mentioned in Jonah's treasure hunting log. He had studied the handwritten letter obtained from Joanne, even if he had not mastered its contents. He had confirmed an ancient ruin lay at the bottom of Mirror Lake. Ancient ruins. Levi felt conflicted. He wanted to investigate, but hesitated. He lacked no cultivation resources at the moment. Places like ancient ruins depended on luck. They might be dangerous or safe. Anything was possible. However, the Lake Naga likely occupied these ruins. If he did not go, the thought would haunt him. Chapter 650. I will go take a look. The Yellow Earth continent sits in the Outer Sea region, and low-level wizard organizations usually establish these ancient ruins. At most, they reach a mid-level of power, as high-level wizard organizations remain rare. Levi weighed the pros and cons. If I avoid greed, escaping danger will not be a problem. He continued to swim downwards. He activated his intuition state. Perception flooded outward, scanning for movement. If his spider sensing flared, he would retreat immediately. Deep under the sea, buildings loomed in the darkness. Wizard towers of various sizes stretched toward the surface. This confirms it. Levi studied the structures. Judging by the size of these wizard towers, this is the relic of an intermediate-level wizard organization. Most of the buildings remained intact, untouched by time. Traces of arrays clung to the exteriors, some still operating automatically. Levi hovered near the entrance. This wizard organization had not fallen to war. It had been abandoned. Levi approached a wizard tower. His knowledge of arrays proved sufficient. These wards posed little challenge. He dismantled the restriction array and pushed the door open. The tower held 3 levels. This modest size suggested it once served as accommodation for first or second circle wizards. The first floor served as a living room. Sculptures and artworks decorated the space, though all appeared ordinary. Finding nothing of value, Levi climbed to the second floor. This chamber likely served as the workspace where the owner studied and cultivated spells. Specimens of strange creatures lined the shelves. Frogs with human faces on their backs stared out with dead eyes, alongside hideous mermaid-like monsters. The specimens had long since lost their life. A thick notebook sat on the desk. Ancient wizards favored such journals, while modern counterparts relied on memory slates. Levi opened it. The cover read, Wizard David's Research Journal. Experiment Log 7. We captured creatures from other dimensions at the entrance of the dimensional rift. Most possess strange appearances. They seem to do whatever they want, growing without pattern, completely inconsistent with the rules of evolution. It feels as if monsters from our dreams have clawed their way into reality. Experiment Log 23. Research reveals that the blood of these creatures generally carries a hallucinatory effect. Even wizards with powerful spiritual force fall into an illusion after consuming it. Mick, the neighbor, accidentally killed his maid during such an illusion. Experiment Log 87. After unified research, we tentatively named these creatures nightmare creatures. Their home must be a new world where no wizard has ever set foot. The wizards at the headquarters of the Dreamland Steeple call it the Nightmare World. Experiment Log 108. Using the hallucinatory potion derived from the nightmare creatures, coupled with a special array, wizards can enter the Nightmare World. This represents an epoch-making discovery. The Nightmare World is a strange, mysterious realm containing endless resources. It might be a world on the same level as the Astral World and the Underworld. It seems to connect to the entire multidimensional plane. If we master the method to use the Nightmare World to teleport, wizards will open a new route to the distant multidimensional plane. Countless wealth waits for us. This shortcut will greatly shorten travel time. A new era for wizards is about to arrive, and our School of Dreams will become the pioneer. Experiment Log 300. The leader of the Dreamland Steeple, the 8th Circle wizard known as the Daydream Wizard, has disappeared. In his empty wizard tower, a single sentence echoed. Do not walk into a nightmare ignorantly. But it is already too late. The log came to an abrupt halt. To be continued. Hope you liked today's video. Join the community by subscribing and dropping a like. I'll be back with another update as soon as possible. See you then.